In exactly 1 hour, MatPat will post his final game theory. And we're here today to spend some final moments sharing the love and grieving quite a bit and probably crying a little bit as MatPat says his goodbyes and hands the channels off to somebody else. I know it's kind of been an ongoing thing over the course of a little while, but today is the final game theory day, the show that started it all, and it's time to let go. Time to let go and move on and allow the next generation of game theory content to build upon what MatPat has built for us here. I guess we can bring in the music now, get a little dramatic. I mean, it's not dramatic music, but I'll bring it in anyway. Oh, it's very quiet. There we go. We'll get hyped, because this isn't meant to be a sad stream necessarily. It probably will be. There's almost no way this stream gets away with not being sad in some way, but I'm hoping that this ends up being a bit more uplifting and happy and and more of like a salutes 07s in chat to MatPat more so than an oh my god he's leaving. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I couldn't watch his hey Waffles and Syrup, how you doing? I could not watch the Goodbye Internet video. I watched a few minutes of it, and that is the most I could get through. So I have no idea how this is going to go. I'm going to assume that I'm going to be very sad. Not upset, but sad. Definitely sad. We will find out. But I guess let's not waste any time, because why do that when we can just head straight over. I don't know where the best place for my face is. I'm assuming like right there is fine. I don't know. I mean, it's a reaction video. Maybe I put myself up here. Maybe I do that. Is that better? I don't know. We'll find out. We're gonna click on a video. We're gonna go in order, essentially, backwards from after the Goodbye Internet video. We're gonna skip a couple. We're not gonna watch the Garten of Banban video because I have not caught up on Garten of Banban and I might play those. So we're gonna skip that for now. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna do this one. We're gonna skip Deltarune because I know nothing about Deltarune. We're gonna do the Hello Neighbor one because that's just a funny tidbit that he said years ago, as far as I know. We'll watch this one, we'll watch this one, we'll watch this one, and then the new one when it comes out. So well, thank you for following. Thank you, Flavius. Oh, welcome in to the Twitch stream now. Thank you for following. Appreciate you. I have my notifications turned down because we're doing a bit more chill today, so it's not been terrifying. But I guess we'll just pause the music and get started, I suppose. No time to waste. I hope everything is on the right channel. In fact, I'll leave that open for a second. All right. We're gonna start with this one because I don't know what to. I mean, I made a very similar video on this. I've done a video about why gamers like how explaining to non-gamers why we play video games. But this will be interesting to see MatPat's interpretation, and we're gonna go from there. Like I said, we're gonna skip a couple. I won't explain it too many times. Let's hop in.
Purina 1.
Okay. Also, I think this might be on the wrong sound settings, so we're gonna
supports Charlie's
change
strong
that.
immune system and
Okay, the video will play after ads anyway. I don't have YouTube Premium, so this is gonna go well. Hope you guys enjoy the ads.
A difference from day one.
I'm gonna put this there. That's better. Sweet ads. Hey Maker, how's it going? Oh, just more ads. All right. You know what? Make that bank, MatPat, before you leave. Make that bank. All right. Today is going to be a hard day. I know today is going to be a hard day for all of us.
Most of game theory.
All right. Here we go. Hope you guys are ready to get ads in between. All right. How to teach video games to a non-gamer. Let's go.
So as host of Game Theory, I've been teaching through video games since 2011. But what about just teaching video games? Us older gamers were fortunate enough to start playing games when the barrier to entry was much lower than it is today. As
Very
I personally
true.
grew up, the games and their controls just grew naturally up along with me.
Yep.
My first system was my dad's
MatPat
NES,
for
which
YouTube
meant all
CEO,
I had
exactly.
to wrap my head around were 2 buttons and 4 directions. If you were
Yep.
to drop a PlayStation 5 controller into the lap of a kid from the 80s and then ask him to play the newest Call of Duty, I guarantee their brain would melt. Yeah.
Probably not. Okay, I disagree with that. I think it would work the exact same way as, like, because kids now, it's the same idea. It's not that kids back then were stupid and just they needed the foundation first. No, these kids that are growing up now are just growing up with the new controls. So I don't think that would necessarily happen. Yes, MatPat for CEO. I 100% agree. I need energy. I did not get much sleep. All right, let's go.
4 buttons, 2 triggers for
I'll try not to pause too much.
each finger, 2 control sticks, a directional pad, a touchpad, and oh yeah, if you push in
Oh yeah,
those sticks,
touchpad.
they do something else too. It
Yep.
is no wonder there's more and more online discussion happening right now about what gaming is like for non-gamers. But
Yeah,
it's not just the
I couldn't
controls
imagine.
they have to contend with here. If I were to ask you, what's the first game that you would likely give someone looking to learn video games, what would you say? Most
Oh no, I don't know what I would say. What would I say? Okay, trying to learn video games. In my mind, that's like, okay, do you go for the baseline, right? Do you hand them Super Mario Brothers, the original, where it's just 2 buttons and some directions? Or do you kind of introduce them into the modern era where you hand them Call of Duty and you tell them, hey, go for it? Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily know what I would do. Oh, I should bring my chat box back in. I forgot to re-enable that. My bad. There we go. Okay, now it refreshes. Of course, I forgot to enable that. All right. The idea to learn someone how to play games is weird to you because you learn playing games by playing Flash games. He's your annoying cousin. Well, that's how it works, right? You just learn how to play games. Nobody teaches you how to play games. But if I were to introduce a game to somebody, I think it would just be like hand them a complex game. Or like probably a Nintendo game. Nintendo games are pretty universal for everybody. I would probably say that. You can't hear anything I'm saying? You're at a oh, okay. I thought my mic was low or something. I can try to yell if that helps. I'm so sorry, VOD viewers. I'm so sorry. If you ever see me do this, that's a warning. That means I'm gonna get really loud. I'm so sorry. But you can always watch later, Maker. You don't have to pay attention right now. Mic is not low. I can hear exactly what you guys are hearing. Don't try to debate me. It's not gonna work. All right, here we go.
people immediately jump to Mario.
Yep.
But have you actually thought about how complicated even a game as simple as the original Mario?
No. When I think of Mario, I think of new Mario. Okay, Mario Odyssey. I have not beaten Mario Odyssey. I've barely played Mario Odyssey because of how hard that game is. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just an old man now, but I cannot get a hang of the controls. We will do a stream on it very soon. I cannot get a hang of the Mario Odyssey controls, and I don't know why. The original Mario Brothers isn't that complicated. I kind of get where he's going with it, but yeah, Dark Souls is simple. You're right. Yeah, we should. Anybody learning how to play video games, hand them a Dark Souls game, a Souls game of any sort. Hand them Elden Ring. That's the way to go. It's exactly what to do. Hey, Spooky, how's it going? Welcome. Yeah, long time no see. Don't worry, there's a VODS channel for you guys now. I know some of you may have missed it. If you scroll down, there's a big old VODS button down there. So I'm going to be streaming a lot more lately, but not at the same times I was before. So if you miss streams, there will be VODs indefinitely, and I'm streaming extremely consistently right now. So don't worry. If you miss anything, it'll be down there. I'm trying to stream a little bit of a variety where some of you guys can see it, in the early morning and late at night when I'm streaming now. It's all over the place, but welcome in. Hello, everybody. All right.
Mario is?
If I'm pausing this much and talking this much, this is going to be like an 18-hour stream. We gotta hurry up.
For running, but only if you hold it down. And good luck getting over those jumps if you're not running and hitting the jump button at the same time. So already we're hitting 2 buttons simultaneously.
That is
wasn't
accurate.
complicated
That is
enough.
true.
What about when Mario collects a fire flower? Suddenly that B button is also now used to throw fireballs. Even the way you kill enemies, you have to hop on their heads, which requires control and aim and timing. And if you miss, well, too bad for you. You get hit and you're sent back to the beginning of the stage.
Yeah, if there were a Mario game to recommend to somebody new, it would not be the original Mario Brothers. Do you have any idea how hard that game is to control? The momentum does not make sense. I would say Mario World, Mario Wonder even, you know, something new with better control. Not one of the old ones. Old video games, nobody really seems to talk about that. Old video games are hard. The difficulty has lowered so much in the new era of video games that rage games is its own category now. When I feel like the majority of older games it had rage elements because of how difficult it was to control, but that was just how it was. Yeah, 50 minutes until the video. This is, yeah, we're not gonna watch the video immediately. I want you guys to go watch it, first by yourselves and then come back and watch it here. So it'll be probably 3 hours before we get to that. But it's almost time and I'm sad. Mario Odyssey is awesome. You finished it. The movement is awkward at the beginning, but it gets easier. Yeah, it's something, there's just a lot of controls that I'm not used to, especially like controlling Cappy. It's not something that's natural to me. My game was Mario Galaxy, and that was simple. The only new addition, aside running and jumping, was spinning. So now with Mario Odyssey having like 60 different types of new controls, it's a lot. It's a lot. All right, let's go.
There's no easy way to regain that power-up. There's no easy way to recover your health. And again, this is just talking about the first Mario, the simplest and most basic of any of them.
I don't know about that.
Learning games, it's hard. Much harder than most of us realize. And there are so many smaller steps in the process that didn't occur to me until recently when I slowly started introducing Ollie to the world of games, which is why this episode exists. I want to give a basic 10-step guide on how to introduce someone, young, old, or otherwise, to the world of gaming.
Okay, I'm interested. I'm curious.
A few game introductions along the way. It's not perfect by any means, but it is based on my research and my personal experimentation with Ollie, aka our game time together. And at the very
So that's interesting to me because I've never thought about, how do you introduce somebody who's never played a video game before and teach them how to play a video game? My only relation to that, and I'll stop, I'm just going to talk. I'm not going to read your guys' messages constantly. I'll get back to that after the video or something. My only relation to that would be with my dad, but it's not like he's, incompetent, doesn't understand how it controls. It's that he has a hard time, getting his hands to do what he wants them to do. So, okay, I want to press the B button now. Takes him a good second before he gets to pressing the button. So that's a whole different type of struggle than just learning how to play a video game. So I can't even imagine trying to teach someone fresh out of the gate who's never played a video game before how to start playing a video game. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. I can't, because my idea is like, you just hand them the game and they stumble and fall just like riding a bike. You don't teach them how to ride a bike before they get on the bike. They get on the bike and then they fall and then they learn from that mistake. It's the same idea in this as far as I know. I'm curious though. We need to go. There's 19 minutes of this video left. We got to
It's a good first step in starting a discussion on how to make this world of gaming a bit more open and inclusive to anyone who might be looking to try it. I'd also encourage you as we go through this 10-step process to leave a comment down below with your own personal game recommendations or any personal experiences that you or loved ones had as they've gone through a similar journey. So with all that being said, this one feels appropriate for the intro where we had Mario run across a bunch of video game consoles. What is that, 2012? Roll that one.
God, the OG, this was my era of game theory right here. Maybe also the one after. This was like my introductory era though. God, I hope they don't change the intro. Keep the intro.
Hello, Internet.
Why do they have to do that? Why does he have to do that? Why did he have to do that? That's just gonna make me sad. Why does he have to do that to me? No.
Game Theory, the show that's been ruining your
Sorry.
Hello,
Internet. Welcome to Game Theory.
The show that's been ruining your gaming childhood for 13 years.
Yes, you're right.
I'm going to try to build up a couple of new gaming childhoods. Like I mentioned before, Ollie's just started showing interest in games, which is awesome. But it also puts a lot of pressure on me as a parent to be a good steward for his journey.
I love that Steph is
should I have him
Luigi.
play first? Should he be starting with the games that I most enjoyed as a kid, or is that going to risk him getting frustrated if they're all too difficult?
Probably.
So we always try kids games,
honestly.
but from my experience, a lot of those aren't exactly the best entry-level games. Like the recently released Bluey game. It's designed to be baby's first video game.
There's a Bluey game now? That's a cash grab. That is a cash grab if I've ever seen one.
Experience, and yet it fails as both a game and as a teaching tool.
Also, speedrunner strat here. Oh,
What?
No, apparently
speed?
So
No,
I
that was a
decided to dig
speedrun
in, do
strat,
my
just in the
own
wrong
research
direction.
to see what information exists out there. And I was surprised to see just how many people were having the same question as me. Not just from parents trying to get their kids into gaming, but also adults who never experienced gaming before and were trying to break into the hobby. So
That's the harder part, I think. That's the much harder part because it's less about learning how to get used to the controls and figure out how to play a video game and more about, like, can I even do this without, one, getting distracted by life, and two, like, actually having the dexterity for it. Like, that's the issue my dad has, is having the dexterity for it. That I feel like is harder than giving it to a kid, because a kid will stumble and fall until they figure it out.
today we're creating a step-by-step guide, a curriculum, if you will, on how to go from total noob to totally
That's the
epic.
kind of school
Crack
I
open
wish
a
I
cold
went to.
bottle of Mountain Dew and let the smell
Have
of
W,
Doritos
does that
waft
count?
into the room, my friends. Professor MatPat's in the building, and how to be a gamer 101
I'm gonna miss that PNG.
is now in session. Let's start by walking through my thought process in designing this gamer guide. While
Alright.
researching for this episode, I stumbled across an amazing book called Learn to Play by Dr. Matthew White, a professor who
Imagine being a young child. I need to stop pausing so much. Imagine being a young child and your parents are like, Little Billy, you need to learn how to read, all right? You need to learn how to read, but also video games are cool. So read this book on how to play video games. I could not imagine having to read a book to learn how to play a video game. My ADHD brain could never.
whose life work is dedicated to teaching, psychology, and game design. While the book mostly focuses on teaching game developers how to build better tutorials, there was so much fascinating stuff in here about the
Interesting.
psychology of gamers
Yeah,
and
designing
how people
tutorials was
learn that it
interesting.
proved to be an invaluable resource for this particular episode. For instance, when learning something new, be it calculus, a new language, or a new skill, our brains can only really handle so much new information at one time.
That's very
if we take in
accurate.
too much new information at once, our brains reach what's known as cognitive overload.
Yep.
When you reach that point, almost no new information is ever going to transfer over from your short
Me last night when I was trying to learn that one stupid level in the Outlast trials, I was in cognitive overload to where I just started doing nothing. I just stopped doing. That's it. I stopped doing. Moist Jesus. Now that is an interesting name for Mr. Moist Man, but actual huge YouTube W. Yeah, it has to be with the YouTube video on MatPat, the Hello Retirement video. That was a great video. That was an amazing video. I kind of wish I saved it for this stream, but I already watched it, and that was great. If you haven't seen that one, go look up Hello Retirement. That's YouTube's goodbye to MatPat video. That was awesome. I also watched the GT live on it. That was incredible.
short-term memory to your long-term memory. This is the exact reason that scientists don't recommend cramming for a test the night before.
Yep.
Some small bits of information may stick around in the short term, but long-term, those memories are going to be wiped clean from your
That's why the American education system is so screwed over, because it encourages cramming for information. So I've lost 90% of the information I learned in high school. It's gone because that's what they encourage. That needs to change. I don't know how to go about changing that, but that needs to change.
brain the moment that you're done with your test. Therefore, in building our gamer guide, we're going to want to start off with the simplest possible games and then slowly mix in more and more complexity.
Which is
You have
fair.
to learn to crawl before you
Which I feel like is the purpose of the video game, not of the gamer. You should not have to start with an easy game and build your way up to the harder game. You should be able to play any game and start with the easy level and build up to the hard level without it feeling like you need some sort of prerequisite first to learn how to be a gamer. So I feel like if the game can't get you to that point from nothing, then it's failed as a video game. Maybe that's a little too harsh, but I don't know. That's how I would see it.
he can stand, and stand before he can walk, and walk before he can run. So without any further ado, it's time to get into the list. Level 1, touch and motion controls. Kicking off our 10-step video game journey, we're gonna start with the simplest controller setup possible, no controller at all. I'm talking about
Okay.
touch screens and motion controls. You see,
Oh,
the first
interesting.
hurdle that any new gamer is gonna have to overcome in building a relationship with gaming is abstraction. The
Yep.
idea that your actions over here in the real world are affecting things over there in the digital world. A controller or keyboard with arbitrary, meaningless buttons, it's very disconnected with what I see happening on a screen.
Kind of. I don't know. That's a weird take. That's a really weird take.
But motion controls help bridge that gap. If I swing my arm and I suddenly see a sword swinging on screen, or if I throw a punch and see the character attack
I
in a similar
understand
way,
what
that
he's saying,
makes
but that's
intuitive
weird.
sense to me and my body. Touchscreens also have a sense of immediate direct feedback, but also come with a slightly different benefit. They don't require dexterity. Holding controllers, hitting buttons, it's precise work that requires
Yes.
trained fine motor skills.
That is
but
true.
down and swiping at a screen, it's actually much less demanding both cognitively and physically.
That is
being said,
true.
I do want to put up a few major red flags here for younger gamers.
Yep.
Watch exposure time to all
Yep.
these screens.
Yep.
When it comes to screen time, the American
iPad
Academy
kid.
of Pediatrics recommends that children are completely kept away from screens until at least 18 months old, with video calls being the only
That's young. That's really young. You know, I would have thought it would be older than that. Like, I would have thought, you know, keep them away from screens until they're like 4 or 5 years old. Like, I would not think 18 months is all you have to wait. I don't know. I would feel weird handing an iPad to my 18-month-old baby who doesn't understand the difference between mommy and daddy yet. Like, that's early in my mind. I don't know.
exception. We all know the horror stories of iPad kids. Personally, for Steph and I, we kept Ollie away from screens for a full 2 years.
Yeah,
and when
see,
we
that-
did
that's more
eventually open
accurate.
the door, it was only through very heavily curated education-based apps that we controlled for very short periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
The Academy recommends no more than 1 hour of screen time per day until the age of 5. We've found a lot
Yeah,
of success with a daily
that's
max
fair.
of about 30 minutes. As far as games to play, I cannot
You wonder if you could make a game that acts as a tutorial for non-gamers that introduces the basic. I could not. Someone could. I could not. I am too focused on making difficult games or horror games or games that are outside of the typical, you know, what we first think of as a video game. Right? When you think of a video game, your mind probably immediately goes to Nintendo or something along those lines. That's like your typical video game. My games do not fall into that category. I could not create an introductory video game. That is not my thing. I would severely struggle. I have such a hard time making tutorials. Teaching people how to play it is not my forte. Someone could, not me.
not recommend anything more highly than Khan Academy Kids. It's a free app with
That is fair.
educational games
I've seen that.
ranging
Okay, ad time. Let's go. MatPat, get that sweet ad revenue.
from reading to memory to math and 0 microtransactions. There's also individual paths that follow
God, imagine handing a baby a tablet and it's like, would you like to buy this really cute skin for your education app? It's only $4.99 a month for the subscription service. And the baby's like, and just taps and just buys it. Like, imagine education apps having microtransactions. That's kind of hilarious.
child's progress based on their skill level in early learning topics. Other honorable mentions here that cover a broader range of ages, the Jigsaw app, which just offers a lot of free
Jigsaw? I want to play a game. That different Jigsaw. Wrong Jigsaw.
puzzles that can be customized to be easy, hard, or anywhere in between. Polygrams, which is a fantastic tangram game provided you
That's
pay
cool.
a couple bucks to get rid of the ads. And lastly, there's the suite of Lucas and Friends apps, which cover everything from puzzles and coloring to math and
Imagine a baby, once again, imagine a baby playing one of these apps and then just like all of a sudden an ad pops up and the baby's just like, what happened? I was just moving squares and now there's more squares, but now there's people. What, like, and then they're trying to, and it takes them to the app store. They download a new thing. It's like putting ads in children's type games. That is a new type of evil. That is a whole other type of evil.
spelling. Basically, the games don't have to be all that much of games as much as experiences, where tapping
Yep.
a screen drives some form of action. And when it comes to motion controls, I think we're all probably familiar with the winner here,
Yep.
Wii Sports. It is
Yep.
the 4th highest selling game of all time for a
Great
reason.
game.
It was the pioneer and opened up gaming to a new generation, both young and old. Newer titles like One
God,
Switch.
did you see that dude
the
sway?
pioneer and
Yeah,
opened
wait.
up gaming to a new generation.
See him
both young and
swing?
old.
Look at
Newer
that. Look at that swing. That is a dad swing if I've ever seen one. It's the full motion, just like. Oh, my ring almost just went flying off my hand. Let me try that again. It's the full motion, just. Yeah, I did it. Woo! It's like that's Grandpa trying to play right there.
Titles like 1-2 Switch, yeah, they're okay, but
Yeah,
not
1-2
nearly
Switch
as
is
good in
cool,
terms of
but-
simple one-to-one gameplay. I see a thing, I do the thing, it works and makes sense. Level 2, joystick or D-pad only. All right, so with the newfound knowledge that you
Fun story, real quick. I tried a while ago when I was still really young. I think I was like 8 years old. I tried to get my grandpa because Mario Galaxy was my game growing up. Mario Galaxy was my game. Mario Galaxy 2, all that. Mario Kart, all of that. Hey, thank you, Leah Doy, for following. I appreciate you. Leanne Doy. Sorry, I can't read apparently. Appreciate you. When I was really young, I think I was like 8 years old. Mario Galaxy 2, Mario Kart. Those were my games on the Wii. and I would bring them. I'm out of breath now from that, by the way. I would bring those over to my grandpa's house when I would stay the night. And one afternoon, I think I tried to get him to play it with me. One of the games. I mean, even though Mario Galaxy is just like the pointer, he could not do it. He could not do it. He got bored. He couldn't handle it. He put the controller down and he just watched me play. Even motion controls for old people. It's rough. All right, I need to stop. We're 7 minutes in and I've been streaming for 25.
You can affect a digital world, it's time to put away the iPads and Wiimotes and move up to the actual controllers. When looking online for recommendations about what age to start someone console gaming, 4 to 6 tends to come up the most. It's around this age that kids are first able to develop the physical dexterity to do things like buttoning and unbuttoning shirts for themselves.
No, I didn't know that.
They should also be able to hold a controller and press a...
Grew up with GTA San Andreas. That is a wonderful game to give a 7-year-old. Good God.
Button at the same time. So if your player's old enough to be dressing themselves, then I'd say you should be able to move up to the next level of gaming console.
Sure.
That said,
So, okay, just for clarity's sake here, MatPat is saying give your 3-year-old a Wiimote and Wii Sports and tell them, make sure you tell them to put the strap on, otherwise they will probably throw that remote right at the TV and break the TV several times. I don't know if giving a 3-year-old a Wiimote is the greatest suggestion here, but we'll take it.
most of today's controllers are going to be way too much for a new gamer.
I would say maybe a DS, but even then at like 3 years old, that's a bit much. You was Minecraft, Pikmin, Lego. So yeah, see, the kind of like Nintendo-esque gaming, that's a lot better, especially in terms of like early gaming, right? Because a lot of it's very simple. Nintendo is extremely good at teaching the player. Oh, there's a lot of that. It's interesting. You're watching Happy Tree Friends at 4 years. What is Happy Tree Friends? I don't know what that is.
Protege to start off with. So it's important that we strip away all of those.
Maybe I'm discounting how old you need to be to do things. I don't know. That's weird. Yes, I'm sorry. I need to stop pausing. I know. I'm sorry.
Bells and whistles, and just start with a single joystick or D-pad. No buttons. This part of the process is all
That's
about
hard.
mastering how to move in a virtual space. So let's get them comfortable with the idea of controlling a character on screen with a physical stick. When it came to
Sure.
reaching this milestone in our house, we found a lot of success with the Super Monkey Ball series.
Okay, that
Kids
makes
are
sense.
already used
Super
to
Monkey
rolling
Ball's
balls
hard,
and aiming
though.
things into goals, so
Maybe
the
I'm
concept
crazy.
literally needs no explanation. Add to that a complete lack of dialogue and
Don't search Happy Tree Friends. It's dark. I love dark stuff. And now I have to search it up.
cute monkey characters, and you've got yourself a winning formula.
Super Monkey
Of
Ball is a
all
really
the titles
fun
in
game.
The franchise, I highly recommend Super Monkey Ball 3D for the 3DS because it's forgiving. Later Monkey Ball titles have
Yeah,
the difficulty
okay.
ramp up fairly
That's more
quickly,
fair.
But in Super Monkey Ball 3D, there are guardrails in place throughout almost the entire game, helping to
Interesting.
ensure that your new gamer is able to experience a lot of success quickly
That's
with
cool.
minimal amounts
I
of
like that.
frustration. And that's going to be a nice segue to the next major hurdle and a huge point of frustration, adding a button.
Yeah.
Level 3, joystick
Makes
plus
total
one
sense.
button with only one function, 2D, no lose state.
That was a lot of words there, but I get what he was saying. You're back. Welcome back, Maker.
Alright, next up on the journey, it's time to bring in that first button, which might not seem like a big deal to us, but it is to a new gamer. Moving while jumping or attacking, that is a big milestone. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've watched kids die on that first Goomba in
Yep.
the original Mario. To us, it seems super easy, right? But to most early gamers, that thing might as well be a final boss. To jump over it, you need timing, precision, and worst
Yep.
of all, multiple buttons.
Yep.
And nothing can kill your enthusiasm for playing a game quite like hitting a wall. Or, in this case,
I'm gonna-
a
whoops.
slow-moving Goomba.
I'm gonna give you guys control of Mario 1 and see how far you guys can make it. I know I wouldn't be the first to do it, but that is something I want to try. Just see how well you guys can control Mario 1 one button at a time, pretty much.
Which is why we not only need a one-button 2D game here, but also one with no fail state. This is a huge skill jump, which means that we need a safe space to explore and play without the game punishing us for making mistakes. Now,
I feel like he's being a bit too generous with like how much practice you need before you can like really level up. I get the goal of like, you know, slowly introduce things, but I definitely feel like there's a lot of positive in try again, right? Like that's a lot of what video games taught me is like when you're starting out, you're going to fail over and over and over and over again. But the more you do it, the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it and the easier it's going to become. And then later you're going to look back and be like, man, that's a breeze. I did that no problem. And I feel like kids especially need that early on. So I feel like taking that away from them and like slowly introducing it kind of defeats a little bit of the point. maybe that's different now, but that's the way that I kind of grew up with it, so that's how I see it.
Now, admittedly, licensed games tend not to be the best, but Paw Patrol on a Roll is a perfect example for this step of the learning process. It is literally a 2D side-scroller where you practice platforming. Sure, there are collectible bones and medallions floating around to encourage you to search, but nothing is mandatory for completion. And most importantly of all, there are no enemies to hit or pits to fall into. It is purely a game about you versus the platforms, as you get familiar with moving throughout.
Yeah, I guess if you just want like
all the dialogue in the game is spoken,
practice
makes it
run,
perfect for any young gamer who's still learning to read.
But also a lot of games, a lot of platformers especially, have like a practice mode. So I feel like that's not super necessary to have a whole game dedicated to that. Maybe I'm crazy.
There are a couple of moments where you have to push another button for a special event, but these moments aren't time sensitive. So it's already starting to build an awareness of the wider controller with zero pressure.
Cool. That is
Level
cool.
number 4,
I like that.
Joystick with one button and only one function, 3-dimensional, no lose state. Having mastered moving through a 2-dimensional space, makes sense to upgrade to moving through a 3-dimensional space. Same rules apply here. You're looking for something where one button does one thing and one thing only, and no fail state. And once again, Ryder and the gang knock it out of the park with their licensed game, Paw Patrol Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay. It is the exact same concept as the 2D game, but now in 3 dimensions with a fixed camera.
That is a cool idea.
New challenges of up and down.
I am kind of discounting the fact that I grew up with like online flash games like that, where it is just like mouse clicks or like a couple button presses. Like I guess you are slowly introduced to it. It's not like I just played Mario Galaxy immediately and that was I just learned and succeeded. I guess it is kind of like a slow, gradual process, but I don't know. I don't know how necessary that is. I mean, I can't say because I haven't been a kid for a while, but I would imagine, I don't know. That's interesting.
Controls as well as gauging jump distances. Just from the opening level alone, you can see how it's step-by-step training gamers how to leap over things like nets.
I like the kind of open world idea.
Now, again, obviously, not every new gamer is going to
just kind of like run around, do tasks, no fail state, just kind of random goals to collect stuff. That's kind of cool.
Super excited to save Adventure Bay of all places. I wouldn't expect that. But again, I use this as a great mouse.
Leandoy, what is that? What is that cake icon? That's amazing. I love that.
To follow when looking for a game to use with your gamer. Something welcoming where the focus is purely on movement and getting to an end goal. Level 5. Joystick plus one button with only one function. 2D lose states. Alright, so now that we've conquered the obstacle of moving and jumping in both 2D and 3D spaces, we can now start mixing in real obstacles and enemies. You know,
I feel like jumping between 2D and 3D isn't super necessary. I feel like you could just go 2D no lose state to 2D lose state. And then, or fail state, sorry, and then later come back to 3D, then 3D with fail state, you know? I don't know if it's necessary to bounce back and forth, but I like where he's going with it.
The things that are meant to impede our progress. Now remember what I mentioned earlier about Mario. We want
Cake is Our Place 2023? Really? Okay. So, okay, I'm guessing that just means that you were part of Our Place. Interesting. That's cool.
A game where one button does one thing, and that thing should stay consistent pretty much the entire time. Essentially, we're looking for a game that's purely about running and jumping, but now with a few more obstacles.
It's a freaky looking Mario.
No game that fits this mantra better than our favorite blue blur, Sonic the Hedgehog. Specifically, the Sonic Origins collection. You see, there are two brilliant things about Sonic that really make him stand out for this part of our training. The first is that in one button press, you are both jumping and attacking at the same time by turning into a spin ball. Unlike Mario, who's always vulnerable and has to land on an enemy's head to defeat it, by jumping, Sonic is not only moving, he also has a chance of killing whatever he touches. Secondly, Sonic's ring system is a game changer. Rings are plentiful, and as long
Is Sonic not a hard game? I never played any of the original Sonics. I haven't really played any of the new Sonics. What is... I thought Sonic was supposed to be, like, really hard. Am I crazy?
you can quickly
I think I'm crazy.
one more ring, you're good to go. There's no searching for more life, no need for extra power-ups. As long as you prioritize getting that ring after getting hit, you are practically invincible. That said, obviously Sonic games tend to get fast and that makes them hard, but that also gives new gamers a sense of momentum and forward progress. It's exciting to hit those springs and go through those ramps, and over time, their reaction speeds are going to pick up. The biggest hurdle of Sonic, honestly, are the Dr. Robotnik bosses. But again, Sonic's team has a solution in the form of one of my favorite gaming characters of all time, Tails. Tails is invincible. So as long as you take control over Sonic and just...
Kind of like what the new Mario games have been doing with like the Nabbit being invincible and, you know, Yoshi's in Mario Wonder not taking damage. Sorry I'm connecting everything back to Mario, but that's just what I know the most of. But that's interesting. Okay, so newer games are getting better at doing that kind of thing more frequently. I think it's kind of dumb, but I also get the appeal of it. It's little brother mode, but Interesting.
Just avoid the boss while hoping to recover the lost rings. It gives your new gamer a chance to practice against a big bad with less frustration. And beating a boss on their own, that feels like a big achievement for their gaming journey, boosting confidence immediately. This is honestly how Ollie's been able to beat the entirety of Sonic's 2 and 3 almost by himself at this point. As an extra bonus for the
I love how Matt's just outing Ollie now. Just completely outing Ollie. Just, you know, Ollie, you're doing great over there, bud, but you beat it with the character that's invincible. Ollie's gonna look back on this in 10 years and be like, come on, Dad, you didn't have to say that.
Origins collection, it does away with lives and continues.
But hey, that's just a... No, we gotta save that for later. That's coming up later. Come on.
Gamers to focus on practice and getting better as opposed to tedious progress loss. Level 6, joystick plus 1 button with multiple functions. Now,
I love these titles. I love these titles. It's so complicated. I'm not gonna remember any of these. I mean, I'm not having a kid anytime soon, so I guess I don't need to.
This is the phase of the journey where we're currently at, and it's here that we face an important choice. Do we add another button, or do we add in multiple functions for our one button? According to studies done on individuals with limited mobility, multi-use one-button controls tend to yield better results, so that's what we're going to be focusing on.
Really?
For that,
I would have thought the exact opposite. My instinct was add another button. My instinct was add, like, okay, so run, right? You have run and move. If you're going to add something else, add the jump option, right? I don't know. That's where I would go.
We're gonna move on to everyone's favorite racing game, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Now, immediately,
Mario
this
Kart
one
Wii's
should be
better,
ringing
just
some
saying.
alarm bells. One look at the control scheme for Mario Kart, and you realize it's gonna take more than one button. There's acceleration, braking, drifting, steering, and well, yeah, the base settings in Mario Kart force you to do all.
Mario Kart Wii just has nostalgia for me. Okay, it's not a. There's no basis to my opinion there. It's just nostalgia factor. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just genuinely a better game. Okay, but Mario Kart Wii, it has a soft place in my heart. Okay, I'm gonna hold on to that forever. That game is never leaving my soul, and so in my mind, that game is better.
All those things by yourself. Mario Kart 8 added accessibility settings, allowing new players to
That
enjoy
is a
the
good
game
point.
with the auto
That is a
accelerate
good point.
feature. This allows new players to
I've literally never seen the auto accelerate feature. I will say that right now. I didn't know that was a thing. I know the not falling off the edge is a feature. I did not know about the auto accelerate.
focus on steering the car and throwing items. Considering different items do different things, this all helps build in that strategic aspect of using resources at the optimal time that comes up in a whole host of other games. One of the other things that I love about Mario Kart as a game for this particular part of the player journey is that you can very precisely dial in the difficulty both through track selection and by adjusting the CC level. And
Yeah, of course I have the Danny plush. You guys say I'm Walmart Danny, okay? You guys don't think that doesn't have precedence? Of course I'm Walmart Danny. Of course I got inspiration from Danny. How did I not? He is the game development YouTuber, okay? Of course I have the Danny plush.
the rubber banding AI in the game, which scales to your performance, ensures that any new gamer is never truly out of a race getting.
Even though there's not a whole lot of rubber banding in Mario Kart 8, they kind of removed that after the early Mario Kart games, but you know, I'll take it.
Lapped, again limiting their frustration and humiliation and last place finishes. Level 7, joystick plus 2 buttons, only one at a time. Finally, we're getting to the level of the original Nintendo Entertainment System from way back in the 90s.
Wow.
It is here that we introduce the B button.
The B, the alternate
Yep, it
button.
only took us 7 steps. And again, because this is yet another big leap, we want to focus on the games that only require the player to press each button one at a time. Well, you or I may be able to.
I wish he was explaining what age he thinks that these apply to. Because in my mind, these are very quick changes, all right? I haven't had to think about this in a long time. In my mind, it would be like, okay, you're 4 years old. Here's baby's first video game. Okay, now you've done that. Now 2 hours later, here's the next step. Now 2 hours later, here's the next step. Now 2 hours later, here's the next. You know, I would see that. In my mind, this is not like a, oh, now you're 5 years old. We can introduce new button. Now you're 6 years old. We can introduce new button. You know, I don't know. That's weird to me. The B button, what an achievement. Oh, you don't know what Carlson is?
Handle holding the B button to run while using.
Yeah, did you guys not catch the Dubby ads being a pure rip on you don't know what Carlson is? It's like, oh, you don't know what Dubby is? That is my Carlson ad. That's all that was. 100% stolen, ripped straight from Danny.
The other half of her thumb to
No
press
shame.
the A button. A new gamer, they won't have that dexterity yet. Instead, they need a slower paced game with lots of built-in time to focus on where the buttons are and how to switch between them. For that, there are two great routes here. Option 1, most top-down Legend of Zelda games. These games allow you to see the enemies around you and choose whether or not you're going to engage, which allows gamers to proceed at their own pace. Additionally, in many of these, your sword is permanently mapped onto one button while the other rotates in function based on the item you have equipped. The original Legend of Zelda is
Like that.
obviously the simplest, and it has the benefit of not requiring a lot of reading skill to complete, but also it's one of the more challenging entries. From my perspective, A Link to the Past is a personal favorite, where they refined the top-down formula perfectly, but didn't start adding in a lot of bells and whistles like in later games. And even if you can't get through the entire quest, just taking the time to roam around, slash at the bushes, destroy some pots, it is rewarding enough. Speaking of pots, the other route to go here is Overcooked. If you haven't seen this game before, it's a co-op cooking game where you and up to 3 friends are chefs at a restaurant, and you need to cook together to prepare the ingredients, cook the food, and serve hungry customers. The game starts off pretty easy, but as you go on...
Once again, I don't know how early on he's trying to showcase this, where it's like, oh, you're 2 years old. Like, all this stuff is fairly complicated. All of these games, if you're trying to introduce this to a new gamer, is something that's going to just take trial and error no matter what. I don't necessarily think introducing these mechanics one by one slowly is more beneficial than just handing them the game that they want to play and letting them fail and learn from it. I don't know how much of a benefit that would actually have. I mean, I haven't done any testing, of course, but I would only imagine that there's not a whole lot more benefit from this than there is just handing them the game and saying, hey, learn and fail and then try again and then fail. And I mean, I guess it's definitely different if it's like a 2-year-old than like a 20-year-old who's just starting to play video games, because they understand the need to retry over and over and over again. But there's also a benefit of kids not needing to understand that they need to try over and over again. They just do it. I don't know. It's weird. That's a rough category or rough topic to cover.
Levels start to get more frantic, but notably, the controls are as simple as one button to chop and throw and another to pick up and drop things. The cooperative nature of the game also helps to improve communication skills. And as a last bonus, if your new gamer is struggling with the orders, you can always take on more of the workload yourself so you can make progress while everyone feels like they're helping. Also, just as an honorable mention here, we have Pokemon. You see, there's one major thing to consider when we start introducing kids to games, especially RPGs, and that's reading. Everyone's gonna be different when it comes to their reading ability. If your new gamer is one of those kids who burns through chapter books like there's no tomorrow, then this might not be that big of an issue. But generally speaking, it's not until ages 7 or 8 that children get a high enough reading level to reach basic literacy. And when it comes to reading to learn new skills or gain information, you know, the kind of stuff that you get in an RPG, that doesn't normally develop until the age of at least 9. If you're there, Pokemon is perfect. Simple menuing, cute characters, and a basic button layout that makes this the ideal gamer's first RPG. Level 8, joystick plus 2 buttons, 2 at a time. Now comes step 8.
Yeah, so I guess this all does extremely vary based on how old you are when you're being introduced to video games. If you're being introduced as a young child, great. If you're being introduced as an adult, not so great. Doesn't matter as much. More difficulty on the learning part, less difficulty on the, like, what has to be introduced. It's weird. That's weird.
Where we're going to add in the need to press and hold multiple buttons at the same time. And guess what?
Officer, that person right there, they just said to lock an infant in a chair. Nope, yep, get him. I don't have the siren. Turn on the sirens. Get him.
We're finally ready for, friends, Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm just as shocked that Mario is so late on this journey as you are. But as I mentioned earlier, not only are the buttons doing different things depending on what power-up Mario has, but straddling multiple buttons at once to make precise jumps, that requires advanced dexterity and spatial awareness that only follows all the other skills that we've built up so far. Level 9, joystick and 3 or more buttons, no camera control. Loyal theorists were in the home
I did not consider camera controls. Camera controls. That's a whole other beast, because camera controls, there's so many variations of it that's its own type of difficult that, like, yeah, I did not. Wow. Camera controls. Whoa.
We've done 1 button. We've done 2 buttons.
What happened to MatPat? He's not dead. He's leaving game theory. Did you not know? Do you not know about this? Have you been living under a rock? Game ended. He game overed.
But more importantly than all of that, at this point we have to stay aware of camera control. You see,
he's probably not dead though. Probably.
Adding the second stick into the mix to control the camera is the last major control hurdle that we're going to have to overcome, and it is a doozy. Seems like the vast majority of games today, especially your big AAA first-person shooters and third-person action games,
Azura, I am so sorry this is how you have to find out. His last theory goes live in 15 minutes. And we are here celebrating his retirement together, and we are going to weep. We're not going to watch the final video right away. But yeah, he is handing all of the channels off to somebody else. multiple other people. But a lot of the people I mean, I don't know. If you've missed this, then you've probably missed all the new people. But yeah, he's probably not dead. Probably.
Require you to be able to metaphorically walk and chew gum at the same time. Having your thumbs control both your player and the camera simultaneously is one thing, but with every change you make with the camera on your right thumb, it significantly changes the way that your character moves with your left thumb.
Did not at all
consider
camera.
Like controlling two different characters at the same time. In fact, Mario 64, the first truly successful 3D platformer, literally made the camera its own character, Lakitu, to help bridge the idea in players' minds that these games were going to require new skills.
You also can't really control both. You kind of can, but you can't really. Like, you have very limited control of the camera in that game. Great game. Mario 64, one of my favorite games of all time. I hate the camera controls. Love the camera controls, hate the camera controls, you know?
There are plenty of gamers out there who really stopped playing newer games due to not being able to wrap their heads around new camera controls.
When I was in high school, when this first came out, like, I remember seeing it like on display at like an electronics store and just being like totally overwhelmed.
Okay, ad time. Just cut off Danny like that. Yeah, that's not cool.
Well,
so before we add in that second stick, let's just do ourselves a final game with more buttons in a 3D space where the camera work's done for us. I recommend Super Mario 3D World. It has all
3D World isn't. Oh, it does have the camera taken care of.
The challenges of the 3D games that'll come later, but without overwhelming you.
Wait, no, it doesn't. It kind of. Well, oh yeah, you can still control it. It's just not that much. See, I would recommend Mario 64. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think Mario 64 is a really good introductory game because it was the first of its kind. So when it comes to like introducing camera controls, Mario 64 is, I mean, not that the camera controls are good, but I feel like that is a really good introduction. Sure, it's been refined in newer games, but I feel like since that was the first of its kind, people who developing back then knew that this was weird and different. So I feel like maybe that's a better place. I don't know.
Rolls. Level 10, 2 joysticks. And so we've arrived. The final step, adding in a second stick. And it's here where everything comes together. The multiple buttons that do all the things at different times, 3D environments with fully controllable cameras, lose states, precision, and a place to learn without being at a Soulsborne level of difficulty. For this, I have 2 recommendations. The first is a game franchise that only recently relinquished the camera to the player, and one that's near and dear to my heart, Pokemon. Pokemon Sword and Shield, but especially Legends Arceus, are Pokemon's first foray into the world of 3D camera controls, and as a result, they've made it as accessible as possible. For something that's a bit more intensive though, we have Super Mario Odyssey. Is Super Mario Odyssey the heart?
Mario Galaxy would be a better non-camera control game too. Mario Odyssey? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Mario Odyssey was hard to me. Mario Odyssey,
game that ever existed? No. In fact, the platforming is much more forgiving than past titles like 64 and Galaxy.
That is fair.
But you see, that's entirely
I don't know
the
about
point.
that. Galaxy has very forgiving platforming because you can just land on a planet. But Galaxy is more confusing because of the actual, like, having to walk around a three-dimensional 360-degree planet. I don't know.
Our goal here isn't to go from zero to hero. Our goal is to give new players a taste of what makes gaming so fun without bogging them down with years of assumed knowledge that us experienced gamers.
Maybe it's just I have like the speedrunner in my brain where it's like I gotta go fast, so I just need to slow down and play the game more casually. Maybe
Whereas just know intuitively. And then with that solid baseline, everything from there just ramps on up. The speed of play, it increases. The intricacy of the controls, it just gets harder. The complexity of the movement, the platforms get smaller, whatever. And so there you have it, folks. Your 10-step guide to get someone started into the wonderful world of video games. A few quick final thoughts as we wrap things up. First and foremost, be patient. This is learning, and like any learning, it's
What are those controllers? What are those controllers? Okay, are they just regular controllers? It looked like it was only up and down controllers. That was weird. Yeah, being patient with kids trying to learn how to be gamers is very important.
Take time. There's going to be forward progress, but there's also going to be steps backward as well. It's also worth noting
that's
that
why
if
I think
one
just
game doesn't click,
do it.
Try a different
just
one.
give
if
it to
you're
them.
struggling to find recommendations for games to play, commonsensemedia.org
Just give them a game and let them experience it.
and FamilyGamingDatabase.com both have great tools that allow you to search for games on the consoles you have based on things like age, genre, and even the complexity of the controls.
That's
but
cool.
really,
I like
for
that.
all the overthinking and analysis that we've done here today, here's a little test that you can use to know whether or not you're doing a good job at teaching a new player how to play a video game. Are they having fun? If so, you're doing exactly
Very important.
what you need
Yep,
to
there
do.
you go.
But hey, that's just a theory.
A game theory.
Thanks for watching.
There we have it. That's one of, I think, like 7. It took us 50 minutes to get here. I need to stop pausing. I need to stop pausing so much. Jesus, look at everybody rewatching the "it's just a theory" part. Wow. Oh, all right.
It's so easy.
Okay. Oh, the final theory is about to go. We can't watch it immediately. What is it? What is the theory on? I don't want to watch it immediately. I want to watch it immediately, but I want to catch up on the other ones. I don't want to just skip to it. I don't want to just... There's 9 minutes left. I don't want to just skip to it. This is it. 10 weeks we've been building to this moment, and it's finally here. In honor of your final episode of Game Theory, figure there's no better topic to cover than game theory. The name of the show is more than just a clever little pun. So the time here comes to an end. Join me in the celebration of the past 13 years. Oh, 13 years. I mean, I guess we don't have to do it in order, but it would have. It would feel better to end on this one. But I guess, you know, we'll end on the FNAF Thanks for the Memories, because that's really what I've been a game theory fan for, is Five Nights at Freddy's. I got really into Five Nights at Freddy's because of a YouTuber that is not Markiplier, surprisingly. Who was it? Riz Grestar. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that guy, but he was kind of my introduction. Here, well, you know what? We will hold out. We will hold out, and we will watch this one. All right, we will hold out. Oh, this is gonna be rough. Oh no, this is gonna be a rough one here. I will go here. Okay. All right. So, a long time ago, when I was just a wee lad learning about the internet, I watched a little guy. I need to scroll away from this so I don't. I'm just gonna make me sad. I was learning about the internet, and I was getting into YouTube things, everything YouTube related, and I found this guy named Riz Grestar. He was a clean YouTuber. He did not swear. He did not talk about dirty things. He was a very clean creator. I don't know how to say this in a better way. He was very clean. He was very chill, and he played interesting games. He played Five Nights at Freddy's when it came out. He played some other horror stuff. He played a game called I Want to Be the Guy, which really inspired me to do other things. And from there on, I got really... He played Minecraft, and that was one of my favorite series growing up. And I was very into it, and that eventually, you know, led me down to the Minecraft. When Five Nights at Freddy's came out, it led me into Five Nights at Freddy's, which led me into Markiplier, and from there, obviously, the rest is history. But, of course, in the Five Nights at Freddy's era, eventually, MatPat joins the game and starts theorizing, and that was kind of my introduction to game theory. I don't think I was a game theory fan before Five Nights at Freddy's theories started coming out. But from there, I think I've watched every single Five Nights at Freddy's theory except for the most recent one, because I wanted to save it for this. But watching MatPat video in 6 minutes? Yep, that's why we're here. I was going to... there are a few other ones that I haven't watched yet leading up to it that I was going to watch first, but I took way too long watching the first video we just watched, so now we have 6 minutes. And I'm going... Yep, we're waiting. We're on the waiting screen right now. We're sitting here chilling. Oh, this is going to be rough. This is going to be... I might cry. Don't be surprised if I cry, alright, guys? Don't be surprised. Thank you, Mr. Gimu, for following. I appreciate you. Why is he leaving or retiring? Moving on to different things. That's it. He's moving on to different things. He is about to experience more things in life. I don't know where he's going to go from here. He's staying on GT Live for, what, 4 months? 5 months? 6 months? Something like that. Until summer. Somewhere around there. And then I believe he's gonna be gonna live life more. Yeah, he is gonna live his life more. I believe he'll still be, you know, involved in the creative process of some stuff, moving into parenting practically. I mean, I'm glad he gets to spend more time with his family. I just hope he stays around because I just watched the GT Live yesterday from the YouTube's video, where I'm hoping, you know, he does that creator bowling or whatever he called it. That would be amazing to see. I hope he gets to do more things with other creators and expand his content creation journey beyond game theory and his other channels as well. So I'm hoping he's not like retiring in the sense of like I'm kind of done with YouTube, because I don't think once you do YouTube, I don't think you're really ever done with YouTube. That's why I don't see myself retiring. Like 10 years down the line, I see myself just starting, really. I don't know. It's weird. Luckily, closed captions are good now. Yeah, I hope I can turn that on quickly, because I think it's off by default. Oh, guys, nobody told me I should have turned on captions for the last video. I'm sorry about that. Forgot that step. Oh, boy. Oh, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt my soul. MatPat's my childhood, man. Oh, I'm feeling it now. Oh, no. This is gonna be rough. Remember to go subscribe to the VODS channel, by the way, guys, just in case you miss anything while we stream today, or any other stream. So this VOD will go up later. So if you want to, if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, make sure you subscribe to the VODS channel, also the YouTube channel regularly as well. We'll wait for MatPat for 10 years. He'll come back. He'll come back 10 years. Yeah, he'll come back out of retirement. It's like, okay, Ollie grew up. Ollie moved out, right? And now it's like, I don't need to be a parent at every moment now, so I can go back to YouTube. And then he'll come back after Ollie graduates high school. I don't know. I don't see him fully leaving. I definitely see him doing a cameo occasionally, you know. I don't know. I'm very curious what they do moving forward with all these channels, with every channel, especially Game Theory, because that's my, I mean, Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be an interesting ride here moving forward, because it's only getting more complicated, and I could not imagine being in Tom's position, trying to theorize. Whew. You know, I don't know. Yeah, people saying, please don't quit. Wonder what topic you got today. We'll miss you, MatPat. God, a lot of those. Thanks for being here, everyone. Yeah, God. I would like it, but I'm not signed in. I'll like it afterwards. Or I'll go like it on on my actual account. Let me go do that. Let me do that. Game Theory. Oh, it's gonna hurt. Oh, I'm starting to feel it. Oh, God. All right, I like the video. We got it. Welcome back, Flavius. Welcome back. You kicked Ollie out of your house so you can continue. Yeah, no, sorry. I thought I was reading that as if you came back. Yeah, no. Hello, gamers. I've kicked Ollie out of the house so I can continue. Yeah, that's the way to go. That's what'll happen. God, 100,000 people. Can we... Okay. MatPat Final Theory. Can we get this to the highest viewed live stream or premiere of all time? It's not a live stream. 60 seconds. Oh, it's gonna hurt. Oh, it's gonna hurt. No, I'm scared now. Don't go. Everybody's being sad. No. Oh, God. Okay. I'm mentally prepared. I'm preparing myself. I'm preparing myself mentally. I'm preparing myself mentally. Whew. I have not had an experience like this where I'm seeing a YouTuber go that I grew up with. I didn't grow up with any of the ones who have retired recently. All right, we're gonna pause the music. It's about time. It's almost time. Well, okay, it's not time yet. Never mind. We're not gonna pause the music out. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I'm getting. Whew. There's a link in the description of the video. To what? To what? Help us search and find him here. Where's MatPat.com? What? That's hilarious. What? Where does this go? We'll meet again. You'll find the clues here. I'll post occasional updates when new exciting projects are coming up and when there's a new mystery to solve. Look at this. What? I'm gonna sign up to that. I'm gonna sign up to that later. What? This is all a stunt. This is an ARG. He's not actually leaving. He's not leaving. He's trying to bait us into content clicks. He's not leaving. He's a liar. I don't know. This is gonna be all one gotcha video. I can see it coming now. I can feel it. I hope. We all hope. Oh no. No, because YouTube's in on it. They wouldn't do that. Oh, this is oh, here it is. Oh, we get an ad? Oh, great. Alright. Well, that's gonna get me copyrighted. Alright. Okay, captions is on. Good. Wait, captions is on for the ad, but wasn't on for the actual video? That's weird. Alright. Here we go. Okay, never mind. We'll get another ad. Hold on. No, wait. Matt, slow down. Okay. Okay, there's a timer. Okay. Captions are on. Oh no. Here goes. I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm gonna cry. Oh no. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, guys. I don't want to do this. I don't want to say goodbye to MatPat. Get this extension to get rid of ads. We might just have to deal with it. Because there's no time. There's literally 6 seconds. Oh no. Deep breaths, everybody. Oh no. Oh god. Don't do this to me! Oh, he's gonna do a recap of them all. Oh! This is gonna be an emotional journey. Oh.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where that is the last time that I'll be saying those words officially on this channel. Loyal theorists, how do you say goodbye?
I don't.
13
I
years
cry.
ago, I made you this promise.
I run
Do
away.
you want to know more about the games you love without having to put in any work of your own? Well, now you can play and learn. That's right, Weboverse. We have created
Weboverse.
Game Theory, gaming's tangential learning
this chat here.
experience.
Well, Weboverse, here we are today, 3,000 videos of tangential learning later. How do you
God,
sum all that up? I
3,000.
already got super weepy in the last one of these things,
Oh,
so
yeah, it's
probably
gonna happen
shouldn't do that
again, to me.
Redundant and probably not great for the tech equipment. Also spent the last 10 weeks together knowing that this day was gonna come, right? So I really feel like
I
I've
didn't
got
think it
my
would come
fair
this
amount
early.
of war. I've buried hatchets, I've rekindled friendships, I made sweeping videos about the state of online entertainment,
Those are
Fires
great.
and Tanks.
They're all
that
great.
was legitimately
I
very
wanna I haven't seen that
cool.
one yet. I
honored
need to
my
see that.
heritage. I made Disney mad at me one final time, which, you know, felt appropriate. Got some new dripping, and just in general, ran my way through all the things that were left in my content creator bucket list. So again, I ask, how do you say goodbye? First, it's probably most important to remind you that it's not officially goodbye, right?
Yes, I
It's
know.
not like I'm
I know.
dying or anything.
Well.
It's more of a see you later. I'm still gonna be doing plenty of stuff. Like,
Good.
I'm already booked
Thank
to
God.
do the fashion show on Style Theory later this year. I'm still gonna be here
Good.
on the couch for GT Live.
Good.
In a couple weeks, I'm gonna be giving a speech over at PAX. I was
Good.
recently in a kill count.
Oh,
Heck,
really?
I'm
What?
already slated to do the
I haven't seen
Jacksepticeye
that. I need to see
podcast,
that.
the Ludwig podcast.
Oh,
There's a
let's go.
collaboration I'm doing with Shea Frillis Productions. There's the FNAF musical over on Random Encounters. Like,
Oh, I didn't know
will
about
be
that.
doing a lot, and you will probably
Thank God,
be sick
he's
of
staying.
me doing all these things.
No,
on
we're
everyone
never
else's
sick of
channels.
you,
But
MatPat.
if you do want to stay in touch with me, there are actually 2 ways that you could do it. Normally, I'd say something like, "Oh, you can follow me on Twitter," but
Don't worry,
we
I
all know
do.
that there's
Don't
like
worry.
a grand total of 0 people who want to be
Well,
over on that platform.
it's also not
So
Twitter
instead,
anymore.
I decided to make you this. A mysterious
Yep,
website.
there it
named
is. Yeah, that's the one we clicked. Is it
where'smatpat.com.
changing? I need to
This
see if
is
it's
gonna be a
changing.
place that I update every once in a while when I have news about some new project
nothing
that's
new
coming
yet.
up, or, you know, a mystery that you're gonna have to solve by digging through the source code.
Oh,
Yes,
God, it's not
ripoff
working
of
right now.
ScottGames.com.
I think-
No,
Ru-
I don't feel bad about that.
What?
Because he stole enough of my ideas over the years. He kind of owes me one.
Oh, okay.
Editors
Okay,
drop
okay,
on some
okay.
deal with
okay.
its sunglasses in this moment.
Calm.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's a good one.
Once you're there, make sure you sign up via email. Don't worry, I'm not going to be spamming you with updates.
Oh,
or
we're
anything.
crashing
More
the
like a
site. We're crashing the site. The site is
newsletter. Or maybe
down.
a Christmas card that you
The
get
site
every
is
once in a
down.
while with a funny update, or maybe we could chat about a favorite movie or something. I'll send over the occasional video that I'm just inspired to make. Who knows? Basically, this is just meant to be a way to let you all know what I'm up to directly in a way that isn't going to be subject to filtering algorithms, you know? And to kick things off this week, I'll be selecting 100 random emails that sign up to get personalized letters. And from that point forward, once or twice a week, I'll continue pulling a handful of emails to send personal notes to. It'll be a fun way to stay in touch. Long story short, make sure you bookmark it since
That's
you
gonna
never know
hurt.
what might happen
That's gonna
over there.
hurt
But,
if that happens,
all
but
right,
in a good way.
enough stalling. Back to the question at hand. How do you say goodbye? Well, I think you honestly have to end it all where it began. This title.
That's gonna get
A
taken out of
Game
context.
Theory. about game theory. Did you know that game theory
Yep.
isn't just a nerdy YouTube show? It's also a nerdy economics
It's
concept.
mostly a nerdy YouTube show, though.
If that's news to you, I honestly can't blame you. At this point, we've created enough confusion online that apparently we've merited our own disambiguation tag on Wikipedia for game theory searches.
I love that.
In
That
all
is
seriousness,
amazing.
For the first 5 years of the show, I received so many tweets from people who are mid-year in their economics courses, screenshotting their textbooks, freaking out when they got to the episode on game. It's not an episode. It's when they got to the chapter on game theory, being like, "Oh my gosh, dude, did you know that you were in this thing?" And
That's
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow. I
Definitely
appreciate
did.
you.
The pun, believe it or not, was intentional. In fact, Steph and I knew from the very beginning that it was likely that the final episode of Game Theory
Try
was
not
going
to
to be
talk too much.
about game theory. Why? Well, because game theory, it's everywhere. You can't
That is
escape
true.
it.
That
If
is
you've
true.
ever
I don't
seen
know
the
much
movie
about it.
Love Actually, there's actually this opening monologue in it that goes a little something like this.
We live in a world of hatred and greed, but I don't see that. Seems to me that love is everywhere. If you look for it, you'll find that love actually is all around.
Now
I've
you
heard
just
that.
gotta
I haven't
replace
heard
the
that from
word
that, but
love
I've heard that
with
somewhere.
game theory, and you basically got it.
That we live in a world of hatred and greed, but I don't see that. Seems to me that
Game theory,
love is everywhere. If you look for it, you'll find that
game theory.
love actually is all around.
Huh, who would have suspected that English acting megastar and recent Oompa Loompa Hugh Grant would be making a guest appearance in my final episode? Truly, we have spared no expense for this one. And not only is game theory
Okay,
just
I'm not crying as
everywhere,
much. I'm not crying as
it also
much.
holds the secret to winning everything forever. Yeah, I know, right? That is a huge claim to make. Clearly, I was saving all my biggest secrets for the grand finale. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? Let's not beat around the bush anymore, my friends. Let's make you masters of the universe and reveal how,
All right.
whether you like it or not, you all are theorists for life.
Oh,
But-
I knew that. I mean, I
this
already
way.
knew that. Okay, we're leaving the couch.
Yeah, we're moving off the couch. this
Okay,
time.
that
That's how
doesn't
you know it's a
happen.
big deal. Let's go. At its core, game theory is the science of strategy.
Is he going
So
into the
we
recording
gamers,
closet?
We understand strategy, but what
be
exactly
hilarious.
is game theory specifically? Well, to understand that, you have to go back to the original game theorist, not me, this guy right here.
Oh, okay.
He might not
Thought he
have
was gonna be
himself
in the
red
room.
leather jackets or the cool diamond play buttons,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what he does have, a crater on the moon named after himself, so I'll let you decide who has the bigger flex there. This guy right here, he is
That is a fair
mathematician
point.
John von Neumann, and he was everywhere back in the day. And I do mean everywhere. Like, this
Never
guy
heard of
was
this
a key
guy.
player in the
Never heard
invention
of
of
this
the
guy.
digital computer. He helped with the discovery of the structure of DNA, even the creation of key components for Oppenheimer's Manhattan Project.
Really?
You know, the Christopher Nolan movie where big things go big booms. But perhaps his biggest claim to fame was game
sitting
theory.
back down.
The idea that in any situation where there are two or more people, or players in this case, you can model out a game that'll help you find the best outcome. Have you
Yes.
ever played rock, paper, scissors and thrown out rock as the first hand? Because you know, statistically, most people choose their first move to be scissors. Or maybe you pick
That's not
paper
why,
because the
but-
last three moves have been rock, and
not
they're
why I do it.
obviously going to be throwing rock again. Well, congratulations,
Yeah.
that is game theory in action. And
Okay,
you got a
like
medal
that.
of freedom for that. So it just goes to show, don't let your dreams just be dreams, kids. Sometimes getting an honorary medal is
Yep.
a lot easier than you think. In short, game theory is the study of strategic choice. It's math that tells you what people are going to do and who's going to win the game. Probably the most
Okay, I did
famous
not know that
example
part
of
of
game
it.
theory scenario is the prisoner's dilemma, where two accomplices
Mm-hmm.
have just committed a crime and they're both given the chance to narc on the other one. If they both
Okay.
deny the crime, well, they both get a short prison sentence. If one of them denies the crime and the other rats him out,
Right.
the narc walks free while his
Yep.
buddy is stuck in prison for a long time. And if they both confess, they both get a medium sentence. We
Yep.
can model the possible outcomes here in a nice, neat, mathy looking
Yep.
square. And while technically the best outcome for
It's
both of
the-
them would be to trust each other and
it's the
not
will you press
confess,
the
they're
button
criminals,
thing.
and they don't know each other.
I can't
that
think of the
well.
actual
and because
name of
they
it
don't
right now.
trust each other
Top of my
by
head.
the math, both of them narc on each other, and as a result, get a
Yep.
medium amount of prison time. Or if that all's too complicated and hypothetical, over in England, they turned the whole thing into a game show where they say
Yeah.
the word balls an uncomfortable amount of times.
Uncomfortable.
Balls.
Yeah.
Golden balls. Balls of riches. 12 balls.
My balls are all golden.
100 golden balls, and they're all bursting with money. Killer balls.
All right.
Balls. 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 Balls.
Now, why am I bringing all this up? Well,
They say
game
it better
theory
than
is more
Americans,
than just
though, to
wads
be
of
fair.
cash jammed into a bunch of balls. Someone should tell Mr. Beast that I just discovered his next video idea. No, it has very real consequences for the world. Back when the US and USSR were on the brink of atomic annihilation, the principles of game theory helped both sides reach an agreement to slowly disarm their nuclear arsenals. If you want to know more about that story, Veritasium's recent video on game theory does a great job telling it. And honestly,
Interesting.
I can't really improve on it. So thanks for doing all the research for my final episode there, Derek. If you want an example
Oh, that's great.
a bit closer to home, though, here you go. YouTube.
Yep.
It's got it.
Yep.
See, YouTube as a platform is
That
just
makes
a bunch
total
of
sense,
zeros and
actually.
ones, right? But YouTube as a community, it's a network of people constantly trying to make strategic decisions.
My
Creators
life
are
in a
players
nutshell.
who are more or less rational people making videos that'll get you to watch and like and comment and subscribe.
Yep.
You, the viewer, you're also a player in this. You're on a strategic mission to win the experience by finding the thing that's most satisfying to watch.
Yep.
And the people who run, or at least have run YouTube in the past, shout out to Todd, Jake, Neil, Ernest, Meg, Ariel, Susan, David, Fede, Vader, Stephanie, and Kim. They're all
And
in a
soon to be
strategic
MatPat.
game to keep the creators and viewers happy, while also figuring out the best possible outcome for YouTube as a company by
Yep.
appeasing all the advertisers and shareholders.
It's a money
It
game.
is seriously a complex strategic arena. And that's how you
Yeah,
get
it's less
decisions
game
like
theory
use
and more
bright
money
green
game
text 'cause
theory.
It's more likely to stand out in a sea of dark gaming thumbnails and more likely to get clicks. Launch
Yep.
shorts as a means to counterattack against TikTok.
Yep.
Do a video on something that's not trending so you can stand out from the pack. Or
Yep.
maybe you lean in so you're suggested against the algorithm.
It's a
Every video you
rough
watch,
game.
Everything that you click on, it's the product of creators using game theory.
Yep.
Slap a big old game theory colon in front of every title and slam some clickbait green text in every thumbnail. All those
Yep.
hundreds of millions of subscribers to Jimmy and Ryan Trahan and Cocomelon, I like to think that
Yep.
they're all secretly ours. Where's our 200
They kinda
million
are. I
subscriber
mean,
play button there, YouTube?
it'll get
In the
the-
end,
it'll get
it's
there
all
eventually.
game theory.
MatPat just needs to
Speaking
come
of,
back in 10 years
this
and
is
it'll get
just
there.
an aside that I learned about earlier this week. Apparently, there's a Chrome extension that allows you to do exactly what I just described.
Really?
It quote unquote MatPat.
Oh, right. I've seen the Mr. Beastification one. I haven't seen the
Just
MatPat
saying,
one.
We have reached the peak.
That's
of human
hilarious.
achievements. I, for one, really like this one, where it's Link and saying "Mommy's hungry." That's just traumatic on a whole nother level. Or there was one
That's
that
amazing.
I saw circulating online: Ryan Gosling doing a puppy interview, and the title is "Birth of a Killer."
Oh my
There's
god.
another one that showed up on the
No.
subreddit: Afton's final death smash. I gotta say, I am proud of the mark that I will leave on this platform.
Oh my god,
But
that's
so what,
amazing.
right? YouTube is game theory. Sure, that's great. It's interesting, but why does it matter to you, right? Why am I spending so much time talking about all of this in my final episode? Well, because like I said, game theory can help in every strategic interaction that you have. And it's produced a literal strategy guide on the best way to live out your life, tried and tested by all our grandfather theorists. But to truly understand that, we have to go back to where it all began, a glorified PowerPoint presentation.
He has said where it all
Allow me
began
to
several
introduce
times
you
now.
to,
I
like,
love that.
please, the trust game. I love this. We started as glorified PowerPoint slides and we're ending as glorified
I mean,
PowerPoint
that is the
slides.
way to do
Here's
it.
The TLDR.
It all
of this
comes full
one.
circle.
The trust
Isn't
game
that the whole
was
point?
originally just named the Computer Tournament by a guy named Robert Axelrod.
Never heard of this.
Clearly not the most creative with his titling conventions. Basically, this was the prisoner's dilemma or the golden balls thing, except here there was one crucial difference. They're not just playing the game once, they are literally playing it hundreds
Really?
of times, repeating it over and over again.
Oh,
to
okay,
see
I
what
have heard of
strategies
this.
end up winning the most across a longer period.
Right.
This then gives us a model that's shockingly close
all
to
just
real life,
stats.
because here, most of the time, you're not just thinking about what you have to do to win a single game, you have to actually think about the consequences of your actions. The more people think about the future, the more they're willing to cooperate because they don't want to screw themselves over down the road, you know? Again, for details on that experiment, check out Derek Veritasium's video where he talks about all of that,
God,
including
he is gonna
having an
freak-
interview
he
with
is
the
gonna
game's
freak out,
creators.
yeah.
It's a very cool video. I also borrowed his convention for that one, so thanks for the ladder.
This is the
and
ultimate-
idea
this is
there,
the
Derek.
shout
You
out.
can also watch Dr. Trevor Bassett's video
ultimate
on the topic,
shout out.
or the various TED Talks that are all about this experiment. We'll link to all of those down in the description below. But just to jump to the big conclusion here, the best strategy to winning it big boils down to 4 key points. Number 1, be cooperative. Lead with trust. Assuming that the person you're playing with is your enemy right off the bat, it's not going to serve you well. Trust in others, it's going to let you win more frequently in the end. Secondly, don't
Team
be a
game.
pushover. Sure, it's good to be trusting, that is great, but the
Yep.
second that someone takes advantage of your trust, the winning strategy is to call them out on it and then immediately hold them accountable.
Yep.
Which leads nicely then to point number 3, being forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold a grudge. Don't be a Mr. Darcy.
My good opinion once lost is lost forever.
That is a failing indeed.
What an
You tell it,
incredible
girl.
shot.
You are exactly right. She's speaking some game theory truth right there. Well, sure, it hurts to have your trust broken. Staying open to the chance that other people can change, that they can grow and learn and get better, that is the ideal solution here. The trust game showed that players who held their opponent accountable, but then forgave them, actually won out more often than any other strategy.
You
and
earn
lastly,
that trust
it's important
back.
to be honest and open about your strategy. When people can't understand what you're thinking, that's then when mistrust starts to breed. By being honest, it breeds honesty in others. others. It allows you to build on that trust over time, one step, bit by bit. Across the thousands of rounds of testing, nice strategies that were fair but also firm ultimately won out the most. Now, when I read these outcomes, what really struck me first was how they present a really hopeful view of the world. A hopeful view
it is
that
just generally a positive.
Carry around a lot. I mean, it's easy to assume that everyone out there
It's
is
a
out
positive
to get
when
you,
it works.
and it's easier to just close off to people who've wronged us in the past, but math and game theory specifically proves that assumption.
It's a positive when you have people willing to do it.
If you don't want to believe the thousands of rounds of computer
If people are willing to lean
simulation,
into
there
it,
is
then it
very
works and
solid
creates a more
real-life
positive
example,
world.
YouTube. YouTube is a positive-sum game.
It just
means that
cycles all
more than
back
one
around.
person can win. And in fact, a lot of times, the more others win, the more you can win too. When I was just starting off, I was so mad
Gangnam
and
Style,
scared when VSauce 3 released this video, calculating Sonic speed. I'd been working for a year on the channel at that point, grinding away and seeing a fair amount of growth. But in that moment, I saw a spin-off of one of YouTube's top subscribed channels just horning in on my territory of gaming science. It was like they were gonna steamroll me. They were gonna steal my audience away. So I did a video where I tried to stake my claim. And thus, Sonic is Slow was born.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game
I have not
Theory,
seen that
applying
one.
science to video games since April 18th of 2011. Recently, however, a new gaming scientist has come onto the scene. The good folks over at VSauce 3 recently took a gander at a game series I covered in episode 5. It's a great video, except for one thing. It's wrong.
Oh, that's amazing.
Look at my voice in that. Oh, I'm so proud that I finally hit puberty, like 7 years into making these videos. Anyway, you can tell that I'm super salty in this one, right? I'm asserting that I did it first. I'm citing the dates. I am literally trying to one-up VSauce 3. But then something interesting happened. I got views from VSauce. I saw that their video and mine were actually helping each other. I was so afraid of me losing a year of hard-earned progress. But in reality, I wasn't just operating on my own island anymore. By unintentionally cooperating with each other, we had just created our own little micro trend of gaming science content.
Unintentionally.
There were clearly enough views for all of us. Steph and I, in our years of consulting, kept hammering home this one point, that YouTube is a place where all ships can rise. Leading with trust goes
This
a
is
long
not as
way.
sad
From
as I thought it
inviting
was going to
someone
be. I was so
collab on your
ready to
channel,
just
to
bawl
comparing
my
notes
eyes
on
out.
production because it can help you both.
This feels
you actually
better.
see this kind of cooperative game theory in action with content houses, or projects like the QSMP where creators are helping each other and sharing audiences. On the flip side, there are creators who haven't done a good job of leading with trust and who've approached YouTube as a zero-sum game, a place where there can only be one winner.
And that's how you
Guess what?
fail.
Didn't work. Back in 2020, a few of the top beauty creators tried to take each other down, encouraging viewers not to watch each other, trying to turn audiences
What's
against
the
people
point
that
of
they
that?
thought
It's
were
so
their
stupid.
competitors. It was for
Be
the
last-
clout,
sad in
it
the
was
last
for
2
the
minutes. I'm
views,
sure it
and
will. I am sure it will.
In fact, it backfired so badly that all of their channels took a massive hit. And the beauty vertical, which was once a main pillar of YouTube's earliest days,
Competition's
never
one
truly
thing.
recovered.
A
By working
fight is
together,
different.
the platform thrives. Lights? But by thinking that you can only win when other people lose, well, that's when everyone loses. It's kind of sad.
Bye.
Let's move on. But if you don't want to listen to mathematicians or YouTube meta-analyses, just look at me. Game Theory, the show, is a testament to those 4 lessons of game theory, the nerdy economics concept. Every person who's built this channel has led with trust. Ronnie, he put his own show
it's about to
on
get
the back
sad.
burner
I
so he could
jinxed it.
dedicate his time to editing Game Theory, trusting
hear it in
that
the
we
music.
would be able to succeed more together. He helped the show to truly become what I had always dreamed it would be, and I honestly wish that he could be here to this day so I could thank him so much for that. The same is true for Goomba and Drake and Lee and Ryder and all the other partner shows who joined up with us in lieu of working on their own channels. Steph, she left being a consultant at a real company in the medical field on the belief that by cooperating, we could actually make something really special together. Jason,
I
who
jinxed
is
it. I
actually
jinxed
right
it
here
so
behind the
fast.
camera
That
right
was-
now. Jason, who you know as the guy that we blame all the time on GT Live. Jason was Theorist's first full-time employee after me and Steph. He jumped in there when all we had was a kitchen table and a cat that he was constantly alerted to. And Sudafed, you have this man to thank for your current net worth. Because
Zyrtec.
and Zyrtec.
And Zyrtec,
You have
yeah.
taken so many pills over the years.
I have. But all medically prescribed, though.
No, good medical pills, not
For
anything
sure.
sketchy, for sure. But Jason is the man that we have trusted with the weight of the entire production process across all the channels for years. Like, this man is the unsung hero of everything you've probably ever watched across any of the channels. Without him, without you,
Oh no.
none of these videos would get made. Now get back there, okay? Enough for you. I got
No,
thank other people.
stop. Collect yourself.
Friendship first, but also working together.
If I'm supposed to,
Awesome
yeah, thank you
stuff,
for
right?
suggesting
And
the
if you're
lore of
talking about unsung
Minecraft.
heroes on this channel, there is one man who also deserves a call out, and his name is Yossi. He is our audio wizard. He is the man.
Collect
who I
yourself,
trusted
MatPat. If I'm
with
supposed to
my
be
voice
collected,
for
you
the
have to
better
collect
part of
yourself
9 years.
first.
He has had to suffer through more hours of my voice than anyone else in the world. I am so sorry, Yossi. I am so sorry for all the burps and weird edits and weird diatribes and jump scares that Ali has given me over the years.
Oh, that's
was
amazing.
Yossi a pro when he first joined up with us? No. But you know what he was willing to do? He was willing to learn. And I've trusted him with my voice for the better part of 9 years. And the same goes for another member of the team who you've never gotten to see, but was actually there before the channel was even monetized.
Hi,
which is
Kat.
kind of crazy to think about. You don't know Dan Levitt, but Dan was another one. He was the first who actually saw potential in me and in these channels as a whole, offering to become my manager even though he had never managed a YouTuber before. He just jumped in with 2 feet and said, hey, I've never gotten a brand deal in the past, but think I could do it for you. And he did.
Wow.
And then he got me literally hundreds more.
Wow.
He has his own management company now, and he manages some of the biggest
That's
sports
impressive.
creators on all of YouTube. I can
God.
say with complete confidence that this company and my career would have looked totally different had it not been for Dan.
Probably.
And his career
So
and
many
his
people that
company
go
would have
into
looked totally
making this
different
happen.
without me.
You don't think
He
about
and
these
I
types of
have
things
built
from the
businesses
outside.
parallel to each other, right next to each
It's
other.
just a YouTube
using
video for the
cooperative
viewer.
Game theory for over a decade. He trusts me to make good decisions on YouTube, and I trust him to make good decisions as my manager, and we both benefit in the long run. But perhaps the most important person in all of these trusting relationships is you. You guys, right here. I wear you on my wrist these days. You loyal theorists have been the best example of game theory in the history of the show Game Theory. Every time you click on one of these videos, you are leading with trust. You are saying, you know what, I'm gonna give this one a chance, especially on those episodes that are covering topics that you've never even heard of. And on my end, I've always tried my best to fulfill on that promise and make sure that your trust pays off by delivering a great, well-researched,
see
fun, a lot of times
I can't, it's
stupid
broken.
video.
Chat's broken.
And yeah, there have been plenty of times where I've missed the mark, where you weren't happy about a topic, or where I said something wrong, or my research was bad, or whatever, and I needed to learn about that. And so you, acting exactly as you should, according to that trust game, you called me out in those moments. You showed me that I had made a mistake. But more importantly, you were willing to forgive. You gave me a chance to learn and grow as a creator and as a person. And look at this. We all won.
Don't do this to me.
Look at this thing that we managed to build together. Don't tell anyone else. I mean, there's 3 of them here in the room, but like the rest of them downstairs. You guys, you've always been the most important member of this team, whether or not you ever realized it. And now, as new hosts step in, yeah, they're obviously going to have to learn a lot,
Yeah.
and they're going to have to
They're
earn
gonna
your
go through the
trust just like I
same-
did over a prolonged
same
period of time.
situation Matt had to
But
go
I hope
through.
that you approach them with the same sense of cooperation and goodwill that you did for me all those years ago. So, while I might be leaving as host of this show, Game Theory, it'll never leave. It'll never leave me, and it'll never leave you.
Why does it have to be such a sad song? No.
Which, honestly, is why I thought it was fitting for you guys to be the one to say this.
But hey! That's just a theory.
It's
just
a theory.
Just a theory.
That's just a theory.
Okay, theory.
Class dismissed. Thanks for the theories.
Oh my god.
That's just a theory. C'est juste une théorie.
Just a theory.
Just a theory.
Just a theory.
Just a theory. Thanks for everything.
But hey, that's
No.
Just a theory.
That's just a theory.
Just a theory.
Just a theory.
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 That's just a 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 theory.
A style theory.
A food theory.
A film theory.
A game theory.
Thanks for watching.
Oh man, where to?
I got something I gotta do.
Okay,
Ready for a road trip?
I guess.
Let's go.
I hope I don't get DMCA'd for this. Oh. I'm probably gonna get DMCA'd for this, but that's fine. I'll just talk over this real quick. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm fine.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to cry because I don't need that to be clipped for later reference, but I'm having a rough time. Hello, Jesus, Matt.
Been expecting you. Come.
Oh,
we have
no.
much to discuss.
Oh no. He gets to know everything. Oh. Chat's gone. Chat does not exist. 356,000 people watching live. God. I need to go back because I didn't get to do the thing. No, stop. Stop, don't suggest other videos. I'm not ready yet. Matt, calm down. Oh, I didn't get to do the thing. Stop, no.
Just a theory. That's
I need to go. No.
A film theory.
A game theory. But hey, that's just a theory. We need to.
Thanks for
A game theory. Thanks for watching. Okay. Yeah, chat's back. Oh. Now he gets to know all the lore. He gets to know all the lore. Where was it? It was here. Yep, that's absolutely the man himself. I'm surprised he wasn't wearing purple. Time to find all the endings. Yeah, what does that mean? Time to find all the endings. Are the other channels? Is that what it means? Spoilers below. What? I'm confused. Wait, yeah, I don't know what it means to go from there. I'm struggling. I'm having a rough time. What is this?
butthead.
What? Oh, okay. What? Whoa, okay, that opened a... Oh, I see. Okay, we're gonna watch them all. We're gonna watch them all, I guess. I didn't realize that.
What now?
Vacation?
Why is this one quieter?
Vacation!
Oh, were these alternate endings that they were gonna do? So that was the Lore Keeper ending. Interesting.
How do you think they're doing back at the office?
He did a Markiplier thing.
What's the matter? Can't reach? How did this even happen?
Who was that in the first ending? That's Scott Cawthon, creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. Absolutely. Had to have been. There's no one else that could have been. I know that face too well. Scott Cawthon, the man who knows all the lore. What is happening back at the office? Jesus. This is a great way to end. Have multiple endings. Does he really know all the lore though? No, absolutely not. Scott is creating it still, slowly as time goes on, but he can explain all the things that Matt has questions about, you know, and tell him, like, what does this thing mean? And Scott can be like, I don't know, man. I just needed more content. Oh no.
Avatars, it's time to overtake the editors.
Jesus Christ, this is amazing.
I just got the Wordle.
Oh. Jesus.
I'm sure they're fine.
Hear that across the world, yeah.
You know, my body still has those weird tan markings from the sunscreen episode.
I've noticed. Yeah.
Chaos ending. Accurate. Accurate ending. Very chaotic. It's just a Roomba with a knife. Where was Michael Reeves? Michael Reeves needed to be part of this ending. Jesus. Okay, that was great. That was incredible. All right, now we need to go back. Can I go back? Oh, it opened in a new tab. Okay, what's next? 3 of 6.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
What now?
Music Man.
Music Man? Music Man? Let's go!
Music Man. Wait, I don't know if I can watch this one. We're gonna get. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. How is it just? Oh, wait. Okay, I can't watch this. I'm gonna get copyrighted. The meme ending. The meme and the Pope. Oh my god. Okay, I can't watch all of that one because that's gonna get copyrighted. But oh my god. Nyan Music Cat. Music Man. All right, 4 of 6.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. We're gonna do it every time.
What now?
You know,
Oh no.
I actually have to do something real quick.
Oh no.
Wait right there.
Hey, are you okay?
Probably.
Hello?
He's probably not dead.
Matthew? Are you up there?
I love this like a home video style. Did he go back into the recording closet? Is he trying to find out the rest of the lore? All the lore? What in?
Come on.
The Among Us. Of course, the Among Us. Oh my god.
Oh, this is crazy.
The box. Jesus Christ, Music Man. Oh, what's in the box? What's in the box?
I figured it out. Okay.
You could talk. You talked to Scott.
And Vanessa wasn't a robot. Okay. It was me.
No, Matt. No, Matt.
Robot 270, you're the robot. You have gears beeping and pooping in your head. Keep beeping and pooping, 70, you're a robot.
Everyone's a robot. He's really leaning into this now. Everyone's a robot. Yeah, this is why I say MatPat's not actually leaving. The theater never leaves you. He's forever a theater kid. He will stick around to be the theater guy. Oh, I haven't. Captions are off. I don't know why they. What is this?
Wouldn't you like to be a robot too?
Yes, please make a theory about me. That would be incredible. The box. Okay, hold on. Wait, the insanity ending. Oh, okay, hold on. All sands and no nests makes MatPat a sad boy. Oh my god, that's amazing. No nest makes MatPat a sad boy. Thank. Y equals MX's plus B. That's great. The box. Joey Drew, William Afton, Elliot Ludwig. I don't know who that is. Ness is dead. Link is Rosalina's mother. Okay, it's just a lot of little references. I love that. TF2 is greater than or equal to 0. Oh, Matt Scott. Oh, this is great. William, the love for William Afton. That's amazing. God. All right. That's 4 of 6. 5 of 6. Here we go. Thanks for watching. Oh, okay.
What now?
I don't know.
Are we...
Have you done today's Wordle, I guess?
Oh, that's a good one.
We got some.
Jesus Christ, that scared me. Oh, hello. Hello, MatPat. Oh, true. The true ending. Oh. Twitch TV, that's where I'm live right now. GTV tonight, that's loud. Late night news. Is Mark in this? Is Mark in this one? I feel like this is a Mark thing to do. Sky watching at 9:30. God, that's really loud. The Think Principle. Oh no. Lixian made this, for sure, no doubt. Emergency alert says, and this is not a test. The United States government, okay, the United States government, oh, it's gonna go like this, okay. Has issued an emergency action notification.
The emergency alert system has issued a code gray for your local area. There is a dangerous person or predator nearby.
It's not MatPat.
Evacuate the area immediately. Again, this is not a test.
Okay, well, I can't leave. I'm streaming. I don't have an IRL backpack. I can't do that. Sorry. Jesus Christ. That is so loud.
A shocking discovery was made. The bodies of internet personalities Matthew and Stephanie Patrick were found in their home, mutilated by what...
Pause, please. You guys got... Okay, you know what? You guys got ads. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Okay, we'll pause. We'll go back. We'll start this one over. Okay, hold on. I'll be back. Here, enjoy some music while we wait. Hold on. All right, there. I was able to pee. You guys were able to get your ad break without missing much. We're gonna restart this one. All right.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Here we go again.
What now? I don't know. Have you done today's Wordle yet? Oh, that's a good one.
Jeez. Maker, that was a waste because there's my sound is low for this stream. I said that earlier, that my jump scare sound is lower this stream. I guess I could turn it up now. It was meant to be, I'll turn it back down when we get back into the other reactions. I guess here it's valid, but yeah, sorry to make you waste your points like that, but yeah, the volume's lower, so I can just react and not, yeah, anyway. Jeez, this is loud again. Okay, TTV tonight, that's where I am. I'm live on twitch.tv. All right, late night news at 9 p.m. Skywatching at 9:30. The Think Principle at 10 p.m. Isn't that a Mandela Categoric thing? The Think Principle? Or is that something else? I can't remember. Emergency alert system. The United States government has issued an emergency action notification. Okay. National warning. Okay.
The emergency alert system has issued a code gray.
Love that. Love that text-to-speech sound.
Dangerous person or predator nearby. Evacuate the area immediately. Again, this is not a test.
Jesus Christ. That part's like, oh, the volume here. Jesus. God, it's so loud. It's so grainy.
Last night, a shocking discovery was made. The bodies of internet personalities Matthew
He
and
is dead.
Patrick were
He
found
is
in
dead.
their
We
home,
confirmed it.
mutilated by what officers described as. This follows the similar mysterious death.
Hold on.
This follows their home, mutilated by what officers described as. This follows the similar mysterious death.
Know that face. That's the Mandela catalog face. Run? I don't want to run. Jesus. I am near. I am near. Applause. That does not sound like a pause, YouTube, but good try. I hunger. You speak goodly. Me too am do good. Your fear sustains me. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of you. I see your eyes. I played enough horror games. I'm not scared of you. There is no escape. There is nothing. Are we going back to that thing? Oh, hello. Oh, that's the character. The classic PNG image. Well, that's not right. Something about that's a little off. The jump scare ending. Love that. The horror ending. Okay, that's, yeah, nice. This is the ARG ending. This is gonna look great on YouTube. This great grainy quality right here. It just had, hold on. Yeah, it says shh. Okay, I didn't hear it. I thought maybe it picked up something that I didn't hear. Anything at the end? Or last second jump scare? No, okay. Alright, last ending. Last ending. I clicked it. There we go.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
That was the best one.
Great.
Oh no. This is the true aftermath.
Cut sound, cut camera.
All right, cutting.
Oh no. Yeah. High five. Top of the morning to you.
Yeah. It was the first one. After that was
After the first one, it's all downhill from there.
Yeah.
It just got real.
I know. It's real.
Amy's like, oh my gosh, finally, this channel's been mine.
He's gone.
No more edible underwear episodes interrupting my perfect programming.
I'm pitching bologna bra from
Bologna bra.
Baloney bra.
But then I changed to bologna bra with cheese thong.
Is that a food theory or is that
No,
a
if you
theory?
want this to be a theory.
Oh, okay.
We make the clothes and then we eat the clothes.
It's already on
Oh no.
Like you make.
You eat the
Yeah, it's you. It's your channel.
That's fair.
Like on style series, like can you wear it?
Yes.
On food theory, you analyze whether or not like there's a lot of bacteria.
Can you make something that would work, that would be edible and safe to wear?
And on film theory,
It's just porn.
Yeah, oh my god.
Did you hear this?
The amount of brain power in that room is astronomical. To be able to sit in that room and just like sit in and be a fly on the wall and listen to the conversations that these people have, that is the amount of knowledge and experience and just like theorize, like the understanding of how to theorize and theorycraft in that room is unheard of. I think Matt's jacket is going to become a background prop now. Oh, if it is, every video is going to be so hard for me to watch without crying.
Impression of you, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, spot on.
Right on.
Hello, Stephanie. My name is Tom. Papa Mr. Tom. I've grown on Dawn.
Can you do the butt hey? That's just the theory.
Boy, it's just a theory.
Oh, we're going to get a British, but hey, that's just a theory now.
Basically, just drop all consonants.
I love how he's swallowing all of them.
You gotta say it's like a game theory, innit? Right?
Oh my god.
It's one of them game theories, isn't it, brother?
Hey,
One of them game theories.
Usually we post on Saturdays. Sometimes it's late, so it's Tuesday.
Of course.
Congratulations, you did it. You found the real canon ending, the final, most secret ending by painstakingly combing over the last 5 weeks of videos, poring tirelessly over literal hours of content, searching for those brief Easter eggs, cobbling them together.
Well, I didn't do any.
Mysterious URL.
I didn't do any of that. I just clicked a button. Matt, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to be paying better attention? Because I just clicked a link. I didn't know it was supposed to be harder than that. This was real. I think I might have cheated. I don't know if I can get credit for this one.
Either that or, you know, you just click the link in the description.
Okay, never mind. I didn't read ahead. All right. Yeah, okay, so he understands. He accepts.
To the final video. Both totally valid solutions.
Thank you.
Regardless of how you
Thank
got
you.
here, a winner's you. Congratulations.
I don't, you know, I don't feel like a winner, actually. You know, now that you said that, like, there was a lot of work that people put into it, and then I just clicked a button and got here. I don't feel like a winner. That feels like I kind of cheated, but, you know what? I'll take it.
And when I call this the real ending, that's exactly what this is.
No.
It's real. Because let me tell you, the skills that you've gotten over the years here on the channel, critically
this is
thinking
gonna
about
make me cry
spooky
again.
bears, fast food, analog horror, and soapy legs, that sense of curiosity and fun, that's not gonna go away. That carries with you into where it matters most, out here, in the real world. And all that, it spreads. It grows. Enthusiasm and positivity and curiosity, critical thought, they're infected.
Why'd you have to make the last part sad? It was fine. We were happy. We were laughing. We were having a good old fun time.
In the best ways possible. For all the jokes that constantly get made about me losing my mind and going insane, that right there, that is what being a theorist truly means. Sharing a love of learning
the song.
others. It has been an honor to be your YouTuber, your entertainer, your teacher, your parasocial friend, whatever role I've played in your life. Thank you. And you know what? I look forward to continuing that through the little website and newsletter that I have going on, as well as all the projects that I'm working on for you right now. But even more than any of that, you know what I'm most excited about? I'm excited about it being your turn. You can be the game theorist, questioning the lore alongside your friends. You're the food theorist, doing bizarre flavor experiments in your kitchen. Go wild with some new style, or try a film that deviates from the mainstream. You're the theorists now, and I cannot wait to see what you discover.
We were the
Rest
theorists
assured, I
all
will be
along,
there.
Matt.
Remember, this isn't an ending. Well, technically it is an ending because it's the real ending, but you get what I'm saying. This isn't an ending. Instead, this is a brand new and exciting beginning. And that's not a theory. That right there, that's a fact. With love always, MatPat.
Maybe the theorists were the friends we made along the way. That was rough. That was a good ending. Good ending. Final low sevens for MatPat in chat. All right, now time to regroup and go backwards a little bit and watch some of the other ones that we were supposed to watch. Oh my God, how am I supposed to come back from that? How am I supposed to just like calm, you know, deep breaths, and then just like, oh, let's just go back and watch some other theories now. Oh. Yeah, I have a feeling that Matt is gonna watch people's reactions, I'm sure. So if Matt, if you ever come across this, look, I just want you to, soak in what you're doing to me and what you're doing to the thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of other people who are going to watch that video. I just want you to, look at what you're causing. Look at the pain that you've caused. It's jokes, all jokes here, okay? But just want that to sink in for a second. You're hitting us pretty hard here. I haven't had this kind of a reaction since Soon As Honest ended. It's been a little while. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm okay. I'm cool. I'm calm, cool, collected. Oh, I'll head over here for a second so I can regroup. But yeah. Thank you, Matt, and everybody on the team for an amazing 13 years. I wasn't there for all of it. I wasn't, but I was there for enough of it to feel it pretty hard right now. And we're going to miss you. That's all I'll say. Everybody else has already said a million things, I'm sure, about how you've positively impacted their lives and everything, but I don't want to just weep on camera for 20 minutes, so I'll save that for if I ever meet you in person. But anyways, now let's get back to the reacting and just let's watch some Minecraft Theory. Minecraft Theory, here we go. After I get an ad, that's fine.
Today we end the horror. 4 years,
you said that to
3
FNAF.
games,
Wait.
35 theories,
okay.
all
Jesus
leading
Christ.
up to this moment. Hold on, haven't we done this intro before?
Yeah, that's
FNAF.
FNAF Theory.
This is Minecraft. It's totally different.
Oh.
Cool. Yeah, it's almost like, is MatPat, wait, guys, can you hear him? It's almost like he's still here in the room with us. I hope this doesn't get copyrighted. I don't know if this song is copyrighted. I think it is. I'm not sure. Seven Theory as well.
Internet.
Not anymore.
Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's been building Minecraft's lore one block at a time.
Yeah.
You know, for as much attention as FNAF gets on the channel, it's easy to overlook what we've done for other game franchises.
Yeah, I haven't watched all of the Minecraft ones, but this is, I guess, a good introduction to it. I mean, I've watched some of them. I haven't watched all of them. So hopefully he recaps enough to where I can kind of understand what the lore is, because this is the complete lore. It says right there. You guys can't see. I'm blocking a little bit. This is the complete lore of Minecraft. The lore. So hopefully this will teach us everything we need to know in one video.
46
I'll try not to pause
Mario
as much.
Theories, 31 Pokemon theories, 3 Hello Neighbor
Three,
theories,
three.
which doesn't seem like a whole lot, but let's be
Yeah.
honest with ourselves, it's probably too many. But
Yep.
of them all, I would
Yep.
say that our Minecraft series is probably the most important. 35 episodes in total,
Jesus.
and it's a pretty impressive collection.
Yeah.
Can you punch a tree to death? What's a creeper? Is the overworld a sphere or a cube? But I think our biggest
That was a good
contribution
one.
to
I
this
haven't seen that
franchise has to be figuring out that there was an actual story hidden inside this seemingly
Well, it wasn't
storyless-
really hidden. It wasn't necessarily hidden. There was a lot of hints to the lore of Minecraft, so I would say that's not that. It's not that surprising.
Game. For as long as Minecraft had been around and for as many videos existed about the topic, we were able to crack into something that no one had noticed before. That the placement of the blocks, the treasures hidden inside a chest.
The majority of it is kind of hidden. I will give them that.
The spawn locations, the item drops, all of them told a story. And so, over the next 4 years, we chipped away at that story, bit by bit, mob by mob. The Enderman, the Drowned, the Wither, the Warden. And over the years, a story came into focus. A story of an ancient civilization's rise.
Having a bit of imposter syndrome because you're not that big of a fan like everyone else. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself the biggest game theory fan, but his impact, MatPat's impact on YouTube does not go unnoticed, even if you're not super into game theory. Like I said, the majority of game theory I watched was Five Nights at Freddy's. I barely watched anything else other than that, yet I was always an avid, I consider myself a massive game theory fan. Even though, I mean, I'm not really a hardcore game theory fan. I am, but I mean, if I were to take a test on game theory stuff, I would fail miserably. And yet, that just goes to show how big of an impact MatPat has had outside of his own channels, just in YouTube in general. It's wild.
And their tragic fall. A tale of hubris and excess. A tale that serves as a warning to us, the player, out here in the real world. Except there is just one problem. 35 theories, it's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah.
And just like we often see with FNAF, I started seeing a number of comments over in the subreddit begging me to set the record straight. To make one up-to-date definitive resource compiling all of our theories into one coherent location. So I put all these theories onto the crafting
Good,
table
'cause
and
I need
enchanted
that.
them with efficiency 5 to turn those 35 theories into this one easy-to-digest 25...
He's doing all these ultimate timelines. The ultimate timeline for Five Nights at Freddy's apparently was debunked pretty quickly, or certain parts of it were, but I hope this one doesn't get debunked. I hope nobody else attacks it. Maybe I'll attack it. Maybe I'll come back and I'll theorize on Minecraft and just see what I can come up with.
30-minute-ish video. Not exactly sure where it's gonna land. Anyway, we'd best gulp down that potion of swiftness if we want to get through all of this.
Drink Dubby. Makes
Okay,
you swift
ready?
because
Well,
of the caffeine.
Not quite, because before we get to all that, I just wanted to quickly tell you that the FNAF Theoryware line is officially back for a
Yep,
limited time.
I've seen
so
it.
If you
I
missed
can't
out on
afford it.
last
It's
time,
really
don't let this
expensive.
one pass you by. Head on over to
I'm sure it's really high
theoryware.com
quality,
now
but I
and
can't
grab
afford
them
it.
before they're really gone forever. Okay, now we're ready to build up on that Minecraft lore. Let's
Minecraft
go.
lore. The beginning.
Our story begins with
The
Minecraft
beginning.
Legends, a game that only
What?
came out in April of last year, but gave us a lot of lore to chew on. The overworld's in danger. The piglins have come from the nether and are now invading the overworld. When the
Okay.
game puts the invasion down to greed, I have a suspicion that it's due to something else. Sure, the piglins are greedy for gold. We see that in vanilla Minecraft, and there is plenty of gold.
Well, yeah, what is that up? What's up with that? What do they do with the gold? They do nothing with it. They just make blocks out of it and it's shiny. I guess that's just America. in a nutshell. I don't know.
In Minecraft Legends, but the Nether isn't exactly low on that stuff. They don't use things like diamonds or iron or tools or armor. They just hoard all that in chests. They don't understand their real value. Instead, I believe they invaded the overworld because the Nether was in trouble. You see, the Nether used to be a cool and icy place. That's the only way for the basalt deltas to have formed. Basalt requires blue ice, the coldest ice imaginable to form.
You have the 4 original Minecraft books. I don't think I ever got those. I always wanted them. You know how the book fair as a kid, you always wanted everything except actual books? Those were the only books I actually wanted. That and like the Blockopedia. Never got them. They were too expensive.
And for lava to flow next to it above a layer of soul soil, which means that ice must have been naturally forming in the Nether at one point. However, as we see in Legends, the piglins have industrialized. They have golden swords and armor, items that require gold ingots that can't be found naturally. They have to be smelted from Nether gold ore or crafted using gold nuggets. This process, in turn, created greenhouse gases, causing the intense heating of the atmosphere down in the Nether. And because the Nether is also—
Is there an atmosphere in the Nether? We're assuming some things here, I think.
2.5 times smaller than the overworld, less heat is needed to make all that ice melt and the water to ultimately run dry.
I guess it would have to have an atmosphere, but also, isn't it just like the equivalent of hell? Does hell have an atmosphere? I don't know.
Leaves the piglins looking for a new world that isn't a fiery wasteland to call their own, and so they look out to the overworld. This is where our first builder comes in. They're busy mining away in a normal Minecraft world, but
I would have to imagine that the overworld has an atmosphere because it's supposed to be like a simulation of Earth, right? It's just a blocky Earth. I don't know.
Are interrupted by 3 godlike beings
just a
called
few hundred
hosts,
years,
the caretakers of the overworld. They ask this mysterious builder to help save the overworld from the piglin threat, giving you the tools necessary to do the job.
Within this case, burn the flames of creation.
There's voice acting in Minecraft? I thought that ended at Telltale's story game, the Minecraft Story Edition or whatever it was. I didn't know there was new Minecraft games with the voice acting. They're really leaning into the story here.
Flames will call upon friends to fight by your side.
This is the banner of courage. Raise it high, and this world will rise to your aid.
With the right melodies from this loot, the LAs will gather your resources. Keep them.
I completely understand why this game is not as popular as regular Minecraft.
Safe for you and build whatever you need.
Minecraft story mode, in like this version, like not the Telltale series, great. Minecraft having a story, trying to connect into actual Minecraft, yeah, bit yikes in my opinion, bit yikes. I like that MatPat's trying to do something with it, but the actual storytelling here, bit yikes.
Thanks to the LA and the hosts, this mysterious builder stops the piglin invasion and peace is restored to the overworld. All that remains of the conflict are broken nether portals scattered throughout the overworld.
That explains that,
but
okay.
It's still a bittersweet ending. The mobs that helped win the battle now have a taste for fighting.
What's happening? How did they learn to fight?
Because I feel like some of the charm of Minecraft is the fact that it's just, you're just there. You're just there, and the world is yours to explore and craft. And I know there's other people, but you are the main character in Minecraft. Unless you bring friends along, then you are all the main character. I think there's a charm to that. Trying to give it a story, like no fault to MatPat here, fault to the people who are trying to expand it in Microsoft, trying to expand Minecraft. I feel like it's not necessary. I feel like that needs to not happen because that is the charm of Minecraft: is not knowing why you're there and just enjoying the fact that you are. Kind of like life.
This is what turns them into the violent mobs that we know in vanilla Minecraft. Even the villagers weren't immune to this effect. After being given the tools to fight, a group of them would continue to have anger within them once the war is over. They were dubbed the Illagers, and their existence proved that what was meant to be a time of peace was actually cursed by the knowledge of violence and war.
Okay, add time.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's like it's like they're trying to take Minecraft into like a reflection of life. And like, okay, so some people see the world positively, some people see the world negatively. That's the villagers versus the illagers. Like, I get the idea. Oh, hello, Jack Black. Apparently this movie's bad. I don't know. Haven't seen it. I don't know. I just saw that this morning.
Thanks to the builder and their companions bringing peace, the hosts decide it's time to leave.
There are endless worlds out there waiting to be explored.
Letting the builders be in charge of the world. So they begin to do what they did when the hosts first called them. They mine and they craft. They start a new civilization. They become the first of the ancient builders. And we see this on some of the pottery sherds from the Trails and Tales update. Pottery sherds in the real world tell us the story of past civilizations. And so sherds—
Yeah, see, that's one thing where it's like, I get what they're trying to do with this. I get what, like, the creators are trying to take this, they're trying to explain it away. I feel like it needs to not be explained. Just add these random artifacts and let us explore it without these other games trying to explain it to us. I think that would make this type of theory crafting so much more interesting, like it was before when it was just Minecraft and there weren't these other games to build off of it. I think just Minecraft, just having Minecraft alone, exploring and finding these things randomly, that creates such a more unique, interesting story than these other games trying to explain the elements in the story. I feel like having our own headcanons of what's going on rather than a different game telling you just straight up what's actually going on is so much more interesting and unique than where they're actually going with it.
Words like howl and sheaf depict the earliest parts of the ancient builder society, where wolves were some of the first animals domesticated, and wheat was one of the earliest and easiest crops to grow.
Because that's another thing for me as a YouTuber. I have ideas for Minecraft stuff where it's literally just, like you said there, I create the story. I tell my own version of the story. The creators of Minecraft trying to, push a certain narrative, I think is a bad thing, because the whole idea is like, whoa, why are these pots broken? I thought nobody else lives here. And then you find a village for the first time if you've never played the game before. It's like, why are there people here? I thought I was alone, right? It's like you start creating your own narrative of explaining these things away in your own head. I feel like it doesn't need to have a right answer.
However, this rapid growth is the beginning of the ancient builders' biggest problem: over-harvesting and depleting the world of its natural resources. They needed food, and so they hunted the creatures from Minecraft legends like the regal tiger and Big Beak into extinction, completely destroying their habitats so they could build this new society. The same goes for resources like diamond, copper, and coal. At first, these were just lying around on the surface of the overworld, but by modern day, we're digging deep into the earth before finding just one block of diamond ore. This led to valuable resources becoming scarce and splitting the ancient builders into tribes based on their location and the natural resources around them. We see this in the sherds, which are scattered across different biomes, all depicting different resources and technologies. They become hoarders of their own specific resource, and thus trade begins between the tribes. Even the villagers, who used to just simply give the builders their resources, they also got in on the trading action and are still doing it to this day.
Yeah, I was going to point that out. He really did call copper valuable right there. Hey, I mean, if you got mods, sure. Without mods,
every day. As time goes on, the ancient builders continue in their worship
Minecraft
of the
is kind of a
hosts,
game
godlike
engine in a
beings
way,
that
yeah, you're
brought
right.
them there, building structures like the desert and jungle temples, all with unique designs to demonstrate their different resources and culture, much like we see out in the real world. But the ocean tribe decided to take it a step further. This tribe of fishermen that we learn about from the angler sherd built the massive ocean monuments, styled like a ziggurat, a structure that was used to connect the people to their gods.
I didn't know that.
This was the ancient builders trying to reconnect with the hosts, hoping that they would maybe return and save them from this world that they created. They even built a replica of the Well of Fate atop the structure, made it out of the same prismarine, and placed an offering of gold at its core, the spoils of their victory against the piglins, all in the hope that it would bring the hosts back. What they don't realize, though, is that the real monster isn't other tribes, it's themselves. The fishermen continue to destroy the natural environment for resources, crafting and smelting.
Here's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of speculation in this, and that's where I think it's good. I think that is the way that this direction should be. I feel like the creators should be giving like a little bit of direction. If they really want to go that route, they can give a little bit of direction in what they're trying to, in the story they're trying to tell. But I feel like the majority of this like complete lore of Minecraft is going to be almost all speculation. And I think that's necessary. That is absolutely necessary for this story to be told, because then I can say, no, I disagree. I think it should be, I think it's this. Because then I have my own headcanon, and it keeps that, everybody has their own story vibe, which is necessary for Minecraft. I think that if they don't push it too hard is fine. Like, they can try to give us a little bit of direction, but beyond that, I think it could be a bad thing. So right now, it seems like this is a lot of speculation. There's some hints in it. I like how he's connecting things, but I feel like it's mostly speculation. I think it needs to stay that way.
Tools and ore, causing pollution and eventually leading to massive flooding. They try desperately to protect their monuments, these temples that the hosts may one day return to, and so they fill these monuments with sponges, trying to hold back the rising water, but it's too much for them to handle. The water keeps rising, and they can't hold it back from filling the monuments. But they don't give up. Pottery sherds found in cold underwater ruins like Blade, Explorer, and Plenty reveal that this tribe was more than just fishermen.
Yeah, I haven't seen those. I don't know what those are. I have no idea what he's talking about. I haven't played Minecraft that much, really, especially recently. I don't know what those are.
pirates. They would go from village to village trying to
where you
gather
get them.
resources that they had squandered, which led to other tribes like the desert tribe fighting back. Mine and prize shards found in the desert temples depict the tribe creating mine shafts. Now,
What do you do with those? Do they have like a crafting purpose? Because I have no idea.
needing to go deep underground to find the precious materials that were once so easy to find. So with pirates on the loose, looting and pillaging, they needed to find a way to protect their resources. And they found that protection with a creature that they once called an ally. We see their face chiseled into the sandstone walls of their temples. A creature with the ultimate defense system, the Creeper. The desert tribe booby-trapped their temples with TNT, similar to how real-world pyramids use traps to scare away thieves.
There is an end, but there's no end.
If anyone tried to take their valued possessions, the TNT would be their last fail-safe. No one was gonna mess with this tribe and get away with it. But the pirates were really only after one thing. Within the shipwrecks you find across the overworld, there are chests containing treasure maps. These maps can lead you to buried chests containing the heart
there's
of
a
the
good
sea.
question. Why?
The heart of the sea, when crafted with 8 nautilus shells, can create a conduit, an item capable of giving anyone in the area water-breathing, night vision, and haste. This was
it's not that great. It's really not that great.
Ocean tribe's final hope of surviving the constantly rising water. And while the pirates looked for this treasure, the fishermen that stayed back home created the Guardians, machine bodyguards for their sacred temples as a last resort of protecting it. Given the state that we find the ocean monuments in vanilla Minecraft, we know that they weren't successful. The pirates didn't find the treasure in time, and so the fishermen left behind in the monuments become trapped in water and transformed into the drowned, still carrying nautilus shells as well as tridents, ancient tools for fishing.
Hold on.
Find the treasure in time, and so the fishermen left behind in the monuments become trapped in water and transformed into the drowned.
Why? How? they just morph into the drown. I guess this is a world where zombies exist, so I guess it would make sense. It's like, that's just something that happens. No infection necessary. When you die, you come back as a zombie, I guess. But that's more intriguing to me. In my mind, it's like, I mean, it's good that it's being left open, but to me, it's like, how do you turn into zombie water, dude? How does that happen? That just happens? All right. I don't know.
Still carrying nautilus shells,
but I like that that's kind of left open.
Ancient tools for fishing. They continue to stay by their monuments, never having their call for help answered by the hosts. All they have left are the Guardians, who still recognize their creators and don't attack. Sadly, the fishermen weren't the only tribe to be facing hardship. After seeing the devastation that the ocean tribe had caused to themselves in spite of their constant prayers, the desert tribe gave up on the hosts ever returning and took matters into their own hands. The desert temples depict the Ankh, a symbol of life. This is what the desert tribe dedicated their time and effort towards. Rather than waiting for the hosts to return, they wanted a way to preserve their lives and resurrect those who had already died. But how could they do that? Well, the builders were reminded of the spawners given to them by the hosts. These spawners could create mobs from nothing but stone and wood, but they required an energy source to fuel the flames of creation. And that fuel was lapis lazuli, and the only way they knew how to get it was from war, killing piglins. That's when the desert
Wait, but it's an ore underground. How do you get it just from war? Where did they originate from?
Their tribe realized something that ancient cultures in our own world used to believe, that lapis contains the souls of gods and monsters. This is what the ancient builders needed, and to get it, they needed to go to the home of the piglins to collect more of this magical stone. They needed to go to the nether.
Okay, add time. You don't get lapis from the nether, though. You get it underground. Am I wrong about that? I thought that was where you... Am I crazy? The nether.
Once the builders arrive in HE double hockey sticks, they set up a camp, knowing that this is going to be a long journey. There, they build the nether fortresses to store the resources that they brought with them, like sand.
Yeah, so if that's right, then what? So he's saying, lapis comes from war. The corpses of piglins created the lapis underground. Huh. So you get it from war. In that case, where does it actually originate? Because we find it in the overworld underground. Where does that actually come from? Oh, maybe he'll explain it here.
Horse armor, diamonds, and iron. What was already a wasteland gets harvested by the builders. They destroy the piglin bastions, they kill the piglins within to use their souls in the lapis to create life of their own. But the plan doesn't quite work. The dead piglin souls don't turn into lapis as they did before. But why? Well, it's because the souls work differently in the nether. Rather than forming into magical stones, they transfer into the ground.
Oh, right. Yep, that makes sense.
As their comrades fall, their souls are sucked from their bodies into the ground to create soul sand.
What if you're on the nether rack? Does nether rack just turn into soul sand if you fall into it? Like if your soul gets sucked into it?
then that a new mob's created.
Or is it just like regular sand that then your souls fall into? I don't know, that's weird.
The Wither skeleton. Suddenly, the ancient builders are left fighting against the bodies of their own fallen warriors, without souls but still clinging on to their purpose, defending what they
terrifying.
had once built themselves. The ancient builders had not only sucked the land dry of its natural resources, but they also accidentally created mobs that made the already deadly landscape even more dangerous. They do eventually return to the overworld, and they come bearing riches, blaze rods, netherwart, ghast tears, all containing magical properties. And so the builders begin to brew.
Okay, so I'm assuming the explanation there then is that the nether is just has those things naturally. Like blaze just are naturally there. That's like a creature of that land. There was nothing that spawned that, as far as we know yet, at least. You know, ghasts they just live there. That is their home. I don't know. I'm assuming.
Depicting the achievement in the brewer sherds. The ancient builders were now able to surpass their physical abilities. They could be faster. They could resist lava.
Delicious
they could even
soul sand.
regenerate themselves. The only thing they hadn't conquered yet was death itself. And so, equipped with soul sand and a
Yeah, it does kind of seem like everything in Minecraft that dies comes back in some other form.
bunch of wither skulls, they press on with their experiments. They combine the life-giving soul sand with the wither skeleton heads of their fallen comrades, carving its face into the red sandstone walls and depicting their worship to it on shirt.
Never noticed that before. Never noticed the wither in that sandstone there. That's interesting.
They could take care of themselves, and now armed with the knowledge to create life itself, they thought that they had finally done what the gods could not all those years ago, protect the overworld. As they placed the final head, there was a flash of light and a roar. The Wither was born. But despite their success, their hubris would ultimately be their downfall. The Wither was uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Destroyed the cities that they'd created.
It's like, think about, I mean, sorry to compare it to Five Nights at Freddy's, but think about whatever it is, Remnant, or that one creature, or that one robot that was fed the agony or whatever, I don't know. All of that, you know, just turned into this raging machine. That's what this is. It's just the souls of these angry creatures, these horribly angry creatures with the heads of the fallen soldiers. Of course it's going to be an angry creature. What did you expect, people, whoever crafted that?
Leaving nothing in its wake. Not even the other tribes were safe. The destruction was like nothing ancient builders had ever seen before. And so they did the only thing that they could do. They ran.
A mod where you could just eat everything? I would love that.
They ran
literally
deep
just eat the
underground,
stone.
where the Wither's blasts would meet
When you break a block, you just eat it.
more resistance from the stone and deep slate. But their persistence never wavered. They would have to find a way to fix this. They would be able to return to the overworld. They had to make this right, no matter the cost. Once again,
So is that insinuating that when we play, we join a world, right? We start a world, that all of this has already happened? So the Wither has already come in, and the Wither has already caused destruction, and, you know, all of this war has already happened leading up to this point. Like, where is that destruction? Has that destruction been fixed by another tribe? Like, has all of this, we're assuming, at least this, when we join, all of this that is in the lore of Minecraft has already happened before we join the world.
The ancient builders were forced to start over, rebuilding a civilization that we now know as the Ancient City, a wide underground space that contains fragments of the builders' past adventures. Items like soul lanterns and soul torches are used to light the city, powered by the souls from their time in the Nether. Enchanted items and potions of regeneration from their successful experiments at brewing can be found in the chests. Despite the
Or maybe an interesting idea is that as the updates have happened, as time has gone on, as we've gotten updates to Minecraft, that is the story being built. So when we joined a world back in 2011, right, none of this has happened. But now you join a world now and all of this has happened. I think that's also an interesting take. Some blocks would give you effects, that would be amazing.
They would dance in the streets with music.
Yeah,
from
lava, you get fire resistance, or you start burning from the inside out, which would make more sense.
5 playing in the background. At least they would, until fate once again came banging on their door. A builder would go off mining some materials one day when they would hear something familiar, something that sends a bolt of fear through their bodies. The Wither had found them. He ran home to warn the others. The city sounds the sirens and soldiers begin to march. The ancient builders are preparing for war once again. The explosions grow louder and louder. The Wither is slowly blasting its way through their intricate cave system. Fortunately, they'd planned—
See, but the problem I have with this is like, okay, if that's already happened, then where is that destruction when I join a world, right? I join a world and supposedly, I mean, is the Wither just the creator of the caves? Like, because if that's supposedly already happened, then how is this Wither, or how has this Wither already existed? Because I'm not seeing this destruction in any world that I'm currently in. So I would have to imagine that this is like something that like, I don't know, maybe this is like a legend among the people of the Minecraft land. It's weird.
And an escape route. In the center of the ancient city is a
Because that's a big problem that I have with this theory, right? If this has already happened, then the destruction would already be there in the world when you join it.
large circular structure. The smaller versions of these found
world changes naturally to fix the super old destruction. I mean, yeah, it would to a point. So how far in the future are we?
within the game files call these small portal statues. And if these are in fact small portals, then the large one in the city center must be a real portal, a big one. Underneath the portal, redstone circuits are found. These were experiments using different kinds of power output to try and ignite the portal, but up to this point, nothing had worked. So instead, they decided to turn to the most powerful source of energy they knew of, souls. Directly underneath the portal are blocks of soul sand that are lit. As the wither—
Is that an actual portal that you can light? Or is it just a rectangle right now? Maybe they're planning on adding that, like a different dimension. Because I didn't know about a different dimension, so...
gets closer and closer, breaking
I'm assuming
through
you
the
can't
final
light it
wall into the city. The portal finally ignites, but instead of celebration, there's nothing but stunned silence. Something is coming out of the portal, a horrifying creature
Just
with
rectangle?
no eyes that lives off the power of souls, storing them in its chest cavity, the Warden. Now they're just left with the Godzilla vs. King Kong situation.
Okay, so that's where the Warden comes from, so I'm assuming maybe at some point in the future we'll be able to go to where the Warden came from. We'll be able to go to Warden Land. Maybe you beat the Warden, and then it poof, ignites, and then you can go through it, or something, I don't know.
Two powerful beings duking it out, and then the builders hear it. A cry that they never thought they'd hear. The death cry of the Wither. The builders are stunned. The Wither, this thing that caused them to lose everything, is now gone, and their Music Disc 5 happened to record the entire event. This is a cause for
Interesting.
celebration. The builders begin to start the party, only for the Warden to turn its attention to them. It's triggered by sound, and so it starts to
Right.
attack anything that makes a noise. With
Yep.
each death, a new block forms. The Skulk, a sentient block that uses the power of souls from fallen mobs to spread across the other blocks. Once again, the builders' lives are in danger, but after all they've been through, they just don't have the energy to run anymore. Instead, they try to live in harmony with the Warden. They do what they can to deaden the noises by placing carpets or wool blocks all over the city, but in the end, it's no good. Each opening of a chest would send the Warden into a rampage. This is no way to live, and so the ancient builders try to leave their home one final time.
Why would you want to build down there anyway? You're like 1,000 blocks underground or something. That's a weird place to want to live. I don't know.
Continue deeper into the caves, somewhere that not even the
Why? Why can't they live up top? Did I miss that? Why don't they just live in the overworld still? Is the Wither up there? The Wither died. That's weird.
Warden could find them, though they needed something strong enough to hold it back.
I think I'm trying to make a video about beating the Warden with only fists and no armor. Good luck! If you can do it, that is an incredible achievement, but I could not even imagine.
If it ever
I've never even beaten the Ender Dragon.
tried to invade, and so the builders created strongholds, a place fortified so as to protect it against attack. The ancient builders
Interesting.
made winding pathways and hidden doors so they could escape the Warden should it ever break in, and the builders made one final attempt at escape. One last—
Yeah, I guess that is something interesting that you don't think about. Think about the early days before all these other updates. All there were strongholds in the end. I mean, before that, that didn't even exist. But once the end was created, there were strongholds. Why? Why did these strongholds exist? I like having an explanation for that now, because it is just weird, windy corridors that go off into nothing for no reason. It's weird.
last portal that this time would have to work, the end portal. The builders bid farewell to the overworld and jump in, not knowing what might be waiting for them on the other side, and also unsure if they'd ever be able to return.
Yep. Which they're not. Well, that time. Man, MatPat's gonna receive that lifetime revenue. Man, he may have retired, but he's got more coming in for sure. Can do it, you know you would immediately go viral. I mean, if you could actually manage to do that, probably. Also, take your soul, like fighting 5. Yeah, I mean, that would be ridiculous. That would just be ridiculous. But I believe. Hi, cat. Relax. Okay. You're gonna start screaming. You're gonna start talking. Lucky. Can you hear her? No, don't rub on my keyboard. Hey, talk. Say something. Say something. Lucky. Say words. Say it. She won't talk. Say words. Lucky. Lucky. Hey. Talk. Of course not. All right. You know what? That's fine.
Ancient builders enter this vast void of open space and begin to set up their new lives, building fortresses to house their resources, loot chests containing enchanted armor and weapons, diamonds and diamond-plated armor, more advanced tools since the days of the Nether, ready to conquer whatever fearsome foes might come their way. Enter the Ender Dragons. And that's dragons, plural. Thanks to the amount of Ender Dragon heads mounted on end ships, we can tell that this used to be a plentiful species. The ancient builders came to the end and saw these majestic beasts, how they had complete control over the skies, and they wanted that power for themselves.
Of course,
they
everything's
wanted
about
to
power.
conquer the sky, which until now had been impossible. So they hunted down the dragons and used their wings to create elytra, another resource found in the end ships. These were the builders' prized possessions, so they continued to hunt these creatures to near extinction, much like they had done with other species in the past. It would seem that history continues to repeat. But the builders eventually realize that they're making a mistake. They see how they're bringing an entire species to extinction, and they want to right their wrongs. They use their technology and knowledge from past adventures, using the regenerative powers of the gas tier to create end crystals atop tall obsidian pillars. This will continually regenerate the last Ender Dragon, ensuring that it never dies. The ancient builders can now rest easy knowing that they had saved a species, sort of. Without a mate, it would always have a population of one. And it seems like their sins eventually caught up to them. Food was yet again becoming scarce, but not all hope was lost. Defeating an Ender Dragon creates a portal back to the overworld. A few brave...
Yeah, so are we the bad guy for defeating the for ending the species? If they were just trying to save it this whole time?
Souls go through, but most others stay in the end. Although they were running out of supplies, there was one crop that was endlessly plentiful, chorus fruit, but it had some strange side effects. This constant diet of a fruit with teleportation properties causes the ancient builders to slowly evolve into the Endermen, now able to teleport across time and space itself. But this comes at a cost. With this transformation, they slowly forget how to build, though they never truly...
But also egg, yeah. That is the ultimate reward. You don't have to care about anything else. It doesn't matter if the species is going to go extinct. We get egg. Which I guess, I mean, egg would mean that you could birth another one. So if killing it births an egg, then does the species ever really die? Probably not.
Forget how to pick up the blocks. And this is where the ancient builders spend the rest of their days. A race teleporting through time and space, picking up blocks. The remnants of a once great civilization brought down by their own pride.
That's so sad. The Illagers. Okay, now we're
Meanwhile,
on to the Illagers.
explorers who returned to the overworld reconnected with their old allies, the Illagers.
Okay, so they could have come up to the overworld, they just decided not to the whole time is what happened, I guess. You can respawn the dragon. So here's the question then. Is it respawning or is it birthing a new one? Like, is it, I mean, it's called respawning, but is it really respawning?
It's here that they tell them stories of their adventures, tales of life-giving lapis, end portals, fierce beasts that they overcame. The Illagers revel at the ancient builders' resources, the elytra made from ender dragon wings, their portal technology, even though they don't quite understand it all.
Yeah, I would have to imagine it's a new one, right? It wouldn't just be a it wouldn't be a respawn if this is like supposed to be a simulation of life in a way.
Worship the ways of the ancient builders, who would tell them stories and protect them.
Unless reincarnation's a thing in this world, I don't know.
From harm. And because they wanted to follow in their footsteps, they too began to experiment. The overworld was still a dangerous place. They needed ways to protect themselves, and so they created the Ravagers, terrifying beasts with even more terrifying origins. The Ravager was created from their fellow villagers. Their unibrow, their green eyes, the nose.
It's all so horrible. I mean, it's just like the real world. It's all built on war and death.
Even their voices remain after the transformation. That wasn't the only thing that they did to these innocent captured villagers either. In the woodland mansions, large woolen heads of Illagers are found, and in the center of the head is a block of lapis lazuli. The Illagers knew that the ancient builders saw lapis as a magical resource, so they took it and injected it directly into the brains of villagers in the hopes of gaining its incredible power. And you know what? It worked. The Vindicators were born with incredible speed,
the
eyes
horrible
that from emerald
things that
green
killed me
to
so many
lapis
times.
blue. This was the last straw for the villagers. According to the mob bestiary, these are the unspeakable acts that get the Illagers cast out from regular society. From here, they would form their own civilization, wandering into the dark forests and taking over the woodland mansions.
Yeah, I like how their own civilization in all of these cases are like really just small groups. Like this is one mansion. You can find a woodland mansion like 1, 2 every world. It's like these civilizations were small, or what remains were just, you know, a couple and the rest of them fell, which I guess would make more sense, but I'm assuming in this case, that these groups are just small. There's just not that many of this species in this individual group. So, like, one woodland mansion is enough. Maybe Jesus Christ, I forgot I boosted the volume. Thank you, Musical Corn. What an amazing name. Thank you, Musical Corn, for the follow. I appreciate you.
Continuing their pursuit to bring back the ancient builders, whatever the cost. They become what's known as a cargo cult, where a group of isolated indigenous people begin to imitate the practices.
Okay, so it is a small group, quote unquote.
Technology from more advanced societies, despite not understanding how the technology works. The Illagers would make structures like beds, maps, even end portals, but none of them work because they're only made out of wool. The Illagers don't understand the true nature of these items. But while those don't work, they are able to figure—
Me as a kid trying to figure out how to get to the Aether. How do you pronounce that? The Aether? Just like, just put a water bucket there and it should work. Why it no work?
Figure out the secret to new life, and they harness that power in the form of totems of undying. They use this power to create the Vex, the Phantoms, and they even try to create a new human, a new
the Ether? Because that's different. Is it the Ether? The Aether? The Ather? I don't know.
Race of ancient builder. They try to create Steve. Throughout the woodland mansions, there are stacks on stacks of blue, cyan, and light blue wool. These are the same colors that Steve and his ancient builder ancestors wore. This was going to be their final experiment, using these woolen blocks and their powers over life and death to become gods, to create their own race of ancient builders. Little did they know that the ancient builders did this exact same thing all those years ago. And sadly, history would repeat itself. After the dust settles, what stands in place of the wool isn't a new race of builders, but instead zombies. The overworld now has yet another dangerous mob to worry about.
Hold on.
History would repeat itself.
One more time.
After the dust settles, what stands in place of the wool isn't a new race of builders, but instead zombies. The overworld now has yet another dangerous mob to worry about.
All right, ad time. Man, soak in that ad revenue, MatPat. Before you get out of there, let's soak all that up. Get as much as you can out of me. I respect it. Present day. Okay, so that means that my theory earlier, I mean, we're about to find out. That means that my theory earlier is most likely correct, where it's like all of this happened already. And now whenever we hop into a world, present day is the result of everything that came before. So my biggest question, and my biggest theory now is, does that mean that the updates leading up to this point were these events happening? Because that would be interesting.
Thus ends the story of the ancient
Strongholds. He just explained Strongholds. Dungeons, I don't think he did. But Strongholds was them escaping the Warden. That was their way of escaping the Warden.
Ancient builders and their influence on the overworld. A land that now lies in ruin, a shell of its former self. And yet despite everything, hope isn't lost. With the ancient builders gone, the overworld has had a chance to heal. There's no—
What are dungeons in Minecraft? Because I think of Strongholds and dungeons as the same thing. I'm not thinking of what dungeons are.
No one left to over-harvest resources, and so nature begins to return, with the structures built by this ancient race descending into the earth, reclaimed by nature, biomes becoming more diverse. That is, until you show up. The builders' desire for—
I think spawners are just part of what the world is. I think spawners just exist to like they are just entities in this world. Like in the real world, mothers, right? The female species of the female side of every species is what gives birth to new life. I think in the Minecraft world, spawners are just that source, right? It doesn't come from mating; it comes from spawning instead of what we see as natural life. I think maybe that's just the natural. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy, but that's what I would see. Is that it's okay. Since since there's no sex update for Minecraft, I would assume that the spawners are the way that new life is created.
Over-harvesting resources and creating life continue through their descendants. You. Now we spend our time deforesting so we can have a nicer new house, gutting the ground of whatever resources are left and killing whatever we see, whether it's hostile or not. It's a story of destruction and selfish gain, of greed and ignorance and hubris repeating itself over and over again. And what's more, this wasn't just a poetic story told to make the game more interesting. The story is a warning to us, the players. Think back to the ending.
To us in life.
subreddits of Minecraft. Quote, sometimes I wish to tell them this world you take for truth is merely, and I wish to tell them that they are they see so little of reality in their long dream. These two beings, these gods, these hosts, they're talking about us. The dream is Minecraft, and while we play it, we fail to see the moral that's being told by these two gods, the truth about reality and how this game reflects our own history. In the 8th century, for instance, Vikings used a lot of timber for shipbuilding, construction, and fuel, which led to them deforesting most of Scandinavia. As they started to run out of resources and land, they began to invade the coastal areas of Europe like England, France, and Ireland, only to do the exact same thing again, cutting down the trees until those places...
It's weird because we see this as a necessary evil, but in a lot of ways it's really just an evil for our own gain. And that's life. It is in a way a necessary evil, but it's only necessary if we continue to bring more life into the world. The moment that we even out the amount of life in the world at one time, then there's no need for expansion, other than for personal selfish gain. So our history is built on personal gain and selfishness, because if there was a point where we could just halt the amount of people in the world, not let it fall off, not like lose humanity to where no new people are born, but even it out to where that number doesn't rise, it doesn't fall, then we never need expansion other than for our own personal gain. And then it becomes a true game of just selfish nature. So if we look back, there was never a point where the world needed to get to the point it is now, other than for selfish gain. And that's human nature. So it's not like that's going to change, or not even that it necessarily needs to change. It's just something to be aware of. We are just selfish creatures by nature.
Began to lose their forest areas too. Sound like the fishermen and pirates from Minecraft? Europe's colonization of the Americas was for similar reasons, to access and exploit the abundant natural resources there. Even today, we're seeing the same thing with deforestation, burning fossil fuels, fighting one another for more power and control, just like we see with the piglins and the builders and the illagers and the nether, the end, and the overworld. It's a cycle of repeated abuse and neglect. Quote again from the ending. But it would be so easy to tell them. I will tell the player a story, but not the truth. No, a story that contains the truth safely in a cage of words, not the naked truth that can burn over any distance. We are playing the story, and the naked truth that they're talking about is that our world will die if we let it constantly be ravaged of its natural resources. So maybe the next time you log on to Minecraft, you'll see it a little differently. Maybe instead of a flat, blocky world, you'll see a reflection of your own. And
there was actually a video that I planned to make a while ago that I don't think I'll ever be able to make because of how long it would take, but it would literally be a reflection of that, where it's like, how long would it take to drain one Minecraft world of all its resources, all its valuable resources, so all ores, all food. I think food will indefinitely spawn, but like all natural resources, how long would it take to completely deplete that? Because even though Minecraft is infinite, it's not actually infinite. There is an actual end. So there is a point where you would completely run out of resources and have nothing else to do in a world. It would take forever. It would probably take an eternity, longer than actual life, because I believe Minecraft's world is like 100,000 times bigger than the real world or whatever. There's an actual number for it. So it would not be possible in one human lifetime, as far as I know, if you were to do it manually, but that is possible for the real world way faster than it would be in a simulation like this. It's wild.
Remember, it can be beautiful so long as we, just like Steve, learn from the mistakes of the past. It's been a long trope of game theory to prove to you that the hero of the game is actually the villain. In the game of Minecraft and in the real world, that distinction ultimately falls on us to decide. But hey, that's just a theory.
A game theory! Thanks for watching. Oh, I'm gonna miss hearing that. Oh, okay. Okay, I don't need to get copyrighted. I've heard it 1,000 times today already. I know. All right, let's head back. We need to get a move on because we've been on this for a while. Oh man, Matt, you're killing me here. All right. Well, I think we're gonna skip a couple. I'll watch a couple on my own. I want to see the tank one. I'm very curious about the Hello Neighbor one, but I think I'll watch that one on my own because I don't know that much about Hello Neighbor, and I want to see the Five Nights at the FNAF one. So let's do tank and FNAF, because we already watched the Final Theory, and then I'll end out, because I got to do other stuff today anyway, so let's do the tank one. Let's skip to the tank one. I don't know why I keep getting this ad. This is an extremely popular ad right now. Alright. Here goes.
You know, game theory really got its start with my love of myth.
Can we? Okay, hold on. Try again. I have no idea what to expect from this.
You know, game theory really got its start with my love of Mythbusters. I wanted to create a show where I could put to the test all the things that I was seeing in
Makes
video
sense.
games
That makes sense.
here in real life.
I never
and
thought of it
got
like
to
that,
do
but
that
it
a
makes
couple
sense.
years into the history of the show with projects like Game
Yep.
Lab.
Game
with
Lab was
projects
awesome.
like Reality Check. And we did them, and they were awesome, but man, was it a lot of work. And it
Yeah.
was super expensive, right? So we decided to put it off to the side and just, hey, that was a fun little period in the channel's history. But now here we are, in the middle of my final 10 episodes on the channel, and I'm like, you know what? Let's take a moment to bring it back. So we decided to partner with World of Tanks and bring it back to where it really
It's an ad.
all began.
It's all one
first
big
ever
ad. I respect
episode
it.
Of that format. We are here in the middle of Texas, Uvalde, Texas to be specific, at rivetanks.com, where today we're gonna test one major question. Can playing a video game actually make a bunch of noobs into professional tank drivers? And
I
even
believe
more
it.
importantly, can they then successfully fire the gun? So for one
I believe
final
it.
time, guys, welcome to Reality Check.
Do you have your hearing protection?
Oh, that's awesome.
Of course I do. I'm not a complete idiot.
I wouldn't. I would be a complete idiot.
Clear the fire. 3, 2, 1.
This is gonna be insane. Jesus Christ. I would be terrified. I would love to do something like that, but I would be terrified the whole time.
Now, to put this whole thing to the test, I'm gonna need a little bit of help. That's why I reached out and found myself the team of
Wonder how much that would cost? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
experts that can't be replaced. Bring them on!
At least tens of thousands of dollars. Most likely for the entire setup, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Oh, this is awesome. Oh. To have been able to be a part of this, could you imagine?
You thought I meant experts in driving tanks?
Yeah.
No, I need experts in theorizing. Come
Oh,
on in, guys.
I would have expected, experts in gaming, but it makes more sense. It makes sense, I guess.
I see you literally every day. I know.
Yeah.
You are
However, it's been 6 years.
Oh, I know,
Hey, how's
right?
it going, buddy? Oh, I'm so little.
Long time no see.
Oh, man. And you live down the street.
How you doing, bud?
How are you guys?
I am surviving.
Most importantly, the three of you in the middle. The other two, I get a lot of. GG, congratulations on the new channel.
Dude, it's been a week long of being psyched for that, and then this, and then you, and then all this, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, yes!
Me too. That was my.
Drake, you've evolved from trailer Drake.
If I would have been involved in this, that would have been my exact reaction.
Comic Drake.
Yep, the new incumbent.
Yeah!
This year. Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. This is crazy long.
So old.
Starting to gray.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we're getting gray. Yeah, going old.
I've been going gray since before YouTube.
Get a lot of
YouTube just made it worse.
Okay, I gotta pause. I gotta pee again. Yeah, here, enjoy some music. I'll be back. Nope. Now I'm back. Okay, there we go.
You're all excited?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm super pumped.
100%.
Absolutely.
What?
Never mind. It's fine. I'm not excited at all. This is very boring, the idea of shooting tanks.
Yeah, thanks. So, for the last week, I have asked these...
Aw, shoot. I get to shoot tanks with MatPat. Not excited. What a miserable day. I didn't want to do this. Aw, dang it. I get to shoot tanks today. I get to get paid to shoot tanks. Oh, man, I was really hoping for something else. Like, man, my boring office job sounds a whole lot more enjoyable than that.
These guys to train up in World of Tanks. They've done it, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yes, Professor.
Well, no one can be as excited as Goomba is. Like that dude has been bouncing off the walls all day for this.
Yeah,
so.
my first ever meme.
Me
was
too.
Tank, 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 tank. I mean, come on.
He's excited. I'm ready.
So you guys are all set? You're feeling good about your World of Tanks training?
Absolutely.
I would be
Fantastic.
bouncing
So
off
they're
the
all
walls.
warmed up. I'm warmed up. Let's get you warmed up about World of Tanks. Let's go, guys.
Woo! All right.
Let's do it.
And honestly, I can think of no better person to catch you up on the brief history of World of Tanks than Foot of a Ferret himself, former host of A Brief History here on the channel, Ryder.
Thanks, Matt. So while you might know it from its ads and its sponsorships here on YouTube in recent years,
I'm not
World
paid
of
this-
Tanks has
I'm not
actually
paid
been
by
around
this.
since 2010. Developed for the PC by Wargaming.
It's a very apt name for a development studio that focuses on tanks.
We watched
Don't
we watched
interrupt
the
me.
ad.
World of Tanks
but
puts you in command of over 800 different tanks from across the last 100 years and
I'm not
places
being
you
paid
into
to say any of this.
tactical battles
World of Tanks, sponsor me.
from real historical locations. You're climbing
I like tanks.
steep hills, sneaking through forests, and tearing across deserts, all in your trusty tank boys. And since then, World of Tanks has grown into a massive free cross-platform experience.
Which, by the way, you can go and download today using the link in the description as well as the code GAMETHEORY.
In short, World of Tanks prides itself
Hello?
on realism of tank combat, and that goes beyond just picking out the right munitions and hiding your weak spots. It's also about your crew. You can't just have a good driver and hope to win. No, you also need a fast weapons loader, precise gunner, technically savvy radio operator, and of course, a
Are they
strong
gonna have to
commander that
go-
will lead you to victory.
Are they gonna have to
It's
do
a
all of this
crossover of talent that will
during
ensure that
this
you have the best
attempt?
chance of winning at the
I'm
end of the
imagining,
day.
yes.
See what I did there?
Ah, it's so good to have you back, Drake.
So, as you can see, World of Tanks isn't just about fulfilling the fantasy of driving big vehicles and blowing stuff up, so that is really cool. It's a tactical experience, all about
Yep.
understanding your crewmates and how these giant vehicles
So I'm
work,
waiting for him to say,
which
"So we're
is
gonna do
why
all that
the
too."
realism of all this is so important. If you don't understand how the vehicles operate, well, it's gonna mean disaster for both you and your crew. And that brings us to why we're here today.
Okay,
You see,
good.
I've designed a little bit of an experiment for all of our guests that's gonna put a lot of things to the test. But to fully break it down, I'm gonna toss it off to Lee, our breakdown expert. Lee!
I got this, Matt. We're all going to be split up into 3 teams of 2. We've got Team Comics with Drake and myself, Team History with Ryder and Goomba, and Team Science with Austin and Matt. Over the past week or so, each pair of us has been playing a different version of World of Tanks.
Interesting.
Team Comics is on PC, Team Science has been
okay.
playing the console version, and then you've got Team History, who have spent the last week playing the console version.
This is a
but with
very
twist. Both
creative way to
Xbox
do an
and
ad read.
PlayStation
I
offer
will-
a
I will
service
give them
called
that.
Remote Play, where so long as you have an internet connection, you can connect to your console remotely and play on your phone or tablet. And because we wanted a wider variety, we got them to play exclusively using their phones to see whether they could keep up with the likes of mainstream consoles or the obviously superior PC.
This is an
And so
ad read.
now that everyone's
They are
paid for-
really good at bouncing between ad read and not ad read.
20 hours, we're throwing them into tanks and forcing them to go head-to-head in 2 separate competitions. The first is a driving test, where one member from each team is going to drive the tank through a carefully designed
Wow.
obstacle course. The second round will happen at the shooting range, where each team will be responsible for aiming and firing at a set of targets.
God, that would be
Highest
so cool to do.
accuracy wins. Now, I know this might seem like a bit of a wild experiment. There's no way that playing a video game can train someone to drive
You're in third person. Are you going to connect a camera to be in third person? 'Cause now that would answer the question. That would mean yeah, that would probably give you some training.
25 tons of pure military power.
I mean, I
right?
guess you
Well,
are pretty high up, so maybe it's kind of like being in third person. I don't know. I've never been in a tank before.
That's what you might think, but there's actually some interesting science behind it.
Did someone say science? Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Science!
But Matt is right. The science here is fascinating. We all know what dopamine is, right?
Yeah.
It's the happy hormone. When you do something you enjoy, you get a nice hit of dopamine that makes you feel really good. I'm also sure that most of you that have played video games would say that you feel good while
He looks
playing
so
them,
happy.
especially if it's a game you really enjoy. However, dopamine is more than just a happiness hormone. It also plays a major role in your ability to learn. In 2001, a study was conducted.
That's why so many people hate the education system. Anyways, I'll stop bringing that up.
Did on rats, where one of the rats had their dopamine neurons stimulated while listening to a specific audio tone, and the other group just listened to the tone with no stimulation. They found that the rats with dopamine neurons stimulated had better recall of the tone than their sadder counterparts.
How do we know these things? How do we find this information? Oh, it recalled the tone better. How do we know?
Basically, dopamine helps you learn, which is why you tend to do better in school if you enjoy the subject more, or do better at your job if you actually enjoy your work, because the dopamine that you receive helps to expand your brain chemistry. And all the way back in 1998, they proved that the amount of dopamine you get from playing video games can match that of someone injecting amphetamines directly into your bloodstream.
Wow.
That is a crazy amount of dopamine.
And it doesn't stop there, because in later years it was shown to be the case in humans too. Since then, there has been study after study showing the effects of video games on both your physical and mental skills.
This feels so weird. This does not feel like a game theory video. Like, it does, but it doesn't. This feels more like I'm watching a documentary on, like, mental health and gaming in the real world kind of studies. This does not feel like a game theory video. This is wild to me.
Helping to improve attention and spatial awareness in children, and improving hand-eye coordination in the elderly. Heck, video games are now being used to train surgeons how to operate. And probably most important for our purposes today, to give soldiers the chance to practice driving and aiming big military vehicles.
I mean, if it works for a crew of soldiers, theoretically it should be able to work for a bunch of top-tier gamers like us, right? Guess we're about to find out.
So really, this isn't just a competition between 6 gamers, it's a test to see how video games can teach us. Can that sweet, sweet dopamine we get from playing games actually prepare us to execute on the real thing? But before we start throwing these guys into tanks, we should probably learn a little bit more about the tanks themselves. Which is why we're gonna be talking to Tommy from DriveTanks.com. Tommy, thanks for joining us today.
I love how Matt just has that constant, just on-camera appeal. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than just like that high-energy YouTuber mentality at every second. Like, even the way that he turned around there to give him a handshake, like, that is, nobody compares to MatPat. There will be no one who, there will be no second MatPat. There will be people who follow in his footsteps for sure, but there will be no second MatPat. There is only one.
Tommy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been working with tanks for right around 5 years. I've been with DriveTanks.com for roughly 3.5 years. And I've been working on military vehicles, say, from all the end of World War I all the way to modern day. Or as modern as we can be, as the government allows us.
Hydration.
What secret stuff do you have?
Hydration, very important.
Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. Don't worry about it.
We all play.
Oh, you guys want double hydration? You got double hydration. W is actually hydration. I want to mention this every single time because I know you guys redeem hydrate and expect me to drink water. W is water. It just has some stuff in it. It has some powder in it that is caffeine juice that is delicious, and it tastes better than water, and I drink it all the time, and I ran out, so I had to buy more. That is how much I actually like this, just like I like top of the morning coffee. I'm drinking this more than top of the morning coffee lately because I haven't wanted to have coffee as much because this doesn't make me jittery. I want to throw that out there. This is actually water. Okay, this is hydration. This counts towards my hydration. It does. Hey, enemy spotted. How you doing?
Games, we all understand how, like, first person.
That's like half an ad read because you guys can use my code, but that's also me just genuinely saying, look, this is water. This is real water. This is not. I'm not faking it because I want to promote something. No, this is actually me being hydrated. Okay, it counts. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to do it a second time. It sounds an awful lot like G Fuel. It is. It's just like G Fuel. It's just another brand of it. It's just different G Fuel.
Shooters and war shooters and this and that work.
2 hydrates.
But
Let's go.
actually being able to operate these things in real life and understand how they work is fundamentally different.
Yeah, and Enemy Spotted is the perfect name to come in here while we're watching a video about tanks.
Right? So even down to the basic question, when we hop into that tank, are we driving it with like a steering wheel? Is it levers? What?
Good question.
What is it?
So it depends on the nation of origin, also the time. So for instance, like your T-34 and your Sherman, 2 very famous tanks from World War II, they both drive with what we call tillers or steering sticks. You know, make a left turn, you pull left, you make a right turn, you
Here, just for good measure, here, have some regular water as well. Stay hydrated, boys.
Well, right. But then you have other tanks like the famous Tiger tank actually turns with a steering wheel.
We would actually wind up driving the West German Leopard, which used steering wheel and pedals, making it a whole heck of a lot easier.
What is the top speed of a tank?
So it depends on the tank. So the top speed of a tank, the Guinness Book of World Records, is actually the Scorpion tank, which top.
Am I only watching MatPat vids? Yeah, we're saying goodbye to MatPat. We just watched the final video when it finally came out, the retirement video, I'm leaving, I'm done. Not the retirement video. The retirement video is the goodbye internet. The final theory. That's the words I'm trying to say. We just watched that one a little bit ago. I cried a little bit. Had a rough time. And now we're watching two more. We're watching the Tanks one and then the Five Nights at Freddy's one to end things out because I gotta go do other stuff today as well. But yeah, just MatPat stuff to say goodbye to MatPat.
Tops out right around 55 miles an hour.
Okay.
Now,
07s.
World War II tanks, they weren't going as fast, and the reason why is because you had to shoot accurately. And if you're going, say, 30 miles an hour...
He did do a great job making us not drown in tears until the sixth ending. Then it was all tears.
When your gun barrel's bouncing up and down, you know you can't shoot accurately.
Might not sound all that fast, but some of us were feeling a bit apprehensive.
So, I'm scared.
Okay.
Listen, I among all of us know what it is to be a gaming expert, but
all of us, yes, very
when
gaming.
you see it in person.
Yeah.
MatPat's finished. It's just a theory. If we look at the yellow crewmate over there, yeah, no, I have a feeling he's gonna debate us hard. Like I went to the website, what MatPat's secretly doing or whatever. Find MatPat, you know. He's not leaving. He's doing other stuff. I feel like, you know, I would not be surprised if this is all a stunt for him to do what all these other YouTubers have done, where it's like, I'm going to make a video just proving that I can start from nothing and grow to this massive success. I would love to see him do that that would be hilarious. Just like, you know, all of this was actually just a huge debate. No, I'm not leaving. I just wanted to prove that anybody can be a YouTuber because it's not just a theory. Here's proof, you know? I think that would be amazing. He's actually retired. He's being a parent for a bit. I respect it, but also he'll be back. There's no way. We were theorizing earlier. He'll leave until Ollie graduates and moves out, and then he'll come back. Yeah, pass the copium. I got you. Here, take a nice breath in. That's some tasty copium right there. He'll pull a Corey Kenshin, come back after 5 months, then leave again. Yeah, he'll do a cameo every once in a while. He'll just pop in just to say hi, you know?
If it all goes out. What exactly am I going to be expecting in terms of like training?
So for training, say for modern tank training, you'd go to tank school, which is basically you're taught every aspect of the machine, right? You're taught how to drive, you're taught how to gun. Now in World War II, you would also have tank school. Granted, it was a lot more rushed.
MatPat for YouTube CEO, I would see it. I could see it. Maybe not yet, but like give him a few years and he's like, you know, I actually kind of miss going out and doing stuff YouTube related, and then he just becomes the YouTuber. I would not be surprised. He could totally fill that role.
Right, you know, be right around 2 to 3 months, and then you're basically going out in the field and you're learning as you go. And then also in World War II, and you also see this in the movie Fury, where there'd be cases where one of you guys would be injured and they'd just take a random guy and they'd throw him in.
So that's basically us today.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, okay, to be fair, they're doing this with steering wheel and pedals. That's what they said. That can't be that much different. It's a slow-moving vehicle, right? The only thing I would imagine that's difficult is like aiming the gun and staying safe if you're in the middle of war because your head's sticking out. But I feel like, once again, more copium right here. It couldn't be that hard. I could do that. I could do this.
After a week of training, we got this.
Good. Week of playing a video game and like 10
I could do it with no video game training.
minutes talking to Tommy. We're feeling good?
Ready to go.
Okay. Well, let's go meet our tank then.
Okay.
All right.
Also, here, hold it. Right.
What? Yeah.
I do want to call this out while they get prepared. Who am I talking to? You.
Hello.
Talking to
Yeah,
you.
just show off the
So,
fact that you got
Ryder,
multiple cameras.
Just for the people at home.
Yeah.
How many times have you driven a car?
Maybe like 8.
8 total?
That might be generous.
That might be an overestimate.
That might be generous.
It's just
And
a
most
slow
of it was
car.
like 10 years ago.
It's
now
a
when I
big,
was getting
slow
my
car. It
license,
can't be
like,
that
2 years
bad.
late.
So last year, I taught Ryder how to...
Do we have a copium emote? Do I need to enable that? We need copium. I cope way too much. We need a copium emote.
ride a bike for the first time in his life. I like that I've just skipped the whole driving process and now we're just gonna throw you in a tank. Life comes at you fast. Okay, here it is.
The tank's all revved up. It's time to start the experiment. We're team number 1, Team Science.
We're Team Comics. 1, 2, 3, catchphrase.
There was also Team History, but Ryder was so nervous that he actually forgot to record the intro. Though to be fair, when I got into the tank, I was feeling the same way.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm groping around in the darkness, and there's a wheel. And I think there's a gas
that's a
pedal.
word choice.
I don't know if there's a brake pedal. We're gonna find out together.
It actually took me another 3 minutes of groping around in the dark before I found that
You don't need to repeat
anyway,
the
once
phrase.
I had a handle on the pedals, I got over that nervousness.
At least you didn't name the video World of Tanks in Real Life. I drive a tank. Now, I would love to see this title just be I drive a tank. Like, that is it. I drive tank. 3-word title. Mr. Beast type title. I drive tank. An instant million views.
Very quickly. And just like that, we were all.
I would, for camera, I would be like, I'm so excited. This is so cool. Inside, I would be horrified. Absolutely horrified. Every second of it. Just like, I better not make a wrong move. I better not accidentally hit the shoot pedal. I don't know. How do you shoot? Is it a button? Just press a button and just boom, boom happens? That's a bad way to say that. But you know what I mean.
It was so loud, you basically couldn't hear anything we were saying. That.
To what I was saying before, you forgot to say, there will be no second MatPat, there will be no second Mr. Beast, and there will be no second Technoblade, there will be no second Unisonus, there will be no second anything. There will be people who follow in those footsteps, there will be no second of that person.
And we were trying desperately
Bump a switch
not
with
to
your
crash.
elbow.
But this
That
course was
seems
full of-
safe. Yeah, just casually, just real quick. Oh, boom. No, we're good. Yeah, no, that's shoot. Bang, bang. Oh, this way. Oh, when we shoot over there. Oh, boop. Oh, what about this time? How about, whoa, and then bam. Oh, I want to shoot over there. Bang. Boom. Yeah, that's safe.
Twists and turns, hills and dips, really showing off what the tank was
Jesus Christ.
capable
Yeah,
of.
just go in the water real quick.
It's like a roller coaster going down. Wow.
And I hope that someday there will be no second Vano. I won't be here forever, but there will be no second me. There will be people who follow my footsteps, like my buddy Israel. He's following kind of in my footsteps a little bit. There will be no second me, though. He won't be me, and I won't be him, and there will be nobody who comes after us who will be us. But I hope that I can inspire somebody in the future to be more than that. What else do I do other than watch MatPat? Well, I very rarely react, so this is kind of out of my comfort zone a little bit. I'm not used to doing this. If you scroll down and click on my YouTube channel, you'll see I do game development stuff a lot. And I do other, I don't know, how do I describe what I do? I don't even know how to describe what I do. I make YouTube videos. I stream video games sometimes. We're doing more streams more often. But I've made games I made a game for Jacksepticeye. I made a bean game, game about a coffee bean for Jacksepticeye, and he played it, so that was cool. I made a game for Lixian just recently, Markiplier's editor. And he hasn't played it yet, but we did get to talk a little bit, so hopefully he'll play that soon. But yeah, I do fun stuff. Can someone who, you guys who are in here a lot, who watch my stuff, can you guys describe what I do better than I can? Because I don't really know. I don't know how to describe it to people. I never really have to describe myself to people. I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys. You'll be me. Yeah, good try, Waffles. Good try. You can try. You will never be me. That sounds a bit more harsh than it is, but yeah, try me.
Expect the tank to be heavy and slow, but in reality, it was light and super nimble. In fact,
okay, so he just debunked exactly what I said. Completely, totally unrelated. You keep thinking about being disappointed over the non-release of Coyote versus Acme. I don't know what that is. Now, badly, I want Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2 and how you have little micro obsession over Roger Rabbit movie. I have never seen any of the Roger Rabbit. I know nothing about any of that. I hate to break it to you, but I mean, I have a lot of little micro obsessions like that as well, and I'm sure everybody can relate to that slightly, at least a little bit. But yeah. Take your pitchforks. Get your pitchforks at the ready and go fight for what you believe. Fight for what you believe should be.
it was probably one of the smoothest rides I'd ever been on. All the suspension in this thing, coupled with the treads, made it feel like you were floating on a cloud. After surviving a dip into a small river,
that's weird. Yeah, that completely defunks exactly what I was saying. I was saying how it would be slow and heavy. Wow. All right. Well, just I guess yeah, that's
getting some pretty good speed. Team Science was wrapped.
Team Science was wrapped.
Every time. Look at that parking job. There you go. Yes! That was awesome. Now, they told us that the course would probably take us about 8 to 15 minutes to complete. What they didn't realize was that we're a super competitive group. I managed to complete the course in 6 minutes and 44 seconds.
Well, so what is it? Is it just a track in a loop? Oh my god,
Even
that
Ryder,
face.
despite being cautious and nearly coming off the track several times, he managed to beat that time with a solid 7 minutes.
So does it just kind of drive like a car then? I can imagine what he means when it's like, you know, going kind of light and airy. Like once you get used to that after a couple minutes, you would think it would be like just like driving a car, right? That's what I would imagine.
40 seconds.
How many Nokias can I destroy with a tank? How many Nokias? How many phones? How many iPhones? Not Nokias. How many iPhones? Because that'll get more people to click. But Nokias would be the true test, really. But how many phones can I destroy with a tank? Who doesn't want to see something be blown up with a tank? Come on, let's be honest here.
Let's go, buddy! But of course, every group has that one guy who's got to push it just a little bit further, even further than the experts were expecting.
That would be me. That would be me. Not copium at all. That would be me. Wow. Jesus.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
That's amazing.
And Let It Rip Drake certainly lived up to the name. I didn't realize that this was possible with a vehicle this
I would
heavy,
love
but
to do
Drake
that.
actually caught air.
Jesus.
They were figuratively and sometimes even literally flying around the course, coming in with the scorching
That's amazing.
time of 5 minutes and 49
Wow.
seconds. 2 whole minutes faster than the experts predicted any of us would be able to do it in, putting them in a solid first place. And we're going to give
That's
them
impressive.
3 points for that win, leaving Team Science and Team History in 2nd and 3rd place with 2 and 1 point respectively. But despite the competition, when it comes to whether a video game can teach you how to drive a tank, I'd have to say yes. Though to be fair, the system was so easy that if you've ever driven a golf cart, you'd be able to do it too. Just look at Ryder.
I think we're all winners
Yeah.
as far as that round goes.
Yes,
But
yes.
technically,
Some are more winners than
the
others.
official winners are Team Comics.
Thank
Yeah, that was wild.
I did all the work. Yes.
Those
Yeah,
Russian kids with hard
catchphrase indeed.
Kinda, yeah.
Congratulations,
Ryder. You have successfully
Just anything in Russia, anything that has to do with driving in Russia is just pure chaos.
Poke evolved into driver.
Nice and slow.
And now we move on to shooting the tanks. Yes.
Wait. Did you guys see that face?
And now we move
How do I-
on to shooting the tanks. Yes.
Look, okay, yeah, look at that. Look at that. That. Okay, so he goes from saying what he was saying to that. That, no, I'm worried now face. That is amazing.
So now it's time for us to see who has the best aim. For safety reasons, we couldn't just hop in and start firing off the tank like you would in World of
At
Tanks.
each other?
But
That
we
would be
did
amazing.
manage to devise a system that would allow us to aim and fire the tanks safely. First, we wouldn't be using explosive shells, as they're much harder to control, much more dangerous, obviously, and also the US government wouldn't let us have them. Can't imagine why, as if I'm not.
Constant YouTube mode? What? Yeah. Once again, that face. Questions. What's up, Eric? Worry intensifies. Yeah, he is terrified. Did I enjoy the song? I did not listen to the song. I completely forgot. I went to bed immediately after.
Not on enough government watch lists at this point. Instead, for the test, we'd be using solid shells, which are exactly what they sound like. Shells made out of solid steel.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, go ahead. Pick it up. That's awesome. Can I take it home with me?
Yeah,
I would. Just like
Can I take it home with me and also bring a tank with me and also shoot it at my friends?
I would love to see you see that.
Gosh, it's so much heavier than you expected.
No, I would expect it to be extremely heavy.
That's a heavy boy.
I would expect
So
that to
it's
be
gonna hooked
extremely
up
heavy.
to another case. So we'll
Which also at the same time, though, if you think about it, you would think it should be light, so we can fly through the air easier. But I guess if it needs to cause damage, then it has to be extremely heavy, so it just has to shoot extremely fast. I would expect it to be extremely heavy.
put the two inside the tank and then we'll load them together.
Eric, you didn't know that MatPat's retiring? You didn't know that? Did you read the title of this stream, Eric? We're giving 07s in chat to MatPat. I was crying earlier. It's that important.
There is one piece. But the projectiles themselves, they will go down range, bury themselves, and we'll probably never see them again.
Just because they're so buried in the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's
We would
wild.
then help load the cannon and direct the crew on how to aim the shot.
2 cranks down, and then 1 crank to the right. Okay, all right, yeah. Gotcha. Thank you so much.
Once everything was ready and
Wha-
safe, we'd fire the tank using a ripcord from outside, which was meant to protect us from any
Oh,
potential
okay.
ammo
I see.
jams or backfires. Finally, what are we aiming at?
I feel like your arm could still fly off if you did that. Even with the one thing goes wrong, that cable snaps back and just your arm goes with it. Maybe I don't understand the physics of how a tank works in the slightest, but that is what I would imagine. I would be terrified.
Fire at another expensive tank from the 1900s, can we? No, instead we have ourselves a wall of trucks that just so happen to be sitting in a very familiar location.
I recognize that we're at the Mr. Beast mound of all things.
The Mr. Beast mound? Wait, hold on.
We're following in the footsteps of greatness.
What is that from? What the Mr. Beast mound from what video? I don't recognize the mound. Am I a fake fan? I don't recognize this mound. Did he blow up a bus here? Is that what it was? I don't remember. I don't remember the mound.
Yes, clearly. Yeah.
He's done so much stuff in different areas that I have no idea now.
This right here is where good old Jimmy Beast also fires his tanks. Not
Oh,
all that
okay.
surprising when it's one of the 2 places
Okay.
in America that you're allowed to fire tanks.
Wow.
In fact, a lot of YouTubers have been in this place recently. Go figure.
Okay.
Any tips that we need to know that those other guys didn't know?
What can you tell us that you can't tell Mr. Beast?
Oh no, see, I can't say that.
So we've got ourselves our wall of trucks. Now we'll be ranking each of the shots based on accuracy. 3 points for first place, 2 points for second, and 1 for third. If you miss,
Okay.
you get 0. And
What,
with
so
that,
you just have to hit anything? I'm
out of the
guessing?
way.
All right, are you ready?
Is there like a target they're aiming for? Because there's 4 vehicles. I'm assuming it's just like whoever gets closest to the center or something. I don't know.
As ready as I can.
I've never shot a gun of any kind, of any size before.
Well, this is
so I'm going straight for the
This
big
is the
stuff.
biggest gun.
Downhill from here.
Pretty much.
How's your aim?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
We need to make we'll find out when I pull the ripcord. You know, it actually has like a manual crank where you're like, it's not like electronic at all.
We've got to beat Lee and Drake.
What are the points?
I love that they're screaming at
If
each
you
other.
hit it,
They
you
could
get
just take the headphones off for a second, or the whatever earmuffs.
We better get 100 points.
All right, you're clear to load.
Loading.
All right.
I'd be terrified to
Is
just do
everyone
that.
good? At this time, you're clear to fire. All right, 3, 2, 1, fire in the hole.
Jesus. Do you see the nozzle shake? I'd be terrified it would implode. Wow, we got a window.
That was awesome.
That's amazing.
That freaking rules, man. That was awesome.
My like heart is
I can feel it in my whole body.
It was like a
Yeah.
And it smelled like sulfur. It was beautiful.
Oh, I inhaled so much.
It is a lot of gunpowder.
Well, I think it's these guys.
It was all right.
It was all right.
Listen.
He knifed to the back window.
Yeah, that was impressive.
I hit the window. That's hitting the thing. Did hit. Listen.
Yeah, so what counts as first, second, and third place? I don't understand.
We've coordinated on this. We consulted professionals in World of Tanks.
Yeah, okay.
That we are going to hit that truck.
Couple cranks to the left, one up. Yeah, we got this.
Yeah, you feel good about
Is
your
the goal the
Goes
truck?
down, one to the right.
I guess the goal is the truck.
Okay, well, good luck.
That's making you miss it. Don't worry, this will go up on the VODS channel very soon, and after the stream ends, you can go see what you missed on the VOD. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, it'll still exist. It's not going anywhere.
So much. We beat you once, we beat you again.
All right.
Yeah, if you guys haven't yet subscribed to the VODS channel, make sure you scroll down and hit the little VODS channel button there so you don't miss anything. If you miss a stream, because I do stream at weird times. I know a lot of you guys aren't available at the times that I stream sometimes. So make sure you subscribe over there so you don't miss anything. And then you can just skim through it and see what you want to see. Yeah.
This time, you're clear to fire.
Write down the times.
Three,
Yeah, pretty much.
2,
That works.
1.
It's 3:05 right now. 3 hours and 5 minutes in the stream. Jesus.
There you go.
Wow.
Let's go.
What? They didn't hit you.
It took MatPat 13 years to be able to shoot a tank. So I need to mark my calendar. 13 years from today. I mean, not today, because I've been doing stuff for a while. But 13 years. 13 years from now, I will be able to shoot the, I will be able to shoot I will be able to shoot a tank. Not the tank, a tank. Any tank. Probably not this one. Maybe this one.
Didn't hit anything.
Listen.
You didn't hit anything.
Listen.
What happened to that great aim?
Yeah, well, listen. We won the race. We have to highlight all the former theorists.
Yeah.
We're so awesome that we threaded the needle, and we're even cooler than them.
That was it.
One, yes,
Yeah.
that one. I think that one.
It's like the Robin Hood arrow through
Of
an
course.
arrow. I think it's even more impressive. We're playing a game of horse.
But it's even cooler because it's a tank.
Of course.
Yeah, right? Or what
It
you
is
got?
cooler because it's a
Oh my
tank.
God.
Yeah.
I'm so scared to stand next to this thing right now.
I don't think Goomba's scared.
It takes 13 years of YouTube to naturally develop the ability to shoot a tank. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was supposed to.
I'll just be great at it by the 13-year arc.
He's already up there.
I'm ready, man.
He's with his baby right
Are you like
now.
testing the wind? I'm guiding the
He's looking down the
barrel
sights.
Right to the I want to go dead center through the passenger door, dead center. I'll believe when
My
I see
man
it.
is in his element
Yeah.
right now. So
He is
Are you gonna
so
stand up
happy.
here, Ryder? I think I'm supposed to. I don't want to.
All right.
So.
Well, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
You got this.
Oh,
You got
jeez.
it. I shake
I
your
got
hand, but I'm
Oh
too
my
high
God.
up, man. I don't know what to say.
Wow.
GG. Do you have your hearing protection on?
Of course I do. I'm not a complete idiot.
Guns out.
I did the driving and I thought I conquered tanks, but as soon as that first one went off, I was like, no. That knocked me off my feet.
All right, at this time, you're clear to fire.
3, 2, 1, fire the hole!
Oh, come on! Bad ad timing. Bad ad timing. Really good ad timing, actually. Hold on, we gotta go back. There we go.
Fire.
3, 2, 1, fire the hole!
Oh my god, he actually did it.
That's not the best thing ever.
He shot off the door handle.
That was the most insane thing ever.
Wow.
Like, that was by
Hey,
far
Waffle Mud,
the
how's it
biggest
going?
blast that we've had of any of these.
Nice
shot.
shot.
Jesus.
Yes, he is definitely dead. And with that, we should probably tally up those final scores. This was
Wow.
a competition after all. So I think it's
That was impressive. Adds at the beginning to evolve into developed comedic timing. Sometimes no. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Should you make the Discord give VOD channel notifications? You can if you want to. That might be a good thing for people who don't have who don't have the right timing to get into a stream. Yeah, I would say yeah if you can. Yeah, there's
Fair to
two
say that
waffles
Team
in chat
History
now.
won the shooting round, so that's 3 points for them. Team Comics, on the other hand, barely managed to scrape the frame of the car, so we're
Some
putting
maple
them in third place with 1 point, which leaves Team Science in second place with 2. I maintain that the shot through the window is a pretty impressive shot, though
That
I
is
can't
very
deny
cool.
the solid hit that
Okay,
was
so it's a ranking system based on judgment, not based on positioning. Interesting.
able to do on the body of that car, so I'm gonna be happy with the 2. That means that the scores at the end of all of this are tied. 4s across the board for all of us. I guess that's nice.
Wow.
So despite the
All
game's
right, I guess that's very generous there. I don't know about that. Your name has syrup. Your name does have syrup, but I mean, it never hurts to add a little bit of extra syrup. How's it been since last Christmas? Oh, you've missed a lot. You have missed a lot. Head over to YouTube and see what you've missed. I mean, you haven't missed that many uploads, but you've missed a lot of stuff having happened. I made a game for Lixian. He hasn't played it yet, but hopefully he will soon. But yeah, big stuff happening. But we're streaming more often now, so we're back into it.
accuracy to
A
crew
lot of
breakdowns,
chaos, yeah.
speed, and mobility
Very
doesn't
accurate.
seem like it had that much effect on our overall performance. No one gaming platform stood out, and that makes sense when you think about it. Driving a tank is very similar to just driving a car. You have pedals, you have a wheel, you have a big old crank for aiming. Well, I guess I don't have that in a car, but it's not hard to figure out. So
I
just
mean,
like
you
driving,
could
it's a
have that
very-
in a car if you just, attach something to the steering wheel and then attach a little, gun to the top. Do what William Osmond did, where you attach a gun to a car. He did that, or was it a helmet? Did he do a car? I think he put it on a car at some point. You just put a gun on the car, and then you make a second steering wheel, and then there you go.
very physical activity, which means that getting better is less about mental stimulation and much more about muscle memory. By repeating the same actions over and over again, you activate the same neural pathways repeatedly. Eventually, your brain just gets so used to doing that action, it more or less becomes subconscious. And it's in those moments that you're able to react faster and push the speed because your body just intuitively understands what it's supposed to be doing. Plan on a
18-hour stream? No, we'll be taking a break after this because I gotta go help Israel set some stuff up. But then we will be doing a 6-hour stream later for Portal 2. So long day today. Long day.
phone, a controller, a keyboard, it's not really going to give
But
you
also,
that muscle memory
hey, Awesome Sheep, how's it going?
to be able to transfer the skill. If anything, your confidence as a car driver. That's the thing that's going to help you more than playing a game.
But here's the thing, Matt. Very soon, that may not be the case.
What do you mean, Gigi?
Well, you see, there's a brand new breed of tank on the horizon. Rather than using all the levers, pedals, and steering
Never
wheels
seen
that
that
we use
before.
today, this guy instead uses a simple Xbox controller.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
have
right,
seen
a
that. Never
35-ton
mind.
piece of machinery
That
is
was so cool to see. Someone actually using a gaming controller to control a tank. I don't remember when that happened, but I remember seeing that a while ago.
controlled by this. And if you take a look at the inside, you'll realize there's no windows, just a bunch of cameras and monitors, racer
Yeah, MatPat, he's retiring. He's not dead. He's retiring. He's probably not dead. Probably.
chairs and headsets. It's literally a military-grade gamer paradise.
In fact, he's officially retired now. No, he's not. Not until he leaves GT Live. So he's like mostly retired now. How do you gauge that?
But what's even more interesting is that it allows for a buildup of that crucial muscle memory. In fact, when prototypes were tested with young adults from Gen Z, they found that what would have taken days of real training in a traditional tank took these gamers just 4 hours. But most importantly of all, it's just safer. While we all had fun driving around these giant machines for the day, war isn't fun. It's serious business with real human lives at stake. And tools.
But having a controller like that could make it easier, because like they're explaining, it could be much easier to practice like that instead of needing a racing rig, right? That kind of thing. It could just be easier since we're all growing up with video games. If you're already accustomed to that motion, then driving a tank could be second nature to you if you played video games growing up.
It's like this, controlling a drone tank like you would a video game, well, it helps keep human lives out of the line of fire when people are forced to engage in any form of necessary conflict.
Thanks for that, Goomba. Very well said.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, our long day of shooting tanks has come to a close.
Wow.
I gotta ask, what did we all learn here today? Starting with Drake, go for it.
I learned that we all need to hang out more often if we're gonna be doing this. I learned that I like tanks far too much. Far too much. This is an absolute heaven. I'm so thankful you brought me out here for this, man.
I learned that actually aiming a tank is way harder than I thought it would be, and that it is in a video game. I learned to drive.
Oh, that's great.
Lee, break it down for us. What is it?
I learned that World of Tanks is an excellent video game. You should go download right now. The link is in the description.
How accurate is it?
Hashtag spawn. So thank you so much to World of Tanks. Thank you to DriveTanks.com. But most importantly, thank you to you guys.
That was a great video. That was an amazing
Thank you
video.
for not just coming in today, but also for 13 years. Of
course.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Hey, how about we do this again, not for content?
Yeah,
next time?
absolutely.
Yeah. Make it a little yearly thing.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we can successfully say
Christ,
that
Maker.
World of Tanks has gotten itself a reality check. But hey, that's just a theory.
A game theory. It's not.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. A tank theory. Thanks for watching.
That was good.
A huge thank you once again to World of Tanks for sponsoring this episode of Reality Check. Without them, it literally wouldn't have been possible to come down here and do such a fun, crazy
awesome.
experiment. Remember, you can download the game right now for free.
That was
using the link
awesome.
down in the description below.
Thanks
Plus,
for
World of
watching.
Tanks
That's a good one.
wasn't satisfied just
That's good.
revitalizing this old show. They also had a special deal. If you register for an account,
You guys don't need to do this. This is not horror time.
Special in-game
We're
rewards
watching
to widen your
things.
experience right off the bat. You get the British Cromwell B tank, 250,000 credits in the game, and 7 days of premium access, plus a bunch of other tanks that you can rent
Alright, I
for
think
10
that's-
battles each at no extra charge. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for me to go back behind my desk where I probably belong. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.
That's it. Last one. Last one we're going to watch. We already watched his final theory. 1.4 million views in 2 hours. That one should have more. It should be trending. It will be trending, I'm sure, extremely fast. But the last one we're going to watch, because we already watched that earlier when we premiered it, we watched the premiere live, is the Thanks for the Memories game theory, Five Nights at Freddy's. I have a feeling I am going to cry again, but it'll be a good way to end things out, I guess. Here we go.
Our Wi-Fi works in every room.
Okay, well, after the
Even
ads, of
the
course.
basement. Creepy down there, but
Just
true.
Well, loyal theorists.
All right, hold on. This Call of Duty player was good at sniping in game and sucked at everything else. He got recruited as a sniper and was ridiculously good at it. I've seen the grandpa on TikTok who was a veteran, he's a veteran, and he was really, really good at sniping in games. So I can imagine it would work both ways. It's just, I mean, you get so used to the muscle memory of it. I could only imagine that makes total sense. All right, game theory, Five Nights at Freddy's. Thanks for the memories. The final Five Nights at Freddy's theory from Mr. Matthew Patrick. Here we go.
Well, loyal theorists, this is it. This will be my final FNAF theory. And
Literally.
this time, I mean it.
Literally. He's actually being... I mean, well, here's the thing. I feel like him saying that is going to come back to bite him 10, 20 years down the line. I feel like Five Nights at Freddy's will still be a thing. There will still be lore. And he will come back for a season, for a spell, and he will create another one. I feel like even though he is retiring, he's not fully leaving. So I feel like he'll be back to do another one at some point. Or not, because he'd met Scott, and Scott's going to tell him all the info, probably. All the secrets. I don't know. Oh, the glitchy intros. Oh, this is new. That's new. I haven't seen that before. Jesus.
The pieces are in place for you. You missed it last week. Look for the green.
Look for the green.
Remember everything I taught you.
Right. This is how we got the other secret endings that they were piecing together.
Remember, dates are important. Remember the...
Is that Tom speaking?
Time is running out.
That sounded kind of like Tom. Yeah, I think that's part of the ARG that was like guiding us to the final theory. I'm not sure.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory, the show that, by my count, has had no less than 10 final FNAF theories.
Yeah.
At this point, it's practically become its own meme. But this time, it's no joke. After 66 theories, 3 live...
Yeah, Scott did make him Ness in the FNAF movie. It was great. I loved it. But in the final theory at the end, Scott is I mean, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but I mean, spoiler warning. Now, Scott invites him to share the lore. I would assume. I don't know. The ending is kind of up to interpretation, but I feel like that makes the most sense.
5 talkbacks and 1 bang meme, but
Hold
this
on.
time it's no joke. After 66
66
theories, 3 live talkbacks and 1 bangin' remix. Make that 2 bangin' remixes.
Music Man, right? Music Man.
I end my coverage of Five Nights at Freddy's. After this, there's only 1 final game theory, and then the curtain closes on my time as host, and Tom will have to step into the spotlight.
Tom will have to bang his head against the desk.
Tom?
Toy Bunny, Easter Bunny, Chocolate Bunny, Melted Chocolate Bunny, Withered Bunny, Blackheart Bunny, Rockstar Bunny, Glamrock Bunny, Sunken Toy Bunny, Bonbon, Just Bon, System Error Bunny, Nightmare Bunny.
Well done, but how many toes does he have?
2? No, 3. 5?
Again. The first step of FNAF theorizing. Slowly losing your mind. I think he's gonna do just fine. You know, I did consider making my final theory about FNAF, but I actually have something really special planned for that one. So special, in fact, that we're gonna be doing a premiere for it on this channel next Saturday, March 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. We're gonna have some fun. You guys will be able to chat with me live as that video releases. And who knows? There might even be some secrets to find.
It was
Most
painful.
importantly of all, I get to say my final goodbye and thank you to all of you for the last 13 years. So that's next week, March 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Make sure you're subscribed so you're notified when that one goes live. Speaking of March 9th, just a quick reminder that that's also the final day of sales for my YouTubes. Once I retire as host on the 9th of March, it too will retire and be gone forever. So if you do want this little piece of game theory history, or, you know, your own little psychic
I want one, I just don't
Fredbear,
collect
head on
them,
over to youtubes.com or click the link in the description to grab your MatPat figurine and FNAF pins before they're nothing but a distant memory. Kind of like Dream Theory. But enough housekeeping, it's time to talk about FNAF. And let me tell you, I spent a long time thinking about this one. How do you...
Yeah. Once again, I'll say this again. Earlier, I was talking about what have I watched game theory for. Well, Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously, for most people, is the staple, and it's my staple as well. I watch game theory mostly for FNAF. I've watched it for other things as well, but I have seen every single theory, except for this one, obviously. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey, but Five Nights at Freddy's is the reason I got into game theory. Obviously, other people got me into Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's got me into MatPat and game theory. So this one's going to hit close to me and most people, I'm sure.
Do you end a series like this?
Yeah,
Should I just do a normal theory about some minute detail? Doesn't really feel final, you know? Plus, I'd probably end up calling someone a rope.
And you already did the ultimate timeline, which a lot of people debunked. I don't know what parts of it have been debunked, but yikes.
And then a bunch of people would get mad at
How
me
do
again.
you end
Should
it?
I redo the ultimate FNAF timeline as
Yeah.
one final here's the lore? Well, that would certainly be big, but it also doesn't feel like that much was changed post-Ruin and Help Wanted 2 from what we did at the end of last year. So I didn't really want to be redundant either. You can see the struggle that I was facing, right? This episode, it's a big deal to me. It is literally the end of my legacy with FNAF. And you see, that's when it hit me.
And it is the biggest thing too. It's the biggest series, as far as I know. Yeah, 66. That is the biggest series in game theory history.
Legacy. Typically, FNAF theories are born out of the small details, but what if I took a step back and looked at the big picture? What if instead of counting animatronic toes or dead kids, I took a meta approach and just looked at the entire legacy of FNAF? I'm sure we're all familiar with the butterfly effect, right? The idea that a butterfly flapping its wings could cause the smallest of changes in the air, which could potentially lead to a tornado forming. Well, the term actually comes from the research of meteorologist Edward Lorenz, who, back in 1963, decided to round some numbers in his data. He condensed one variable from 0.5
0.506127 to just 0.506. And yet that tiny change right there completely threw off his computer's weather models, transforming sunny skies into violent storms, hence the whole tornado thing. This realization that small changes in data could yield such tremendously different results ultimately threw off science's entire understanding of nature. Before Lorentz, people thought that the universe could ultimately be predicted. Sir Isaac Newton back in 1687 famously believed in the clockwork universe, the idea that the parts of the universe worked like a machine, and that eventually if you understood how the parts worked, you could predict practically anything. French mathematician Pierre-Simon Laplace.
The problem is math will never be 100% accurate because we only have numbers to signify what we know exists, when in reality everything is supposedly infinite in nature. So is there really a way that we could predict everything? It will always be slightly off.
Actually said basically the same thing. Eventually, we would get to a place where nothing would be uncertain. And yet, Lorentz showed us that one small change, one minor mistake or estimate or imprecise measurement in a complex system could have a domino effect at a massive scale.
And no measurement is truly 100% accurate, so it would be extremely, it would be impossible. It would not be possible to 100% predict everything. You would get extremely close, but you would not be able to predict everything.
Resulting in changes that you would never see coming. For example, in 1928, Alexander Fleming discovered that there was mold in his petri dish, but rather than just throwing it away or cleaning it up, he decided to study it, which then led to the discovery of penicillin, a life-saving antibiotic that could be used to treat meningitis, pneumonia, gonorrhea, syphilis, blood poisoning, and many others. Or if you want another example, you have the explosion of hip-hop music largely owing its
hydration. You got it. Hydration time, boys. I'm out of my W, so I just gotta drink water now.
Origins to a random lightning strike in New York City. In 1977, a bolt of lightning put the city of New York into a 25-hour blackout. So what do you do for all that time that you're stuck in the dark? You loot and pillage, baby. New Yorkers started to ransack storefronts, including music shops full of instruments and supplies. Suddenly, expensive DJ equipment was in the hands of young aspiring musicians eager to experiment with hip-hop, which was a new genre of music just hitting the local scene. And thus, hip-hop was truly able to thrive. History is full of these sorts of stories. From the foundations of medicine and music to even stuff as extreme as the origins of both World War I and II. Why do I bring all this serious stuff up in relation to...
Oh, that art school. You know that whoever it is who gets into art school, they regretted their decision pretty quickly. I mean, not pretty quickly. It was years later, but still.
Spooky bear game, because FNAF is one of those rounded variables. One decision by Scott Cawthon reshaped gaming and YouTube and the entire entertainment world as we know it. And that's not an exaggeration.
I love that is like one of the only pictures of him that exists.
For effect. One man's decision to not give up, to try again in the face of rejection and adversity, literally shifted billions of dollars of the economy and affected hundreds of millions of lives in ways that are incalculable. And that is what I wanted to call attention to in my final FNAF theory. FNAF shows us that by not giving up, one person can have a profound effect on the course of...
That's why I'm still making content.
...history itself. I feel like the origin story of FNAF's been talked about to death, but just to set the stage here, despite hitting it big with FNAF in 2014, its creator Scott Cawthon had been making games at that point for 20 years, since 1994. And yet, even in those earliest days, you can tell that Scott had a fascination with creepy robots, working their designs into projects like the sci-fi Ifer Moon and the religious Pilgrim's Progress. Even this incredibly rudimentary RPG...
I think it was an accident. I think it was mostly an accident, but clearly he had a fascination with robots. I don't think he meant to make them creepy.
Legacy of Flan has
I think it was a limitation of his skill at the time of like creating them to look more appealing.
And a boss that has what looks to be the first appearance of what would have...
Okay, maybe not that. Maybe that's creepy on purpose. That one might be horrible.
...eventually evolve into the Mangle. But despite producing a lot of games, none really ever caught the public's eye. And then came Chipper & Sons Lumber Company.
The Desolate Hope did alright. Or maybe it did better after FNAF came out. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy.
Where initial reviews, what few there were rough. And as the story goes, it was the reaction to James Stephanie Sterling that would change the course of Cawthon's career forever. Thank God for her.
It's just all over the place, and that thing looks like it's gonna kill your
Jesus
children.
Christ.
I imagine the phrase, "kill me," is stated over and over again in the world of Chipper and Sons.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, they're robot beavers. That's not good. I think he's the only living thing in this world.
This repeated criticism, plus the lack of financial stability, brought Scott down to his lowest. Ready to quit games, he decided to try one final time and lean into the thing that had been leveled at him time and time again, the creepy robotic animations. And thus, Five Nights at Freddy's was born.
Yeah, see, that's the part that I know. The side of like, yeah, he was torn down by all these the horrible criticisms of how creepy everything was. was like, fine, if that's how it's going to be received, let me just do it on purpose. And clearly that's what I'm good at on accident, so I might as well do it on purpose. You know, all his previous games, there were hints of things, and those things combined in FNAF. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine he was going to take inspiration from what he previously did, but I think it wasn't initially intended to be creepy, for at least for the most part. I'm sure there were elements that maybe were, because he's good at making horror, but I don't think it was on purpose for the most part.
And that right there, that's going to act as our nexus point. The one
clearly
flap of a butterfly wing. The decision to make a final game instead of just giving up. Now, let's see how it all maps out from there. Let's start with just the obvious downstream effects of this. That one game, over the course of the last decade, has spun off into 12. Which honestly, I've never truly said
12, but then look at the books.
Cut down and processed. But believe it or not, there are 12 of these things, depending on how you count them. The entire franchise has sold 9.9 million copies on Steam alone, which in total has an estimated revenue of $94 million. Wow. That's not even including the console and mobile ports or the number of micro...
And I think mobile did better than Steam. I'm not even sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Transactions
or it did really well.
AR,
Very
itself
close.
had over 40 million downloads.
Good
It's also
God.
worth pointing out that of the $94 million, $55 million of that was just from Steam sales of Security Breach. That one was actually at full price as opposed to all the others, which were either free or a couple of bucks. And while the first 4 FNAF games were entirely a one-man job, the rest have included voice actors, composers, entirely separate game studios like Steel Wool and Illumix. Even to this day, we're seeing this continue with studios like Megacat, who up until now have been focused on releasing games on retro consoles, a very niche market, but that made them perfect to create the retro-style
I'm excited
pixelated
for
FNAF
that.
game
Into the Pit,
releasing later this year.
No
By
idea how
pairing
it's
up
gonna
with
go.
These smaller companies that aren't insanely well known, Scott's not only been able to make bigger, better games, he's also been able to use his single game success to put millions of eyeballs and millions of dollars into each of these companies. As a result of their work with FNAF, Illumix started working with Disney on features found throughout the parks. And if
Didn't know about
Steel
that.
Wool ever do release a game outside of FNAF in the future, you can bet that it's going to have itself a fan base attached to it because people now know about them, and they're going to want to see what other work they can do. So that's on the game side.
And I loved Security Breach. I know a lot of people hated Security Breach. I loved Security Breach. I hope that Steel will, if they expand beyond FNAF, maybe they don't need to, but if they do, I want to see them create their own unique VR horror game, because that is their specialty. I loved Security Breach, but FNAF VR 1 and 2 are some of the best horror games I've ever played. I want them to create their own unique VR horror game. That would be amazing to see.
Or at least it's on the official game side. But stopping there would be overlooking the much bigger impact FNAF has had on the games that haven't even been released yet.
Or made by him. The entire fan base of fan games. Okay.
Free Fire Max is now.
This one series inspired a whole new generation of game designers unlike any game that's ever really come before. All of them cutting their teeth on a genre that exploded in the mid-2010s, the FNAF fan game. Five Nights at Treasure Island, Five Nights at Wario's, Pop Goes, The Joy of Creation, Those Nights at Rachel's, Afton Build, The Glitched Attraction, Bloody Nights Juniors, Day Shift at Freddy's.
Thank.
What is this game? I could go on and on and on for days. Some of these were just for the memes, others were more serious attempts at making games inspired by FNAF, and many of them were just taking the world that Scott had created and broadening it outward into the game that they wanted to see made. If you go onto Game Jolt, you'll find
and there's so many good ones. If you go on to Itch.io or Game Jolt, I think it's just Game Jolt, maybe it's both, there is an entire category for Five Nights at Freddy's fan games, and there has been since like 2015, 16, somewhere around there. It's ridiculous. There's so many
games, and I do mean thousands. If you search just for FNAF and select games, you're presented with 36 games per page and 277 pages available.
God,
that is
that's so much.
9,961 games that are tagged using FNAF. And if you're sitting there thinking, hold
ridiculous.
on, the math there doesn't add up, you're right, good noticing. That's because I had to remove 11 of Scott's own games that were posted on that list. Though
I was not
sure
going to
that
do the
there
math.
are some out there who'd like to pretend that FNAF World was a fan game. Each and every one of those 10,000 fan games represents a budding game designer, sometimes several. And while yeah, many of those creators are likely never going to pursue game design full-time, there are some who will, either independently or as part of a bigger studio, going on to have their shot at creating their own mega franchise, their shot to transform the industry. And already you can see that some of these devs are finding success, to the point where many of them have created multiple different games at this point, turning their fan projects into full-on franchises of their own. And all of this is without even mentioning...
The thing that's crazy to me is that those are all free, because it's still technically part of Scott's domain, even if it's your own characters. Like, I mean, there are ways that you could monetize it. Like, you just separate it. You separate it enough, and it becomes your own domain, your own IP. But, like, these people do that for free. They're releasing these franchises of games For free. That's wild.
The Fanverse initiative, where Scott invested money and resources.
And then that happened. Because of that happened.
Promising projects to help those fledgling businesses grow. Now, the success of that one is up for debate for various reasons, but the point ultimately stands. Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm so sad about FNAF Plus. I hope that somebody else picks up the project and finishes it, because I would love to see that thing come into fruition.
Directly and indirectly involved in the rise of a new generation of game developers. Developers that, just now, 10 years later, we're only starting to see get to a point where they're really influencing the wider gaming landscape. Except gaming, it's already seen a massive shift coming off the heels of FNAF. Prior to FNAF's release, if you took a look at any top 10 list about horror games, it would have been filled with games like Outlast, PT, Amnesia. Games
Still
that
is.
lead hard into psychological horror and sometimes graphic gore. FNAF, though, was different. While other horror games used the classic horror trope of not knowing what the monster looked like, relying on the audience's mind to fill in the blanks of what might be lurking in the shadows, FNAF put the monsters
really good
front
way
and
to put it.
center, allowing them to be the star of the show like we see in movies like Friday the 13th and Halloween. This allowed FNAF games to be much more thumbnail friendly, easier to sell online compared to the spooky dark hallways or overcomplicated monster designs that dominated the horror space in the past. Mix in the more family-friendly scares of Freddy and the Gang, and you've got yourself a brand new subgenre of content, mascot horror, as dubbed by YouTuber John Wolf. This genre took old nostalgic locations and filled them with brightly colored killers brought to life through some weird experiment or trauma. Bendy and the Ink Machine, Poppy Playtime, Rainbow Friends, My Friendly Neighborhood, Hello Neighbor, Baldi's Basics, Choo Choo Charles, Amanda the Adventure, and of course, Carton of Bandit. And that's not even dipping into the hundreds of lesser-known titles like Joyville. It was FNAF who paved the way for all of these games. Poppy sold 2 million copies in 2 years. Bendy has made over $30 million just off of its 2 major installments. Hello Neighbor is a thing that continues to exist. And while people complain about oversaturation in the market at this point, there is no denying that
it is very oversaturated, but only because it's become a cash grab joke, not because the games or the idea of it is bad. It's just people are leaning too hard into the sellability of it, the marketing of it.
Formulas worked extremely well for the better part of the last 10 years. But maybe you're sick of games. You want to read a book? Well, I hope you're excited to read the 7 Hello Neighbor books, 5 Bendy books, or the Poppy Playtime Employee Handbook that's coming out later this year. Mascot horror franchises now also line the shelves of your local Barnes & Noble. Why? Because FNAF did it first. Oh sure, Scholastic had done some video game book publishing in the past, mostly guidebooks and activity books, but after the success of the FNAF trilogy, they began to publish other video game books like Assassin's Creed Last Descendants, World of Warcraft Traveler. This led them to launch an entirely separate wing to their business, AFK, the video game.
What about Warhammer 40K? Isn't that a huge book thing, or are the game like there's game? I don't know. I don't know much about that, but that I feel like came first. Maybe I'm crazy.
A specific book department. It's these guys who are publishing all the books that Tom is now gonna have to read. No, it's impossible to know for certain that FNAF was the reason for all this, but given it was often shown at the top of articles for this new publishing arm at launch, and it's sold 9 million books to date, with an average book price being about $10, that is $90 million infused into the historically struggling print publishing business. It's no wonder the first 6 rows of their website are dedicated to FNAF. But without AFK, it's easy to imagine a world where these other mascot horror games didn't get that chance, and all those writers who've now been able to make a living off of these franchises wouldn't be recognized like they are. I mean,
imagine if Five Nights at Freddy's wasn't as big as it was. So many things would be different. So I mean, he started this with butterfly effect. I can't speak. Butterfly effect. So many things. My life would be different because I would probably be inspired by other creators. The creators that inspired me played a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's. Some of them didn't. Most of them did. Could you imagine the difference that MatPat? Maybe he wouldn't be retiring. Maybe Scott drained him so much that he had to retire 10 years earlier. Who knows? Can you even imagine? You can't. You cannot fathom what could have happened if this franchise did not have the success that it did, because it would be a whole different world.
Take, for instance, Andrea Wagoner, who wrote the vast majority of Fazbear Frights and Tales from the Pizzaplex stories. She's now getting DM'd by fans asking for lore clarification, something I'm sure she never anticipated while working on her past writing projects, like her dog how-to book, Dog Parenting, or Alternate Beauty, the story of a big girl with big dreams. Her words, not mine. The same thing is now happening with another struggling industry, movies. After spending 8 years in production hell, losing directors, struggling with studios, and trying to nail down a script, Blumhouse eventually took the chance on FNAF, making the movie on a $20 million budget and earning back nearly $300 million.
I think,
if you don't think,
what is it, their best-selling film? I think. I'm not entirely sure, but their best film in terms of numbers, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it's up there, if not If not the top, it's up there.
Hollywood has taken strong notice of that when they are struggling to get butts in seats.
Yeah.
You are wrong. You think it's a coincidence that 2 months after FNAF's release, Bendy announced his big screen debut?
Yeah.
And while a Poppy
Yeah,
Playtime
God.
movie was already in the works with Studio 71, I can almost guarantee
Jesus.
conversations with studios around it have shifted.
A Poppy Playtime movie would be very interesting. I'm actually really curious about that because the main mascot, that dude right there, is creepy, really creepy. That would be a really interesting movie. I'm curious about that.
Did in the aftermath of FNAF.
If you don't know the series and the references, it's yeah, that's exactly how I felt when I watched it. I was like, it's good. It's really good if you enjoy the franchise. Outside of that, as just a movie on its own, it needs some work. But it's definitely a good starting point, and if they're going to take into account all the things that they say that they want to improve upon, I think the second one will be a really good horror movie, and I hope it's rated R. I'll say that.
And who knows what other mascot horror games might end up with movies down the
Please not Garden of It. Do not make a movie. You better not make a movie. Look at the eyes. They didn't even bother to smooth the eyes. They better not make a Garden Abandonment movie. They better not.
line. And not only is it getting indie game movies greenlit, it's also reshaping film studio priorities. As they continue to fumble around in the dark, struggling to find ways to compete with online content, I've literally had conversations with people in the film space about how they're trying to tap into that FNAF audience, that online the success of this one film will be shaping the types of movies that get made and how they look.
Is MatPat live yet? Yeah, so his stream happened, what, 2-3 hours ago? Jesus. Or his final theory went live. We reacted to it earlier. I cried a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I cried multiple times. I'm probably going to cry at the end of this one too. I'm not sure. But yeah, if you go to... Here, I'll just open a new tab. You can see Final Theory. Final Theory right here. Go watch it if you haven't watched it already. You should absolutely watch that. It was great. You will probably cry. If you are a MatPat fan, you will probably cry. Just a warning. Great video, though. He ended it extremely well. He ended it the way that they should have ended it. Also, there are secret endings, just so you know. You try to find the secret endings. Yeah. And this is the last one we're going to react to here, because I need to go do other stuff, but yeah.
Look moving forward. I guarantee it. But while movie releases mean...
When you were watching it in the cinema, there were people cosplaying, and it was... When the reference happened, they cheered, and yeah, no, I mean, I went crazy for the MatPat cameo. I went crazy for the Corey cameo. I went crazy for everybody. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to stop and see the names on the wall, like Ryan, Baz, and all those, everybody on the wall of references. But man, it was so awesome to see that. It was awesome to see that.
Big bucks for big studios, the economic ramifications go way beyond just extra cash in the pocket of Jason Blum.
Okay, ad time. The Wild Robot. Never heard of that. Okay, it looks adorable, but
the FNAF movie was shot in New Orleans, which, since Hurricane Katrina, has been an economically depressed part of the country. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but from speaking to local actors and business owners while I was down there filming last year, I learned that New Orleans actually has a long history in film production. When the state government of Louisiana first introduced tax breaks for film productions back in 2002, over 1,000 projects happened down there in the span of 7 years. Those productions created jobs, hired locals, and brought millions of dollars back into the city. However, pre-COVID, those incentives were rolled back, and productions have now started to move to other places like Georgia. That's why so many of the local actors and business owners I spoke with while down there were eager to see the FNAF movie in town. By shooting in New Orleans, a huge chunk of that $20 million budget was going to accommodations, drivers, caterers, local talent, location rentals, equipment, and other general resources that help local businesses thrive, and maybe start a domino effect to get other movies back in the region. Regardless of all of that, the point is that this one decision...
Look at the pixelated nature of that. That's from the panorama effect or whatever it's called in ClickTeam. That image, it's a 720p, no, 480p? 720p. I think it's 720p image that is scaled and warped. That first game, The Office looks like garbage when you play it now, but back then, nobody cared. Nobody cared. It didn't have to look good. It was creepy. And yet you look back and it's like, wow, this right here, this little office right here sparked so much. Can we go back, please? I wanted to get it out of the way. All right,
maybe start a domino effect to get other movies back in the region. Regardless of all
that office, this little office right here, with a spinning fan. The fan. That, wow.
all of that, the point is that this one decision to try one final game, it's grown beyond itself. It's no longer about just making its own franchise full of games. It's spread to all corners of the media industry and to so many other IPs and creators, spawning a wave of new franchises and giving life to so many careers that otherwise might not have had a chance. But speaking of careers, there's one final area that's also needing to be addressed, an area that has been so affected by FNAF it's crazy to not talk about. And that, of course, is here on YouTube. FNAF has done a lot of numbers for a lot of industries, but its effect on the YouTube landscape is still visible to this day, and in a much more obvious way. When FNAF first launched, it was just one of many games that YouTubers started playing because spooky games got big views. This game gave rise to some of the biggest names on the platform, names that are still going strong today. Let's players like Corey X Kenshin.
Oh, that was Corey. I was gonna say that looked like a David Dobrik outline there. That was weird. I was like, he didn't do FNAF.
Markiplier, who'd been on YouTube for a couple of years, but saw their careers accelerate in parallel alongside the FNAF releases. You also had a massive surge in nerdcore musical artists like The Living Tombstone, whose FNAF song was at 1 million views in a couple of weeks, whereas most other songs they would release would have a few 100,000 views months after release.
This MatPat, yeah. No, he did it. I'm guessing there were ads earlier. Yeah, he did his premiere earlier, a few hours ago. We watched it earlier. We cried together. Yeah, he's not live. But he did the premiere a few hours ago. So yeah, if you missed it, go check it out. Here, I'll show it again because I think ads might have been running a second ago when I explained this. But yeah, if you go to the videos, Final Theory, it's up. It's up. Go watch it if you haven't yet already, and watch the secret endings. There's secret endings too. Yeah, he's not live. Premiere happened. Yeah, go watch it. Go watch it if you haven't yet. Also, the VOD of my reaction will be up later, whenever it's done processing after the stream ends. So if you haven't yet subscribed to the VODS channel, go ahead and scroll down. Go check out the VODS channel, and it'll be up there. Or actually, it'll just be on Twitch too if you want to see it faster, right after the stream ends, so you can see my reaction to it. But yeah, go watch it if you haven't yet already.
And machinima creators started using FNAF models and characters to tell their own unique stories long before the FNAF movie ever hit theaters, racking up literally billions of views. But what truly set FNAF apart were obviously the hidden details cluing fans into the bigger story. This, more than anything else, ignited the internet's passion like never before, giving rise to the theorist community. People like Dawko, Rezbowski, 8-Bit Ryan, Rytoast, ID's Fantasy, Hyperdroid, John FNAF, and of course, us, going through this game piece by piece in order to find the hidden story within it. Now, contrary,
like I said earlier, could you imagine game theory without FNAF? I don't even know if I would have ever found game theory without FNAF. I found game theory because of FNAF. If Five Nights at Freddy's did not happen, imagine where game theory might be. Maybe it's 10 times more successful. Maybe it's 10 times less successful. We won't know, but Five Nights at Freddy's had the impact that it had. Whether that's positive or negative, in this case, it seems like it's such a positive. It had to have been a positive. There's no way that this was not a positive experience. It changed game theory forever. It changed so much of YouTube forever. It is wild how much of an impact it's had.
To popular belief, FNAF wasn't the first thing that actually had us creating lore theories. That was always just part of the channel's DNA. But before FNAF, we were coming up with lore theories for franchises where the story was basically well known. Whether or not Majora's Mask is an allegory for grieving, you get the story of a moon crashing down. Regardless of whether Peach is Rosalina's mom, you get...
All this happened because of spite, because of one critic. Well, I think it was a lot more than just one critic who did it. I think it was the collective agree, like everybody seemed to agree that the games were creepy and they weren't supposed to be. So I think he leaned it. It wasn't one. One might have pushed him over the edge, but I think it was the just collection in general of everybody agreeing that this is creepy. We don't like this.
The basic premise of Mario Galaxy. Humans certainly might be Pokemon. That's not really affecting anyone's journey to become a league champ. But FNAF was different. It showed that games could be built off of withholding the lore and forcing the fanbase to solve it. By leaving the door open and never confirming anything, Scott allowed YouTubers, Redditors, and just general fans to continually assess and reassess the lore, find new directions, new hot takes. And that means that we're still theorizing about it to this very day. Can it be frustrating? Absolutely. Heck, maybe now that I'm retiring from the channel, I can track Scott down and get some answers out of him. But it's also entertaining. And the success of this theory-based model on YouTube has carried over into the mainstream, where now almost every game and movie release is designed with theory crafting in mind. While it's impossible to calculate the full scope of FNAF on YouTube, I was able to find that there are 106 videos with more than 10 million views each. Together, they total roughly 5.4 billion.
And Mark is 100 million of that in the first video that he made.
On just their very own. And if we assume that they're getting the standard gaming CPM on YouTube, which is about...
To be fair, that's kind of low. In my opinion, I don't know, 106 10 million view videos? I feel like it's way more than that, but I guess 1 to 10 is a large chunk. That's probably 100,000 plus videos. But yeah, wow.
$4.55. That then's a total earning across all of those videos of $24,570,000 in ad revenue. Markiplier's literally gone on record to say that the house that he lives in is the house that FNAF paid for. And he's joked on his Distractable podcast about how lucrative FNAF's been for him.
Feeling
Okay,
healthy.
ad time.
By leaps.
That does seem low for 10 million view videos, but I can imagine that like a lot of them are like in the 9 millions, right? That wouldn't be surprising to me. And not everything has to be 10 million, but yeah, there's a lot more super successful that, I mean, hasn't reached 10 million yet. It doesn't. 10 million is an extremely high number.
Go into a fan favorite here. Five Nights at Freddy's.
Boo. So there's two ways I could look at this, right? I could look at it from the game purely by itself, or I could look at it at the dividends it is paid out for me specifically.
Yeah.
And that's put him in a position to pursue bigger and loftier projects like the With Markiplier series. And now his movie Iron Lung. One half of the Living Tombstone, Sam Haft, is now writing songs for internet sensations like Has Been Hotel. YouTubers like FNAF and Rytoast, they've been able to go full-time with YouTube, all thanks to FNAF. And heck, look at us. Because of FNAF, we've thrived. We've been able to grow our team, give jobs to dozens of people, and perhaps best of all, we've carved out our own platform that allows us to turn the spotlight onto a next generation of creatives, to make us tastemakers in the space that are able to pay it forward, to make you aware of projects that you should be playing and watching, from Cooking Companions, to The Man in the Suit, to Shipwrecked 64, Welcome Home, Mandela Catalog, Walton Files.
FNAF's connected to Has Been Hotel.
On and on. In short, FNAF created an ecosystem where new IPs can thrive, a virtuous cycle that benefited itself, to be sure, but also had a halo effect on dozens of other franchises looking to get attention. And all of this is without even mentioning other trickle-down effects. Our large platform allowed us to run charity events like St. Jude, paying that blessing forward to help doctors and hospitals working on treatments for childhood cancer, where of course, Scott himself was a sizable and direct contributor year after year. There were also dozens of other charity events coming from creators like Dawko, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Rytoast, John FNAF. Not only have these events been able to raise tens of millions of dollars for various organizations looking to do good work in the world, hopefully those events in turn inspired others, you out in the audience or other creators, to adopt a spirit of generosity and giving in their own lives. And again, it all comes down to this one decision. One guy who in the face of adversity and criticism chose not to give up. That is the millions of people and billions of dollars affected by that one Spoopy Bear game. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for all of that. And while all of this is cool and impressive and inspirational, it's also overwhelming, right? You look at the impact that one decision like this can have and you feel like you can never live up. I know that's how I feel sometimes. But remember, it's all about small decisions making a domino effect. Just being kind to someone else, saying something nice, holding a door, listening to someone's problems, making them laugh. All of those are seemingly small things that can make a massive difference in the way someone's day's going. And that to me has always been the power of these channels. They're a place to learn a little something, a place to brighten your day in some small way, which then you can pay forward to other people in your life. And that positivity, it spreads. It spreads and creates real massive change. That to me,
I didn't think this was going to be such a happy ending.
Leaving these channels, losing that chance to be a force of just a little bit of good in your life. But you know what? I'm not done yet. I'll see you one last time next week. March
And he's
9th
not done
at 2 p.m.
after
Eastern,
this.
11
Okay,
a.m.
yes,
Pacific,
yes,
as I
we know.
celebrate with you one final time as a theorist community. Until then, as always, remember, it's all just
a theory. A game theory! Thanks for watching. Yeah, where's MatPat.com? Can't believe they made that website. That's amazing. She's peeking over the couch. That's hilarious. Oh. All right, we got to look at one last thing. We already saw it, but just because he mentioned it in that video.
The best time to get a Reese's? Anytime.
It's almost at 2 million views. Let's go. All right. So, skip to where is it? Here at the very end.
We have much to discuss.
Yeah. This. In Scott Cawthon's mansion, his castle. He's seeing Jesus.
I've been expecting you. Come, we have much to discuss.
He got his opportunity. He finally met the man who knows it all. What am I hearing? Is that a car? Oh, okay. Okay, is it just me, real quick? Is it just me? Does Scott Cawthon kind of look like oh, what's that YouTuber's name? I can't think of his name right now. Mark did a lot of collabs with him back in the day. Team Edge. What's his name? Matthias. Is it just me, or does Scott Cawthon kind of look like Matthias? Is Matthias Scott Cawthon's son secretly? Am I crazy? Am I crazy, or does Scott Cawthon kind of just look a little bit like Matthias? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I say maybe I'm crazy a lot. All right. Well, that does it. We got through it. We survived. We didn't cry too horribly much. We didn't. It's fine. Everything, we survived. We succeeded. We got through it. And now, MatPat will never be forgotten. He's not gone either. He's not dead. I'll finish the salute in a second, because he's not dead. He's not dead. He's fine. He's fine. He's still here with us. I heard his voice. It's almost like he's still here in the rooms with us. But he will stay in our hearts forever, and he will be back, I'm sure. There will be moments with MatPat that he's not done yet. He's not gone. He's not gone yet. But that is it for me. Thank you guys for hanging out and being here and suffering this this horrible, heartbreaking experience with me. And if you missed any part of it that you want to see, don't worry. The VOD will be up here in a few minutes when I end stream, but also it'll be up on the VODS channel. So if you don't want to watch it now, you can watch it later on YouTube when it goes up. And I will see you guys later tonight for Portal 2 with Israel. So that'll be fun. But yeah, now I'm going to go sob my eyes out because, you know, I was faking it for camera and hiding it the whole time. So now I can actually go cry. But thank you guys for being here. And let's just pause the music and give one final goodbye. 07s. I'll do it this way. 07s to MatPat. MatPat, you will be missed. You'll be cherished in our hearts forever. And I can't wait to see what you do next. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory! Thanks for watching.